Fellas. How we living today?
Put some respect on our name.
Shaq started already. I thought you said you was cooling today, man. What's happening?
I'm cooling, but I'm being like, what's that word? Hold on, I hear a crazy echo. Is that for me?
I hear no echo.
How do I do this? Oh, okay. All right, we're good now.
We need JD.
No, it was nothing to do with Ron.
I'm still blaming him. Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. I had it playing up in the background. We just eclipsed Euro. As you know, we just eclipsed 30K subscribers.
Let's go. Shout out to the chat.
Shout out to the chat.
Shout out to the Discord.
We're on our way. Shout out to the Discord. Anybody else?
Spotify listeners. Apple,
of course.
Podcast listeners, whatever it's called.
Spotify and Apple guys are my favorite guys. We didn't do like a show for 30 because, the same reason we didn't do a show for 200,000 followers on TikTok or however many million likes we have and hundreds of millions of views that we have. It doesn't matter. But for those who don't know me, I'm top left, one of the originators of PC, because I know it's a lot of new people in here. And along the ways, we've had a lot of cuts, scrapes, bruises, bumps, particularly with other podcasts. And it was really just me. And for the last 3 days on the way to 30K and eclipsing a fellow podcast, I said I'm not going to get nasty because it would be considered bullying at this point, because it just seems like everything that I say is about to happen, it just happens. And I don't know why my life is that way. It's just
manifestation, baby.
Yeah, it's the law of attraction. It's manifestation. I think about everything that I'm going to do when I'm driving, when I'm in the shower, when I'm changing my son's diaper, when I'm making love.
Yo, the first two was understood. The last two, I don't know how we got there, but
this is how you get to that
point.
The
last one I can understand. Is that like your love language? Like that's what gets you going?
Yeah, exactly. My wife keeps asking me, what's my love language? And I'm like, podcast. And we're not a podcast. And this is what I wanted to say to everybody. If you want to beat us, you can't think so narrow-minded, and that's the problem. I should be beefing with Bleacher Report and what's the other big dogs out there? It's Bleacher Report. It's Ball Sack. LOL. It's another big one that I'm missing.
Whistle.
The media companies. Those are the guys I should be picking fight with, because it's not fair to pick fights with fellow podcasters because it's like one-dimensional. You know, those guys that can only shoot or really can only shoot and they have nothing else in their game. So like I want to apologize. Yeah, like Steph Curry, one-dimensional. I want to apologize to all the podcasts that I've called out because we're playing a different game. We have like 6 or 7 or 8 shows. So the numbers are going to be a little skewed in our favor. So that's all I wanted to say. I'm done beefing for the time being.
Just want to shout out everybody who consistently watches our episodes from beginning to end. Don't miss any episodes, any time in those episodes. You know, our faithfuls, our super regulars. I want to give them a shout out. All of our tier 2 members, all of our elite tier 3 members. Also, you can become a member today. 50% off your first membership. Go ahead, go grab that. Hey, subscribe to the channel. We got 30K. We're trying to double up and hit 60K. Eventually hit 1 million. Y'all follow us on that path. The bandwagon is closing very soon. Now, does anybody have anything?
Done. I wasn't done because I know Dub's about to get into his soliloquy. And it just makes me
didn't even say anything this whole entire time. I'm chilling.
I know I'm soliloquying, but you're about to get into a nasty bag. And before you get into that bag, I'm also giving Dale time to show up. Euro, I have a question for you. Like, when you think about doing something, do you ever consider limiting yourself?
In what way?
Just like when you're like, I'm about to start something. Don't you like? Do you like shoot for the moon?
I mean, I think it depends on the person that you are. Like for me personally, like I grapple with doubt first. Like I'm trying to clear all the doubt out the way. You know what I'm saying? And everything that can go wrong, I try to, structure a contingency plan for it. And then I do it. And whatever comes my way, I just adjust. But in terms of like doing something and putting myself in a box, like, you know what, I wanted to go this far and no further, I kind of think that defeats the purpose of starting anything in the first place.
Do you feel like the podcast market is watered down right now?
No.
From what standpoint?
Well, I think what you're talking about is like everybody and their mama, can buy a mic and just, get up in front of a camera and say whatever they want to say. I don't think that's watering it down. I think that just makes it more competitive, and you're going to have to be top notch and really offer up something unique in order to, rise to the top and separate yourself from, the crop.
What made us so unique? Why
I'm not about to give up the recipe. What I will say though is it's obvious, man. Like we have a good chemistry. I think there's a lot of people who get together who are friends, and they may not be able to work as friends in a space like that. I think, like I said, man, chemistry is underrated. That's what it needs, and we have the right pieces. We have visionaries. We have guys that can execute, and we have inside information, industry insiders, I should say, that know exactly what steps to take, who to talk to, and I think if we're talking basketball, we're basketball players. Regardless of how casual the takes may be, I think everybody has an opinion, but at the end of the day, you look at somebody like Dell, who's extremely well connected, within the Hooper community, that goes a long way. So I think we're just a well-equipped group of guys.
And everybody needs a JD. Everybody, I think I was thinking about that today. I set up all the people that I could have reached back into my Rolodex of knowledge of people I've interacted with over the past 10 years to actually handpick JD and for him to perform as stellar as he does. He's basically Mars behind the scene. I don't know if there's too many JDs walking around town.
There's not.
So,
JD gets it done.
Yeah. Shout out to Go JD, WD, best host on the planet.
I don't know about host.
Hey, you got to give a man his flowers. Got to give it.
No, Euro's lobbying for a hosting job, and he just wants. Euro, I think that you probably are the best host over here at Players Choice.
I appreciate that. JD said on his shit list now. That's crazy, JD. I'm not the one making horrible hosting decisions, okay? This is you.
Nah, you could join this shit list club with me, bro. I don't know why Jay has it out for me.
Oh, we do need to look into that.
Host.
Yeah, we do need to look into that. You need to file a grievance against Jordan because what JD does to you on a nightly basis is really wild.
I don't do that, bro. That's not how I roll.
You guys saw that comment on the YouTube video as well, talking about JD's treatment of Dub, and that's why Dub left the show.
What, a fan commented that?
Yeah, I think it was some guy named Chase. He said he feels bad for Dub because JD mistreats him.
It's reminiscent of like David Stern, Allen Iverson. That's the vibes it gives me, to a T. He likes nothing you do.
Yeah. At the very least, Dub is as influential and iconic as Allen Iverson.
There you go.
That's
Dub, I was
amazing.
actually on your TikTok today.
You know I'm a Dubaholic.
I don't even be posting on my TikTok like that no more.
I was on there. I was like, if Dub's at 7K, I wonder if I could ever get there. I was actually impressed at all your likes and followers.
No, my likes and my follower count don't make sense. I got like 600,000 likes, but only like 7,000 followers. I think the main thing with that is, this is some little advice for anybody who's looking to do TikToks or podcasts and everything like that. Consistency is key. in everything. You know, I realized that when I was on a consistent level of posting the 3 or 4 TikToks a day, your follower count starts running it up. And especially when you say stuff that people can resonate with. I went viral. Like I hit 1 million views twice on my TikTok before. And you know, once you keep that level of consistency and people like what you're doing, bro, you just gotta keep going, keep the speed, keep the consistency, and just keep it going, bro. What happened with me is that I fell off, and there was times where I won't post for a little bit, then I'll go back to posting, won't post for a little bit, and that stunted the growth of that TikTok. So if you're ever looking to build a platform, to build a TikTok, to build an Instagram or anything, consistency and speed is the most important things when you're doing that. So right now I'm just busy with a bunch of other stuff, so can't really dive into that my own thing right now. But it's fine. It's fine with that. But for all you guys, you ain't got nothing else going for yourselves, or not that, but if you guys want to build upon yourself, build upon your own brand, bro, that's some little advice, get jump started. I think a lot of people have a lot of good things to offer. You just gotta go out there and put it out there. So,
And
yeah.
it's really hard. Like, I think that's why everybody starts a podcast, because they think it's just as easy as 1, 2, 3. But like, even when we were starting Players Choice at the beginning, before JD presented everything that he can do, because there was a time when JD, I don't know if it was my fault, he was just like chilling, but he had all of everything that he does now he could have done then. But I don't know if he didn't want to step on my toes or whatever it was, but I was literally in the beginning editing ungodly amounts of footage from Players Choice to put on TikTok. It was like that was back in the days when I was literally dropping anywhere from 15 to 17 clips all in one day and just trying to get them all to go viral. So you got to be different, but it's easy once you get in your groove.
Nah, it's for sure a grind. I mean, I handled the Gridiron account, and it's a grind, bro, and you gotta really be dedicated to that. So I mean, you just gotta have the work ethic, gotta have the strive to do it, and it's a grind, bro, and you gotta embrace it. Embrace the grind, bro. It's fun. I like working, bro. It's fun. I like achieving shit. And that shit, what we did with the gridiron stuff, what we're doing with the player shit, choice shit too. I mean, no, it's a grind, bro, and you gotta embrace it. It's fun. Like, I don't know how you could live your life and not grind towards anything. Just live a life where you just chilling and not grinding or working towards anything, your body, your hobbies, or anything. Like, yo, you gotta find that passion. You gotta embrace that shit, bro. Like, for real. Like, don't be one of those people that's comfortable and settling down for being average or being normal, bro. Like, push, bro. It's fun, and you'll be a lot more happier, and a lot of your problems in life will be solved if you just apply that to your own lifestyle, bro. Just grinding, bro. It's fun. Promise you.
Shit, that's what I want to do. I want to, I want to, I'm working towards a certain number, and so I can just disappear and do nothing. I'm gonna sit on my ass. Nobody will ever, bro. If I hit my number, nobody will ever hear from me again.
That's great. Where you going? What's the place you're trying to be at?
Shit, you don't know.
You don't want nobody.
Nobody will hear from me again. On top of that, shout out to Deacon Dub this morning, dropping jewels on everybody in the chat. I hope everybody's being receptive to the gems that Dub just dropped. Furthermore, I see it's about 225 people in here. We a little short on the likes. Can y'all please get the likes up? I know we kind of starting off slow, but believe me, we'll be where you guys want us to be at very soon. Dub's gonna chime in, or Dale's gonna chime in here in a second, and the show's gonna take off. Mars, top right.
Yes. Yes.
Do I need to put you in the top left for you to get activated, or are you good? You cool?
What is the stigma behind top left? What does that mean? That
nasty.
You're electrifying, or that you're really smart, or that what is top left? I've been wanting to know.
The nastiest of the nasty.
It's the person with the worst takes, and that's why I take your place when you're not here.
Is that what top left is? I thought it was the person.
That's what it became infamous for.
That's why I never.
I didn't think
that's why I never wanted it like that. I was fine with.
You were top left a couple times though, and it was grandiose.
What did I do? What did I do with those?
I can't remember. It was several tens of episodes ago.
If I'm ever drunk on the Henny, put me on top left. I haven't been like that in a while, but for sure, put me on the top left. Shit, put me on the top left today. So when we talk about fucking Chris Paul.
Yo, why is it that you haven't been Henny Dub for a minute? You know that's my favorite dub.
I told you I'm grinding, bro.
What that mean? You can't grind with the Henny?
It's not
me
that.
and Dub just had a conversation about this the other day, and I wasn't. I'm not gonna say I was shocked, but it was kind of along the lines of what he was just saying.
It's like you gotta understand, like alcohol and just going out in general, it's a distraction and it is time consuming, and you do become less motivated with that. So I know that for right now I need to be way more focused and way more dialed in other things other than just me going out, because it's a distraction. You get less motivated, you get tired too. I mean, bro, going out, waking up at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, going to work and stuff, like I do that. Like I'm the type of dude to go out to 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, go to work the next day. Like that's just what I do, and it drains a lot out of you, bro. So I just had to cut that out because I need to be focused on other things than drinking and going out.
I'm right there with you, Dub.
Yeah. Don't worry though. Once I got my time to relax though, I can't wait for that time.
Yo, and I just posted a poll.
No, it'll
in
be
the
worth
chat.
it.
I need you guys to tell me, what is your opinion of top left? I put the best panelists, the worst takes, the smartest, or the loudest. You guys let me know how you feel about top left, and if that's not what you think, just drop a comment and let us know exactly what does top left mean to you.
Ron, I like how like balanced that is. You gave like 2 positives and then like nasty ones. I honestly feel like I'm the best panelist. I feel like I've been the best panelist running on, because the best panelist is like a monthly award. It isn't like a yearly award, because if it was a yearly award, I'm taking that too.
I mean, really, it's episode to episode.
Yeah, but like player of the week and player of the month, like we can do player of the weeks as well. I may not have too many player of the weeks, but I got a lot of player of the months and MVPs.
But okay, if we only have 2 episodes a week or whatever, and then you have 1 trash episode as a host and 1 good one, then what does that make you?
I feel like that's a shot at JD, so I'm gonna let him answer in the chat. You were very specific there.
Wow, that's crazy.
I honestly feel like you probably are a better host than JD.
You know.
Easily.
Shout out to Gabe, Too Funny in the chat, bro. I got you, man. I got you. You know what I'm talking about.
Yo, and we do have a super chat from my man Matt Marcinkowski. He said, "Keep up the grind, fellas, and good luck on the season coming up, Shaq. And let's get nasty today. And we smoking on that pick. And we smoking on that pick a side pack today."
Whew.
That stems from, like, I see Euros.
Yeah,
I see PR. That stems from, I remember a specific message of somebody saying, you guys' channel is 10 years old and you only have blah subscribers. My channel was made for my highlights back when I had to grind and also video edit back in junior college and put together a highlight tape and send it out to every major Division I college. So I was actually able, because I wasn't getting recruited, and that worked out for me as well. But then
I seen him send out a message to every single college coach in the nation.
Me and Ron were living together. Those were good times, and I was editing nonstop, reminiscent of, you know how I get down on TikTok. But that's why the channel was so old. But then it was like, oh, it got super nasty. Like, oh, subscribers on YouTube, that goes based off of how many people actually like your content. And then I put a battery pack in JD's back. I said, I want to catch everybody. And since then, he's been on a warpath, and I support it 100%.
Speaking of warpath, hello, War Machine.
That's me.
It's been a while since that one's been since we brought that one out.
Very long time. I didn't know who War Machine was, but after watching
your first
Marvel
couple episodes, actually, do you remember your very first episode when you came up here?
Yeah, it was. I remember I was eating my dinner, and then it was a giveaway. Well, not a giveaway. It was like you put a link in the chat for like this. We used it on Twitch. The subscribers, whoever was a subscriber, was like one random person got to come on the show, And then suddenly I won it while I was just watching the show. And then I got like a DM with the link to the Zoom call. And I never had Zoom installed, so I had to rush to install Zoom, make an account, and then I joined on my phone. And I had nowhere to balance my phone so it wouldn't like fall down. So I had to get sellotape. And I had to sellotape it to my desk and then find an angle where it would balance. And then now I'm here.
Yeah,
Mars has
I'm
had
so
an
happy
incredible
that-
run.
it's
Yeah,
like
I'm glad
sometimes
that day came upon us.
you just can't deny face sometimes. Like at everybody for the link to drop in, get DM'd, win the contest, and get on the show. And then he comes on the show and doesn't miss it all. I mean, you've missed a lot since then, but that day, that day you know, Jordan, when he went 6 for 6 in that finals, that was Mars that day.
You
I
just
had a
gotta
big game when
stay
it mattered
ready.
most.
I swear, my biggest, what I hang my hat on in Players' Choice history is Mars, Dub, and Euro. Those three are like, boy, we sure got lucky with these fellas. And I appreciate you guys.
Angry Euro is the GOAT. I will stand on that.
Only
The
Top
GOAT.
Left can bring out.
That's true.
That is very true.
Or when you say that he lied about something when he really did it.
Yeah, bro. Dog, you be calling me a liar all the time. He's like, yes, you did something. I'm like, Mars. I mean, Dub. Yeah, I don't. I think I've realized that about myself. I don't like being called a liar because I don't lie. You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
Like I don't want to say I pride myself of being an asshole, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I really don't care. Like, if I'm in your face or whatever, like I will tell you. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up.
Euro, is it a lie if you get confused a lot? Like, I get confused a lot. I don't try to lie. I don't think I'm a liar. I just often get confused.
It depends
Is that the
on
same?
it depends on if you're doubling down. Like Dub. Like he got confused. He said something that I didn't say. You know what I'm saying? And then I was like, I didn't say that. And then he doubled down. I was like, motherfucker, what?
It be happening sometimes, bro. What was that topic again? What was it?
You try to tell me that I was in favor of the Nets winning the championship or some craziness like that.
No, I knew you was there. Nah, we have to revisit that. I don't think I said that.
One time it was that.
One time it was.
Yeah, dog, you made me slap my leg. I was like,
And I knew that Euro never had said that. That's why that was so funny to me.
Damn, my bad.
it's all
That's
good,
my
man.
thing. Sometimes I be swearing on everything that somebody says something, and I just made them misunderstood it. And honestly, bro, I'll double down on anything, bro. I don't know why.
Yeah, like you just doubled down earlier today and swore to God about your evolution take. So I want to hear that
I
one.
swear
Let's
on
get
that,
into
bro.
it. Yeah, let's get into it.
So this is what we have to understand, right? We talked about this, I think, last week. We talked about evolution. Oh shit. We talked about evolution tapering off, correct? That's what you said. When I
No,
look,
that's what you said.
no, because you brought that up.
I
wait,
didn't
wait,
say,
Dub,
no,
Dub,
you
Dub,
brought it up. I didn't
Oh
say
my
that.
God.
Wait, Dub,
You
Dub,
said-
because Dub, hold on 1 second, because
Yo, we gonna do this again? We're gonna do this again?
Hold
Like,
on,
we
wait.
just
Elder
talked about
Rufus
this. We're gonna
is
do this
in
again?
the chat, and I want I haven't been on the show with him yet. I DM'd him today, but he didn't message me back. So, if Elder Rufus, if you want to come up here, it would be an honor.
Yes, shout out Elder.
Can we take me off of this? I don't like being here.
All right, you didn't like that spotlight?
Yeah,
My
you could
bad.
yeah.
I didn't mean to make you nervous, bro.
Nah, it's
hey,
cool,
hey,
it's
JD knows how to get a hold of Elder. We'll see you soon.
So when we talk about the evolution of basketball, I kind of put it like this. You know how in baseball they figured out every way how to throw a baseball efficiently and competitive with a knuckleball, a curveball, a slider. When we look at like the 60s, 70s, and 80s, the main difference from today's league is the dribble moves, the dribble variations, and the dribble sequences. I think when it comes to the amount of moves that you can have with a basketball to have a competitive and to have in a competitive setting, I think it's tapering off, bro. Like there's only so many dribble moves and dribble variations that you can have, and it can apply to competitive basketball. Like the Harlem Globetrotters could literally think of any type of dribble moves at all, but at the end of the day, it doesn't translate on the court. So that's why I say with the evolution of basketball and the dribble moves and dribble variations, it's not gonna get that much crazier in the next 10 to 20 years.
Let's just say I'll give you that dribble argument. Basketball is not just dribbling. You know that, right?
Yes,
we're talking about humans who are getting taller and more athletic than the taller humans were back then. Like look at Victor Wembanyama or whatever his name is. That you don't attribute that to evolution?
no. So that's the next step in my opinion.
And
That's
then also
basketball.
you have to what you're not considering is the fact that because humans are evolving, right? From one generation to the next, it happens as quickly as that. Rule changes have to be implemented in order to cater to and not stunt the abilities of said players.
I understand that point, but I mean, honestly, bro,
Wait.
when we look at, go ahead, Shaq.
Yeah, I'm gonna save you.
And Willie
Bro,
the
what are you
Kid,
doing?
I didn't say that. Oh God, man, we are already getting into some dumb shit. This is crazy, dog.
No. I'm talking about the tall take.
What about the tall take? Yeah, that's what he's saying too. I didn't say evolution makes you taller. I'm talking about having a having a taller player, right? Like being a taller person. Do you think have we ever seen a tall person like for example Kevin Durant, right? Do you think Kevin Durant comes along if it's not for somebody who is just as tall as him that opens that up for him? So now, from when you're younger,
So who is the American-based player that is this outrageous big?
I don't consider it doesn't matter about being. It's a global game. It doesn't matter about being American or not.
So then
my
we need
thing
to-
is this. I said this before. I believe there's no Kevin Durant if there's no Dirk Nowitzki. And
Okay,
there's
so we're gonna
there's somebody that came before Dirk Nowitzki that allowed Dirk Nowitzki to be Dirk Nowitzki because it
Okay,
takes.
let's give David Stern his flowers.
David Stern definitely has something to do with that for sure.
He was the only thing that had to do with that. It was only him. It was just him.
Regardless, what I'm saying is like there are predecessors, and then you know what I mean. It's just what it is, and the same like for example, like me and you. I forget when this was. This was a couple of episodes ago. We had this argument about if Kevin Durant grew up in an era, right, where there weren't bigs that were shooting, like living above the free throw line, he may not ever have made the NBA just because of his frame. Because they would have just been like, yo, you know what? You need to be in the post the same way they did me. I came before Kevin Durant, right? I was taller than everybody in high school. I'm an actual 3. You know what I'm saying? I'm a wing player. But my wing skills never really developed for real like that because everybody, all my high school coaches and shit like that, they all put me in the post. They're like, yo, you taller than everybody, you fucking operate out of that. And so my talent, I never was able to maximize my potential. The leagues that I played in professionally were definitely not my ceiling, regardless if I maxed out on that. That's what I'm saying. And so when you have coaches, when you have people that come before that, you know what I mean, that see, oh, you know what, Kevin Durant, you know what I mean, he's a tall kid, he's lanky or whatever. We don't have to have him at the 4 or the 5, even though he plays the 4 to 5 now, but he can operate out of you know what I mean, on the 3-point line. Now he has that, you have success, and everybody else starts to look for players because it's an advantage. That's the evolution of the game. You have all of a sudden a 7-footer that can move like that can dribble like that. We didn't have that in the 60s.
Okay,
But you keep saying evolution. I'm sorry, but you keep saying evolution, but you keep mentioning unicorns. That's why I'm like, how much has the game?
They're the ones that break through the ceiling. It's pioneering.
So who else can do what KD can do as far as being a 7-footer who can shoot and move and dribble like him?
I'm saying you talking about unicorns, and now we have people that, you know what I mean, the younger generation, we have a lot more taller guys that come. KD may be a little bit bad of an example because he's still currently active. But when we're talking about, let's say Dirk, look how many shooting bigs, 3-point shooting bigs have popped up since Dirk. And we can go as low on the totem pole as somebody like DeMarcus Cousins.
No, that's the evolution. I give you that's 100%.
They would have never allowed that motherfucker to be
I'm
like,
with you
bro,
on that.
you shooting what? Get your big ass on the block.
Even KD though, KD is a bad example because he's so good. But bro, how many 6'10", 6'9" wings do you see that back in the day they wouldn't have been out there dribbling and shooting threes? Paul George's, for instance. I'll go with a guy that's from my hometown, Jaden McDaniels. I remember when he was coming up in high school, I'm looking at Jaden McDaniels. He's 6'10", bringing the ball up court like a point guard, dribbling straight into pull-up threes from the NBA range in high school. I'm like, bro, this dude, like, he might not be as good as KD, but out here he looks just like KD. Go watch Jaden McDaniels' high school highlights. Yo, the first thing that comes to mind is KD. But then you got guys like, I know Chet Holmgren. I know he is.
That's crazy. Chet is crazy.
I know he's a center.
Just skill-wise. Well, hold on. Let me interject. The craziest thing to me, and that like makes that point for real, is Paul George. Because look at how tall he is, and nobody even looks at him in that way because he is so smooth with it. He's probably the smoothest of them all when it comes to like just height and skill, like integration. You know what I'm saying? But that motherfucker, like, how many 6'9" people do you know move like a guard? So much so like a guard that you just consider him, or you don't even consider his height. You know what I mean?
I see what you're talking about, but that was
so
one
what
of
are
the
you
points.
explaining?
Wait. That was
specifically.
That was one of the points where I was going at. I was gonna say that for the next. I don't know how you bring it up in the past time. Everything relates to now because where I was going with the dribble variations, I don't see that progressing much. The next thing I see coming for the NBA is exactly what you said, Euro. Maybe because the Cleveland Cavaliers started out with that with like Evan Mobley and Lloyd Markkanen. I think that's the next era of basketball where you're gonna have a lot more guys who is 6'10", 6'11", damn near 7 foot, being able to play on the perimeter. That is the next step for the evolution of basketball.
I think that's already came though. Look at Joel. Look at Jokic. Look at bro. You got guys like JaVale.
That's only two.
Like only two. Bro. But I'm okay. Maybe dribbling and stuff like that. But I'm saying you guys like got guys like JaVale McGee who earlier in his career he didn't even look at the 3-point line. Now JaVale's out
what
there
are you
chucking
saying?
threes.
That everybody will be over 6'6" on the court?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that when we're talking about the basketball evolution, how evolution is tapering off, the only thing that I see as a dramatic as anything dramatic increase in the game of basketball itself is maybe more 6'10" to 7 foot guys playing on the perimeter. But other than that, I don't see the shooting taking a tremendous jump. I don't see the dribble sequences taking a tremendous jump. I don't see anything else besides height taking tremendous jump in the evolution of basketball.
And
this
is the point that this is the original argument, right? Because you said shooting, of course it's going to take a tremendous jump, but the rule change has to come in there to foster that kind of change.
For
you know
sure.
What I'm saying?
If the
so
4-point line comes,
when the 4-point line comes, all of the people who were considered, you know what I mean, long two shooters, they will improve. Everybody. And if for the people who can't improve, they will just phase out and they'll get somebody in that can shoot the long ball, which will be the 3. And then he's like, you know what? The long, like, you know what I mean, the mid-rangers or whatever, they will have to extend out to the 3-point line. And then the 3-point shooters, they will have to extend out to the 4-point line. That's the evolution. And you getting stuck on just basketball. I'm talking about, like, evolution of humans in general, right? The best way to really, really look at that is with the original sport, right? The original athlete. Look at track and field. Look at the 100-yard dash or 100-meter sprint or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Look how slow, quote unquote, they were. Like Donovan Bailey, Linford Christie, and them guys. You know what I'm saying? From the 90s.
I agree. But let me ask you this:
they barely broke 10 seconds. They barely broke 10 seconds. You know what I mean? For the 100-yard dash as a world record. Look at today. Usain Bolt. What was his joint? Like 9.69 or some shit like that. Like every year. And then look at women. Look at women in basketball. Even who sent it? Was it you, Ron, in the group chat?
Yeah,
of this chick, like just clean dunking, and she's 6'2".
Can I ask you this?
Euro.
Can I ask you this?
Know.
Do you really think that that for the Olympics and everything like that we're gonna see a tremendous jump like that again? I don't know. There's only so.
I don't think it's a jump. I think it's a steady incline. Like I think humans get better and better.
And I agree with you on that. But when we're saying here like a crazy dramatic increase,
times haven't been better. Times have been better
because
or the same.
I think you're confusing. I think you're confusing opportunity with what you're saying now as far as evolution. Because now when you talk about sprinters, I'm not going to sit here and say Usain Bolt is the fastest person in the world because I know there's somebody out there that's faster than Usain Bolt that can beat that record. And I know there's somebody probably 20 years ago that was faster than Usain Bolt that could beat that record. That's why I hate when people say bigger, stronger, faster. The way it's applied on the basketball court is changing due to whatever you want to say. But as far as like something like speed, I feel like humans have always been the same speed. I don't believe in, yes, Euro, yes.
No.
So when would you say the speed bump was?
Like I said, I don't think there's a speed bump. I think it's a constant, right? And it's a constant incline. And to me, it doesn't matter if it's minimal. And I think it goes
Why
hand in
did it
hand.
get better
goes
from
hand
now?
It goes hand in hand with science in terms of like knowing.
No, because Usain
like,
Bolt could never have
science,
touched any
nutrition.
training, and he still would have been just as fast. Usain Bolt could have just ate whatever and did whatever, he would have been just as fast. I don't think Usain Bolt is on this strict diet.
No,
I
that's,
don't know.
No.
But
That's
being,
not, no.
You said
that's not what I'm
science.
saying.
Shaq,
What I'm
that's
saying is
kinda
like
nasty.
if
Nah, it's not
Usain Bolt
nasty.
was
He's
born
speaking
in
facts.
in the 1960s, he would not be as fast as he is today.
It's no way.
I don't believe that. I don't.
Yo,
based
okay.
off of what?
The training
Based off of the people
way
who were in the
you're able to
1960s
recoup
not being as fast,
the
not
medicine-
even
What-
close.
what is the
Based off
train- what is the
people in
training that you're
1920s
talking
not
about?
being as-
Even
What are you
Spike.
training?
Let's
What are you
not act
talking
like-
about training when you're talking about the
Thank you,
100-meter
Ron.
dash?
You know what I'm
Spike.
talking about.
Spike.
Everything
No,
gets better.
no,
You know
we're
what I mean?
talking about
When we talking
speed.
about, and when we talking about when we go back to basketball or whatever, we talking about, oh yeah, we talking about, you know, the 60s or whatever, and all these guys, they can't hold a candle to the, bro, they are wearing Chucks. They're like, all of that matters. Like, all of that matters. And that's
I get
evolution.
that matters,
It's the
but when
evolution
people-
of
when
of
people
apparel,
are
the
genetic-
Black people
evolution of-
weren't
When
even
people are
able to
genetically
sprint
when people are genetically
50, 60,
capable of
70
doing
years
it,
ago.
that training doesn't really mean as much. I
We
can
can
train
take
as
white
much as
folks,
I want.
too.
I can't be as fast as Usain Bolt. My genetics cannot have that, bro.
But
It's
you will be
genetics as
faster.
well.
But you will be faster than Dub would be in the 90s, with the training regimen that you will be able to be on today.
with
And the
speed.
way and the way your body will be able to recover, and certain things that you can put in your body, supplements and things of that nature, that will make your body faster and stronger.
I think you're overcompensating on how much that really translates to
like
affecting your
it's
genetics.
crazy
It
how much
doesn't-
you're overcompensating.
like,
I can't.
It helps.
I can't,
I'm not saying it doesn't help, but your
It
genetics
does
is
help.
a large portion of your athleticism.
You just
And
go
there's
out there
nothing
and you
else.
race and you're fast.
So we don't get better. Like, we just, like, humans are what they are, and like there's no like how do you get better?
It's gradual, but we're talking about thousands of years, hundreds of years, not 50, not 30 years. I was just 1 year old. Like it went by in a zap, and you're not about to sit here and tell me just in 30 years that Usain Bolt is just magically the fastest person on earth over 30 years, and nobody 30 years ago was as fast as Usain Bolt. Is that what we're saying?
That's definitely what I'm saying, and it's proven. It's not just Usain Bolt. It's anybody who hits a world record. And if you're talking about opportunity, of course, there's always going to be an outlier. But like you said, you know, we're talking about, you know, unicorns now. And I guess I shouldn't have brought up, like, namely,
I'm
Usain
only
Bolt.
talking about unicorns.
But what I'm saying is that we can talk about the field. Look how much faster the field is now than the field was back then. Look how much, quote unquote, better NBA players are now than they were back then.
What's
No,
the
because
average
I can
speed
take
of a
Shaq
human
from
being?
30 years ago and put him up against bigs from today and still have a great argument, but we don't know.
And that's a unicorn. So there's always going to be outliers.
I'm
I'm
only
talking about the
I'm-
field. We're talking about the average human that plays basketball.
And
We're
that's
talking
why I
about the
say
average human that
opportunity.
runs.
That's why. No, I'm talking about speed in general. Just speed. Let's just stick on speed. Like when people say the league has gotten bigger, stronger, faster. No, it's adjusted to what whoever wants the league to go. Like if people want bigs to shoot threes, then that's where the league is going to go. If they want them to be big and bulky, then that's what it's going to be. People are going to lift more.
That's
But
true.
you saying that a person hopping on the floor, and so who's the fastest basketball player of all time, in you guys' opinion?
Shit.
I mean, first one that comes to mind is De'Aaron Fox,
Yeah.
I was about
Based
John
off of
Wall.
what?
based on what everybody's saying. And just me seeing him go from 0 to 60 and down to paint, I would put Penny up there too.
So you don't think anybody from 20, 30 years ago, basketball player-wise, could run as fast as De'Aaron Fox on the court?
What I'm saying is,
Michael Jordan was
what
the
I'm
fastest.
saying is, like, you put Bob Cousy and his people, you know what I mean, next to De'Aaron Fox and his people, 9 times out of 10, who do you think is going to win?
Well, I mean, that's an
When we talk about the
extremely
field.
bad example.
Why?
That's an
Why?
extremely that's
How?
because I can go find a hooper from Harlem 50, 60 years ago, and I can say he was probably faster than De'Aaron Fox. That's my only
Right.
point.
And so I'm not even arguing that because, like I said, man, there's always going to be outliers. There's always going to be the people, and this is where the opportunity argument comes into play, which I'm not disputing. these people need to have an opportunity in order, to showcase what they can do. But
that's why I said opportunity.
But it takes the showcase for the, for people to see what's possible, for the field then to eventually catch up, especially for coaches to realize that and then see, it takes for a coach to even see that and be like, I can actually implement speed, like the 7 seconds or less Suns. They were like, we have speed. Let's fucking implement that. And that became
that's
one of the
somebody
most
making that decision
offenses.
though. That has nothing to do with the body or athleticism, and that's my only point.
But
when we talk about evolution, you're not going to tell me a guy from 100 years ago was more or less athletic than a guy from today, because I know guys to this day that don't give a damn about science that can jump out the gym.
For sure.
They never did anything. They don't care. They just what. I was one of those freak athletes.
I'm one of those.
You were one of those
freak athletes too. Of course,
exactly.
I could jump out the gym, and I never fucking cared about science and none of that shit.
So you don't think guys from 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 years ago could also jump out of the gym?
Outliers, the same exact way? Of course.
I don't think outliers. I think it was what. So are we outliers?
How many times? Yes, 100%.
Okay,
because how many
so
people
if that's your point, then I agree with you.
How many people have told you, like, yo, Shaq, man, you the craziest athlete that I ever seen. You know what I mean? You got God-given talent and shit like that. Like
1,000%.
These sayings.
But the league was always older back in the day, and that's why I say
are letting you know that this is something that is out of the norm.
It's not out of the norm anymore, though, because younger players are taking over and given the opportunity to actually come in the game.
You have other areas of the game that are out of the norm now.
The same would have been 30, 40, 50 years ago. They were like,
the field has
60 years ago. They haven't caught up. It's just more opportunity. If the same thing was happening 67 years ago, where you can come out of high school, you can do anything, wasn't no restrictions, everybody could play, not just a certain type of people. I'm pretty sure we would have some freaks from back in the day, and we did, that played in the NBA. But I'm saying more.
I accidentally unplugged myself. I didn't hear everything.
No, I'm just saying, if everybody was given the opportunity back in the day, the field was much wider than what it was, and it wasn't certain, societal norms going on, I'm pretty sure we would have seen a lot of freaks.
And what about the people who don't have the opportunity today? What about those outliers that don't get the opportunity to shine, that are much better than Kevin Durant, that are much better than whoever?
Those are the true unicorns.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like you are right in your assessment of that or whatever. But that happens right now in the here and now as well. So whatever argument that you're making, I can just take that and apply it to here. So you're making my point.
No, I'm not.
I'm talking about the field. You're talking about the unicorns. The unicorns are always going to be the unicorns.
I'm not. I'm talking about athletes. I'm talking about athletes. Yes. I don't think evolution has affected humans in our lifetime like you are a legend to. Now, when you talk about science and recovery, that's one thing. But just just go out there and be athletic. What do you think? There's nothing that you can do to your body to be more athletic other than outside of hitting harder, lifting weights. I'll give you that. But born athleticism.
Of course. Come on, man. You can work on for example, if you are laterally just slow or whatever, there's moves, skills, and everything like that you can sharpen to improve. Of course, you're not going to be top tier. If you have that, you have that. God given. If you don't have that, you don't have that. Well, what I'm saying is that you can improve on that. The same way with running techniques, you can work on that so much so to where it becomes muscle memory, right? Like Kobe was saying, you can turn yourself into a shooter. You just consistently do that in every situation to where that just becomes second nature, and now you are a better shooter. That's your evolution of the game. Right? And so as you're doing that, as we know the game, you know what I mean? We know techniques better, shooting mechanics, everything else like that, whatever, and we apply the same school that Steph Curry went through in terms of shooting or whatever, and to apply it to everybody else. That doesn't mean that you're going to be just as good a shooter or even better than Steph Curry. But what it does is it raises the field. And then once the field is raised, you will have outliers eventually that will be better shooters than Steph Curry. That's why there's such a saying as records are meant to be broken. Steph Curry's, people was talking about, Ray Allen's record's not going to get broken. And now we're talking about Steph Curry. People are talking about.
But you're also talking about an outlier too.
70 years.
But you're also talking about an outlier. I agree with you, but you're also talking about an outlier. But I agree with you.
But I'm talking about, like I said, man, there are outliers back then. There's always going to be outliers. There's outliers right now. And so
you were talking about the field. I don't think the field can catch Ray Allen.
That's
No,
fine.
they called him. They
That's
called him
fine.
already. They called
Yeah,
him
bro.
already.
Hey, Ray's
Ray Allen-
record's done.
And that's based
Ray
off
Allen's
of
been broken
but
by
that
James
isn't
Harden,
but that's
Paul
a bad
George.
but that's such a bad comparison because that's based off of where the game is going and where I guess it's more exciting, but that's where we're going to 3-pointers.
And yeah, and I agree with that. You know what I mean? And that's why I said, basketball is probably a bad example to be, talking evolution because there's so much things that's happening. You know what I mean? That's why I like
the game
when Doug
has
brought up
evolved.
baseball
The game.
because baseball doesn't have that many rule changes in terms of like physical ability. Now, I'm talking like I know what the fuck I'm talking about when it comes to baseball, but I do know in track and field, ain't no rules. It's motherfucker, you start in the blocks and you run. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the cleanest example that we can give.
But I like that one because I would love to see the top 10 base stealers in the history of baseball because that would give me a much better.
There's
I think
it's a little bit different.
There's definitely has been evolution in baseball, like 100%.
I mean, how fast you steal a base? Has there been any rule changes of how far you can lead off, how far the bases are from each other?
Not really the speed, like the speed factor. When you start going into 3-point shooting thing, I mean, that's something I would never argue against, Euro. I think, of course, the shooting throughout the years is definitely going to get better because Steph and Curry broke that record. And you even seen it after he broke that record. Mad people started following. You had James Harden who broke Ray Allen's record, Klay Thompson, Paul George. These guys broke the record, and they're not really the best shooters. I mean, they're great shooters, but like the top shooters in the league.
We won't consider them the best.
Exactly my point. So I do agree with you on that. But when we stay on track on the athleticism part of the players, I don't see any dramatic increase with that.
Yeah, because we're in the
even
moment.
Though that you work on it, even if you work on it, bro, you cap.
But
you
here's the thing, right?
You cannot improve on.
But when we're talking about evolution, right? We talking about something that's linear, right? So, and I'm not trying to make this an age thing because like I hope I don't ever come off as that person, and I'm typically not that person. But what I'm saying is like, Dub, you're 22 years old, right? How many years have you been able to watch a sport like where your consciousness was evolved enough to understand, what, this was a point in time and now it's a different point in time and I can see the difference in that. Well, me as somebody who is, almost, like 15 years older than you, I have 15 years on you to where I can like have different like intervals of that. I can have, I have witnessed more examples of, just the change. And so the same way like a 50-year-old person, they would be able to tell me, yo, back then, like that was something completely like unheard of and something that we do that's just regular now.
I see your point. I see the point.
Dub, hold up. Before you tap in, hey, can we get the likes up? We got a bunch, over 400 people in here, only 175 likes. It's not really adding up. Y'all get us up to about 200, 300, or about 250, 300, and we'll really start jumping into some basketball topics. Go ahead, Dub.
So I see your point with that, but I'm going to put it like this. Let's say if we all working at a job, right? And the job just started. And we're all working on and trying to prove to work at a very proficient and precise manner. After the job has been opened up for 15 years, I think a lot of the way to work the job in a proficient and efficient manner has somewhat capped off. And then there's always going to be room to improve. There's always going to be room to improve. But once you hit that cap, the line goes from this to this. And that's where I'm saying when we're talking about basketball, where basketball started really started, I think, in the 50s and 60s, correct? So we've seen a tremendous jump from the 50s and 60s to the 2000s. I don't think we'll see that same type of jump from the 2000s to the 2040s.
To your point, though, the NBA probably only has a good 50 or 60 years left anyways before we're more entertained by a much more exciting style of play of basketball with robots and stuff like that.
And I can see your point with that too, and that's because once you figure out all the aspects of how to do that job or how to play that sport in the proficient and precise manner, there's only so much that you can improve on. Maybe if they add a 4-point line, I can see your point with that, with the shooting getting better. But I don't really think that's going to happen, and if they don't do that, there's only so much that you can improve on the game of basketball that it's really just tapering and capping off, bro. And that's where I'm just trying to keep an open mind. I understand.
So you guys don't think shooting's gotten better? And you don't think players have gotten better? This is especially coming from two guys that I've heard that the current players would
shooting
wash
got
past
better.
generations.
Shooting
But
got better only because we
Shaq,
shoot more threes now.
Shaq, you've been an advocate to say that the talent in the league today is way better than the plumbers and the garbage men in the past days.
And that's the evolution of the game. That's skill and technique that has nothing to do with your body.
So
shooting also if you taught them, if you took Steph's regimen right now and went back to the 50s and said, hey, shoot like this, of course they're going to be just as good shooters in the 50s. Or no.
So based on that, don't you think 30, 40 years from now that due to evolution, due to people being able to, how Euro said, watch Steph Curry, watch Reggie Miller, watch everybody's tape up to that point, watch everybody's technique, skill, see the way that they played, like how Kobe did with Jordan, take little pieces of his game. Jordan took pieces of Dr. J's game. I'm sure Dr. J got some things from somebody before him. You take all those pieces, add it to your game on top of what you're already naturally gifted at. Doesn't that make the players from 20, 30 days from today better?
I think so. I think it would be, but it's not by the landmark that you think that it's going to be. It's going to be, percentages rising here and there by 0.5, 0.6, but it's going to take 100 of years for everybody in the league to be shooting over 40% and be elite shooters. And then what's the next break off? When do you think everybody will be shooting between 40 and 50%, Ron? How many years from now? Like majority of the league?
I'm going to say it's not going to happen. But that's me not being able to.
And that's Dub's point.
Predict the evolution until it happens.
But
it's
that's Dub. No.
And then I'm gonna be that old cat in the rocking chair talking about, man. Hey, during my day, people were barely shooting 33%. Now,
Ron, since the 3-point line's been implemented, the 40% has always been like it's been gradually going up 1% from 30 to consider you an elite shooter.
Doesn't Steve Kerr still have the highest 3-point percentage? Isn't it like 45? Yeah, and nobody's beaten it, and it's been 20 years, and we've gotten guys like Klay Thompson, Stephen Curry.
But then no, because you got to factor in how many threes did he shoot a game.
You know that.
Oh my God, that's not what I'm. That's not the point I'm saying.
Difficulty too.
That's not the point in which I'm saying though, Ron. I'm just saying that if we're gonna go with they're gonna get better shooting high percentages, there should be a guy who's not playing as much as who's playing the same amount that Steve Kerr played in his game, and due to the evolution of ball, he should have been shooting at least the same amount, or if not higher, than what Steve Kerr did. That's all I'm saying.
I did want to correct myself on saying, shout out to whoever mentioned that in the chat, when I said that evolution was linear. That was the wrong, choice of words. What I meant to say by that was people were, at a certain level back then, and they have improved since then. And that's what I meant by just drawing the line. It's you are X amount good, and then you are X times 2 now type of shit. That's what I meant by that.
Mars, do you want to tell us your thoughts on evolution, or do you not care about evolution?
Okay.
Does evolution exist on the planet of Mars?
Well, evolution exists. I think people you evolve with knowledge of past events. Like that's how you expand your knowledge. You carry that into your own life. You evolve on what happened previously. In terms of athleticism, I don't think people are inherently more athletically gifted, because I think athleticism it's genetics. It's about what type of muscle fibers you have, muscle insertions, all those different things. I think if you go back and look at cavemen, I'm sure they'd have some of the same genetic makeup as the athletes of today. But if you don't know how to harness that and coach that and train that, you will appear faster now. But it doesn't mean you had less talent to maximize that potential. You just weren't able to maximize it because of the lack of knowledge. Like so if you put Usain Bolt in the 60s, he doesn't run a 9.58 because the knowledge of how to train your body wasn't there. It doesn't mean he was a slower person or he had less talent. It's just with less knowledge, it's harder to maximize someone's full capabilities. And I think that's what happens now. More knowledge.
But that's what I'm saying though.
I'm not disagreeing with anyone. I'm just saying that's my thoughts on how evolution works. It's not a gap in talent or ability.
Right.
It's a gap in
so now the question is what causes the shift? Like what causes, the newer generation to be like, oh, you know what, let's focus in and hone in on the training, on the nutrition, on everything else like that to maximize what your muscle output is or whatever. Like,
I think
what do you think
I
causes
think a
that?
lot of it. I think a lot of it is science. As science evolves and we grow our knowledge, if someone tells you, "Look, you're X, you're this amount fast, but if you do this based on these tests, you will increase your max speed to this level," someone's gonna want to do that. It's like people experiment to find out what improves the human body. Like there's things when cavemen were hunting. I'm gonna go back to cavemen. When cavemen were hunting, they were just going off, I need to catch this
Instinct.
animal to survive. There's no technique beyond I caught the animal doing this, so I'm gonna keep doing that. And that's what makes those people survive. They pass on their genetics. We carry on. You learn from past events. Scientists today are learning from what's happened, what was successful for other people. They transmit or give it to other people today. And the top of the top, the people with the best genetics, the best work ethic, they look like they're faster than people 100 years ago, but they're just maximizing the talents that other people couldn't because of the lack of knowledge. To me, like you put Wilt Chamberlain with the speed he had, the athletic gifts he had, you put him today with the knowledge people have 60 years later, he's going to look like a freak. It's not because he got more gifts today, he just maximized the gifts he already had because of the knowledge other people have and they can help him.
Yeah,
So
I agree. I don't think I ever said that people are more gifted.
to be honest, I've barely been listening. I just gave my opinion on evolution. If I agree with someone, I agree with them. If I'm disagreeing with someone, I apologize. That's just my thoughts on the whole evolution thing. I think skill evolves because there's more things to learn, more things to do. Athleticism, I think most people are, in general, the athleticism doesn't really change. Like naturally.
What happens when you have two unathletic people that procreate and they have offspring and that child is more athletic than either one of them? How do you explain that?
If you have
His grandfather.
if you have very little athletic, like,
Then how is it possible that the parent is not athletic if the grandfather is?
That's just genetics. Like the same way I don't have green eyes.
Some genes don't get passed on. It's like recessive and dominant genes. And then I learned about this in school. Like there's a square that's called a Punnett square, and there's like dominant genes.
What's the English term?
There's dominant genes, recessive genes. Recessive genes are less likely to get passed on. So if you have a kid, it's like a 25% chance you'll get that gene. So if you have two non-athletic parents, and they have an athletic kid, that was like a 1 in 4 chance of that happening due to the genetic lottery just working itself out. It's more likely they'd be unathletic, but those genes still exist and they just happen to get the correct ones. So it's just probability at that point.
Got you. Yo, chat, I just posted a poll for you guys to go vote on. I see a lot of people in the chat talking about Trey Young and Steph Curry. Basically, we're talking about evolution. We went with Steph. He was brought up at some point, talking about his 3-point record. Will it ever get caught? A lot of people in the chat are saying that Trey Young will catch Steph Curry due to evolution. I put that poll in the chat. You go vote in there. Let me know how you guys feel about that. Will Trey Young catch Steph Curry? After you do that, like the video or before, your choice. However, just make sure you go ahead and hit that like button. I'm going to go ahead and get into a few of these super chats. I got one from my man A30. He said Mars in the panel. So Mars, I'm coming straight to you. Why is Curry better than Magic?
I think they're both mediocre defenders. So if you want to say Magic's better, I'd probably disagree, but that's cool. But it's not moving me either way. I think Steph, what he brings offensively, clearly being a better scorer, a more efficient scorer. And I think to me, Steph's like one of the 5-6 best playmakers ever. Magic's the best, but I think Steph overall on offense is a better offensive player than Magic. So if I'm looking at you at worst equal on defense, Steph being a better offensive player, I'm going to say Steph's just better than Magic. But based on accolades, I guess you can say Magic.
Wait. So Mars, I have a question. So if Magic and Steph both have their own teams, whose career do you think will be more successful?
As in, I mean, they both did have their own teams.
Without
their stars.
Like just like.
So who would make a bad team better?
Yes.
Um, I want to say Steph because he's a better scorer than Magic. Magic is more reliant on other people to like he makes other people better. I think Steph makes other people better as well, but Steph's able to get his own shot in a way Magic probably wasn't. But I'm not 100% sure about that. But if I had to go with my gut, I'd say Steph.
Jesus.
Thoughts and comments from anybody else?
Um, to be honest, it's a wash for me. I really don't care who's better than who. When we look at both of their careers, we have to acknowledge the superstar cast that they had. I mean, both of those guys had a crazy supporting cast. So a lot of people like running with the fact that, oh, Magic has a great impact on winning and da 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 da. But he had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and James Worthy and Jamal Wilkes on his team. But yeah, he had such a great impact on winning, even though he had the best fucking team in NBA history. It's just stupid shit like that I just don't like. I don't like talking points when it comes to that. I think their games, I think Mars hit it on the money with the scoring and then the playmaking and things like that. I don't agree with you on the playmaking thing. That's just a difference in definition. I think what you define in playmaking, Mars, I define in impact. I think Stephen Curry, his impact on the game is what creates all of those opportunities. The fact that he's such a scoring threat and it impacts defenses to where he controls the way the defenses are played, that's him impacting the game. That's not playmaking in my opinion. So to me, honestly, bro, it doesn't matter who you pick, whichever one you want, it don't matter, bro. They're in the same tier for me.
And Chris Paul's better than both of them.
Yeah. Well, hold on. Before you get into that, you guys see the title of the show. We have a lot of dialogue behind the scenes. We talk a lot. We have a group chat. We're constantly going. Dub said he has something that needs to get off his chest about a certain point guard, and I think right now is the best time to go ahead and cross over into that. So, Dub,
Yeah, go fight for that top left crown.
I think you think that there's somebody out there that's better than Steph and Magic. I want to hear it.
So this is the soliloquy I had in my mind, and it hit me 3 days ago. I was just thinking about it, right? And I was thinking about the best point guards of all time. And when I look at all the best point guards of all time, a lot of them the majority of them have a flaw in their game. Magic Johnson, defense, scoring. Stephen Curry, defense. Steve Nash, defense. Jason Kidd, scoring. So when I look at that and I see all the point guards in NBA history, and then I look at a Chris Paul, he's a guy where you could rely on him for scoring. He's a good shooter. He's a good mid-range shooter. He can take it to the rack. He's a tremendous playmaker, probably one of the best playmakers in the league, in the way that I define it, being a pure point guard. He's a tremendous defender at that. I mean, look at how many All NBA defensive teams he's made. So when I look at Chris Paul and his game and compare him to the point guards, he's really the most complete point guard in NBA history. On top of that, when we look at the impact he's had on teams, he's had a tremendous impact on every single team that he's been a part of. Look at the Phoenix Suns at an older age. Look at the Oklahoma City Thunder, and nobody really thought that they was going to do anything. The Clippers had one of the most successful times in their history was with Chris Paul. So the Houston Rockets damn near beat the greatest team in NBA history. A lot of you guys, greatest team in NBA history. He almost beat them. If he did not get hurt, I swear on everything, bro, they was going to beat that team. And we're not talking about Chris Paul the way that you guys talk about him. All I'm saying, when we look at and compare him to a guy like a Magic Johnson and a Stephen Curry, the one thing that people get on him is the rings. And that's it. And the only flaw that Chris Paul has in his game is injuries. And a lot of people say, oh, he's a playoff choker, 2-0 leads, da-da-da-da-da-da, and that just lacks so much fucking context. I just can't even fucking believe it. I see it right now. He is a choke artist.
What's the context?
I'm going to tell you right now. If you want to say him against Giannis and him against Dallas, I understand that. But at this time, this is CP3 at an older age. When we look at him and the other times he had a 2-0 lead, he faced the San Antonio Spurs with a fucking Tim Duncan who just won a chip. The other time was in 2015 or 2013, I believe, against the Memphis Grizzlies. And guess what happened? Blake Griffin got hurt in Game 5 and Game 6. The next time was in 2016 against the Portland Trailblazers. And guess what happened? I think he got hurt. And I forget which game, but I know that he got hurt. And then he blew a 3-1 lead against the Houston Rockets where he got hurt again. So when we look at Chris Paul and his career, a lot of times that prevented him from seeing the full potential of himself and his team, the thing that held him back the most was injury. So when I'm looking at Chris Paul, I'm looking for him as a player, and us being robbed of seeing how far he could have gone. We were really robbed of that because of injuries. I'm just sitting here like, bro, how doesn't this guy have at least an argument of being the best point guard in NBA history? Some people don't even put him in the top 5.
So where does he rank all time with you? And let's just hear your top 5 point guards. First, where does he rank all time?
Top 5. That's all I want to hear.
No cap, bro. I mean, look at Chris Paul. Look at the impacts he's had on his team. Look at the way his game translates to the playoffs. The majority of the time, he does not fall off. He's the same for CP3. He does his job. He should be at bare minimum top 3.
So, Dub, I have multiple questions for you, but I'm just going to go straight for the jugular. So hypothetical, because that's the world that we were just kind of just living in, and it resonated with me. So if Zion Williamson goes to have a career similar to CP3 with stats and going to the playoffs, getting bounced, choking, but he has high percentages across the boards that may or may not be higher than other power forwards in the league ever, would you also say he has an argument to be top 5 for power forwards when his career is said and done? Because this is even if he's injured.
If Zion's game translates to the playoffs the same way CP3 has?
Well, to the playoffs, I hope. What does that mean? We're not doing
that.
Just
when I look at Chris Paul and his game, the way that he impacts the team, and we all know the crazy impact he's had on the team.
What impact is that?
What you mean? Look at the Clippers. Lob City was a thing because of him. The Clippers were their most successful because of him. The Houston Rockets, in my opinion, the 2018 Houston Rockets was the best Rockets team in NBA history, and that's the impact that he brought with him. So that's what I'm talking about.
So what is the difference between him and like a John Stockton?
John Stockton isn't that good of a scorer. He's nowhere near the scorer. And John Stockton had a Karl Malone on his team that he still couldn't even get it done. I think Chris Paul in that position is getting it done.
Don't do this. Chris Paul.
So if we look at CP3's
other
teams,
than New Orleans.
CP3's had really good teams.
He never had a Karl Malone. He never had a guy that caliber besides James Harden, and he got hurt against the best team in NBA history.
With the different style.
Yeah, yes, he was hurt in 2019.
They were all hurt in 2019.
That whole time
in the playoffs, he was hurt.
Chris Paul
was hurt.
Chris
he
Paul.
hurt
So tell me his
Chris
best.
Paul, wait, Chris
tell
Paul.
me his best teammate, CP3.
Wait, hold up, Mars. You know that was one of Chris Paul's worst year in his whole entire career.
Was he hurt in the playoffs?
He was hurt for the whole entire year.
Was he hurt in the playoffs?
He was hurt the whole. Yes. I'm saying yes. I'm saying yes.
You didn't hurt the whole year.
He was hurt. He was hurt the whole entire year, Mars.
Okay, so like James
and
Harden.
him, and the chemistry between James Harden was a thing that really took effect, especially in that playoffs, bro. I mean, when you look at Chris Paul and the numbers he had in the 2019 season, is all damn near career lows.
We're always looking at CP3's numbers, which is fine, but we can't just tally out guys in front of him based off of what ifs and hypotheticals. Because if that's the case, then I'm taking LeBron over MJ easy. So who do you have?
I've never based this off of a hypothetical.
You did.
I've never. All I said
you based it off of having no weaknesses.
I said,
and you said injuries is the reason that he's not the greatest point guard of all time.
If you guys want to knock him for injuries, I'm not gonna blame you for knocking that. I'm not gonna blame you for knocking him for injuries.
Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't I? Because when I'm sitting here and looking at Chris Paul and I'm assuming of him being fully healthy, I'm leaning more towards him. Look at Anthony Davis. Do we change up our rankings for Anthony Davis because he's hurt? Do we change up our rankings for Kawhi Leonard because he's hurt?
Where is Anthony Davis?
Where does
Kawhi
Leonard
going against other players in the league, not all-time greats.
Where does Kawhi Leonard rank for you? All time.
All time?
Yes.
At what position or just like in the league?
Position,
history.
all time.
Not top 3, like you have CP3, so it doesn't really matter.
He's top 20 easy, Kawhi. He's probably towards the tail end, but he's for sure top 20.
Why is he when he's only had 5 prime years and he's been hurt for almost every single
You talk
one of those
about impact on a team. You talk about impact on a team like you did with CP3. Come on, Dub.
He's done that one time. He's done that one time. Chris
Dub.
Paul's done it a multitude of times.
And he never won. And you can sit there and go, Kawhi is the reason that we won this
And
championship.
that's why I say y'all separate this man mainly because of what? Because of a ring.
He's
That's
top
why.
7 all time. What else do you want to give to him?
Who's top 7? Chris Paul?
Yes.
And what? Point guard history or?
In point guard history, you can you can make any type of argument for CP3, but Kawhi, you not having. So where do you have Kawhi all time?
No, I don't knock Kawhi for the injuries as well. I'm just saying, if you're not going to knock one guy for the injuries, I want you to apply that same injury towards everybody. Chris Paul, I'm not going to knock him for the injuries that he's had when I acknowledge the fact that a lot of the times where he did not have postseason success was because of injuries. Kawhi Leonard is great in all his right. Even though he's hurt every damn year, I'm not going to knock him as a player because I'm assuming of him being a healthy player. That's what I'm saying. Chris Paul, him as a healthy player, he's a guy, when compared to the point guards, he's a great scorer. He's a great defender. He's a great playmaker. There's zero flaws in this man's game. He has a tremendous impact on winning all across the board. And it's just hard for me to knock him just because of what? Because him and his co-stars kept getting hurt in the playoffs?
I agree. But can I say, like, can I read off something to you? Can I do a head-to-head between Magic and Chris Paul?
Yeah, you could.
Okay, so NBA seasons, CP
Oh my God, this is about
17
to
to
be a
13.
landslide.
Playoffs played 14 to 13. All-Star game CP3 is 12-12. Season MVPs. Magic Johnson 3-0. Finals MVPs. MJ 3-0. All NBA first team 9-4. All NBA teams 10-11 CP3. All defensive teams 7-0 or first team CP3 has 7. All defensive teams 9-0. Assist leaders 4-5 in favor of CP3. Steals leaders 2-6 in favor of Chris Paul. Rookie of the year, Chris Paul. Now points per game, Magic Johnson 19.5 to CP's 18.1. Rebounds 7.2 to 4.5. Assist 11.2 to 9.5. Steals 1.9 to 2.1. Blocks 0.4 to 0.1. And CP3, so.
Can we get turnovers too? Only because they're point guards.
I don't know if I'll try to find turnovers. I don't think they have turnovers listed, but if I'm sure Mars can bring it up. So I'm trying to figure out, and
Chris,
then we have championships 5-0.
Thank you, Darkest Night. Chris Paul
I don't think CP3 could play
MVP
center
finishes.
at any point in his career. So there's certain championships where it's like Magic actually did achieve a lot of things. So you're sitting here and you're saying CP3 is number 1 all time?
Honestly, this isn't a cliff I'm ready to jump off, but this is something that was on my mind and I did want to bring this up. I'm not really sure because this is fresh in my mind, but I mean, when I do compare him to a Magic Johnson and him stepping in from Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in the playoffs in his rookie year, I don't expect CP3 to do anything like that, but I do think that CP3 could do a good job, just as good of a job as Magic Johnson did on that Lakers team. And there's nothing for me to think otherwise.
Bro, how do you understand how Magic became Magic? He's LeBron James out there against point guards that are smaller than him. That was Magic's advantage. Mm-hmm. He was going up against guys like CP3 and saying, you're just too small to guard me. I can see the court over you. I just have better vision because you guys are too small because I'm taller. That was his advantage.
And also, he averaging more points over career than Chris Paul in an era where they didn't score a lot of points in comparison to what they're scoring now.
They did score a lot of points. The pace was actually almost the same exact pace as it was.
I'll put this. Stop. Okay. All right,
I mean, when you compare the league average of points per game,
the '80s Lakers. Like the '80s, it's the same. Like what they average.
When you
compare,
compare
what they average now.
When you compare the points per game, is generally the same.
I want to see the field goals per game. I want to see the field goals per game. Mars, how many field goals can you?
And I'm not even.
You can do like a league average.
And honestly, Shaq, you're trying to get me to jump off this cliff that CP3 is the best point guard.
In the group chat, you jumped off it. You left the group, came back, and jumped off again.
You know what we do. You know what we do in the group chat. The group chat's a fun place. You know, we like, joking and everything. But
the halfway house.
Yeah. But you do know, like, listen, bro. I mean, when I do put everything into context like that, I don't see how you can't have Chris Paul as a top 3 point guard all time, bare minimum, top 4. If he's ever out of anybody's
Steph.
top 5, it's weird.
I
Dub,
don't include Steph.
I'm going to make a counter argument against this. First, I want to read off some super chats of what people have to say regarding Chris Paul and the GOAT conversation. My man Mad Max said CP3 a choker, Dub, laughing my ass off, and he not a great shooter.
He's not a great shooter. I mean, you gotta, I don't know, watch film on CP3 again because that's just a lie.
The 80s took 5 more shots per game than the 2010s.
Football breakdown with the super chat. 3-1 lead to Houston. Meltdown in
hurt.
in OKC. Or
3-1 lead.
versus OKC.
Thank you.
Stop it.
3-1 lead. He got hurt. Let's cut that shit out. He got hurt, bro. So if you're gonna sit here and bring up a lead that he choked, bring up a lead that he choked when he played the whole entire time healthy, or his co-star with him the whole entire time healthy. But if you're gonna sit here and be mad that the guy, if I'm with LeBron, bro, LeBron goes down, we in war, bro, and I lose the war, you're not gonna look at me like shit. You should have got it done. Nah, son, you know how hard it is to be dealing with that shit with my guy going down. So come on, bro, cut that out.
Okay, we have more. Football breakdown with another super chat. He said, candidate for the worst take on this show. Laughing my ass all the way off.
You can laugh.
We'll see what TikTok has to say about that. Mad Max with a super chat. Another one. He said, forget Magic and Steph and Isaiah. CP3, not even GP.
Come on, son. That's a
Hey,
lie.
and he's
That's
not.
crazy.
Come on,
And
son.
he's not. And he's not. Yo, we can do the same breakdown. We can do the same breakdown.
We could.
And I
it's-
guarantee GP will whoop CP2.
Nah, I don't.
We
I
can
don't
do the
think
same
so.
thing we just did with Magic.
Let's look at it.
He'll have probably more All-Star games, maybe.
Because I think
All-NBA.
I think CP3, and it's not even an accolades thing. I don't even know why you're making an accolades thing when I'm sitting here and looking at that game.
CP3's doing Buddy dirty.
Yeah, when I was looking at Gary Payton, he's a
Gary Payton was a better scorer and a better defender. So we'll
better
just start
scorer.
right there.
I
He was
wouldn't.
not a better scorer.
He was not a better scorer. He's a better defender.
scorer, Ron.
Let's
And he
go look
wasn't
at
a
the
better
averages.
shooter.
Let's go look at the averages.
He wasn't
So
a better
look at
shooter. He
I'll
wasn't
give
a scorer,
Chris Paul.
and he wasn't even a better. He wasn't even a better playmaker. Every time
I'm not going to say playmaker. I'm not going to say playmaker.
Yeah.
Or
In
just
no
point
universe.
guard in terms of
No. See,
directing-
now that's
directing the offense.
disrespectful. So then, Ron,
It's not
where's GP in your top 10 point guards of all time?
GP is right there around like.
You're wrong.
7, 8. Yo, GP.
Okay, so then where's CP3?
Behind GP.
You're
I
wrong.
think, bro. I'm gonna put it like this,
You're
bro.
wrong.
CP
You're really
is
wrong.
one of the most hyped point guards ever, and I've said that on this show before, and I'm gonna say it again.
Why is he
CP's
most
one of the
hyped?
because,
Why?
bro, because the thing about Chris Paul is we hype Chris Paul up so much, and we think he's such a great player to the point where
He
you'll
is.
build a team around Chris Paul just for them to come up short. Chris Paul is better as a 2, maybe even a 3. All right, so
No,
why
you can't do that because a fully healthy team, to Dub's point, a fully healthy team, if I'm building a team around CP3 and it's fully healthy, like on some 2K shit, I guaranteed you that CP3's team will fare a lot better than GP3.
Why is it never fully healthy?
If you want to knock him
That's
for
his
injuries,
body. I'm not going to be nasty,
because
and
he
that's
has-
what to
if
Dub's
If you
That's
want
what
to
I'm saying.
listen,
That's
Ron,
what
if you
I'm
want to
saying.
knock
That-
him, if you want to knock him for injuries, I'm not gonna argue against
Yeah,
that.
like, I
But
see
don't
that
act
point,
as if
like-
don't act as if he's this fucking folder. Don't act as if he's this fucking choker. When the
Man,
majority
bro.
of his career,
GP is
he's
not
been-
even on the
he's
same
been hurt.
universe
The
as
resume
CP3.
says, all right, pull up the resumes.
It's
Pull up
not
the
even
resumes.
on
I
the. It's
wanna
not
see the
even on the
resumes.
same
I wanna
universe.
see the
I just
resumes.
can't get
Prove me
around it.
wrong.
Like,
Prove me wrong. I want to see the resume.
nah.
Based on resume, the only thing that GP has is the
Defensive.
defensive player of the year in the championship.
Okay.
And do we really
Other than
give
that, it's all
GP the championship?
Can I get GP's
Shouldn't,
career
'cause
stats?
he wasn't shit.
16, 4,
No,
and
I mean we're
7.
not disrespectful, Dub. But I'm just
I'm
saying,
sorry.
it's like we're talking about like what the player does for the team, and like, you know what I mean, like willing the team like over obstacles and all this other shit, whatever, and then actually get it done. GP, he was riding the bench, right? Like he was contributing, however he was
He was on
contributing
the
or whatever,
bench.
but he wasn't Sonic's GP. Like he
You
didn't
can't
get it
say
done.
somebody's resume is very close when one guy he clears the guy in every single statistical category, and you say that it's close.
What is
That's
it?
not
I
close
don't-
to me.
I
That's
don't-
one
I don't
guy's
know-
better than you.
I don't know Gary Payton's full resume. That's
So-
what I'm asking. What is it?
16, 4, and 7, 9 All NBA teams, 9 All Defense teams, 9 All Star teams, a Defensive Player of the Year, a Steals title, a championship, and the NBA 75th team, whatever it's called.
So yeah,
Chris Paul is 18, 4 and 9, 12 All-Stars, 5 assist titles, 6 steals titles, 9 All Defense, 11 All NBAs, and the NBA 75th team. So the difference is the championship and the Defensive Player of the Year.
all I'm saying is when if you are guys and you are people who really don't knock people for championships, you don't knock people for titles. I don't see why you don't think so highly of Chris Paul, especially when you put in the context on why he didn't win or why he didn't come close to a championship. As I said before, this man damn near beat the best team in NBA history on the Houston Rockets. And as soon as he went down, Stephen Curry had 2 of the best 3 games in that series. Why is that? It's because of CP3 and the impact that he provided on that fucking team.
And also, if we're including Steph in this conversation, then I'm going to also include LeBron.
What do you mean?
Like, if people want to include Steph into this point guard conversation, then I'm going to include LeBron.
So what position do you rank Steph? Shooting guard? Because he has to be in one of them.
It is. As far as scoring, it goes MJ. Then it's like a 3-way split between Kobe, Bron, and Steph for different reasons.
So Bron's a shooting guard?
I said scores. I don't do positions. That's just a silly thing. It's just how do you play basketball? What is the manner that you play basketball in? What do you excel in? If you play make, then you play make. You don't got to be a point guard to play make.
Is Draymond Green a point guard?
He's a playmaker.
Is he a point guard?
I don't get caught up in point guard. If you want to say he's a point guard, then you can say like to say somebody is something based off of a category created 100 years ago. I don't know where the evolution is there. Yeah, I don't know where the evolution is there.
Yeah, I don't think
because I see the chat saying stupid ass shit, and I'm like, how do you not understand that LeBron is a playmaker to the umpteenth level? Therefore, if you consider these other guys point guards, then why would you not consider LeBron James a point guard? If Magic Johnson is considered a point guard, why wouldn't you consider LeBron James a point guard? Mars, I'm talking to you.
I just go based on what it says on the sheet.
Okay, so when you eliminate that is a category for casuals. Point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward. That's the type of shit I say to my wife. This person plays this.
No,
but
Shaq,
I can't
you're
get
being
into
nasty,
deep conversation.
Bro. No, you're being nasty, bro. If a guy's lining
That's all
up as a
positions
point
are
guard,
to me.
When you're learning basketball, do you say that this person's a scorer? Do you say that they're a point guard? They're considered a shooting guard. But when you actually get into the nuances of basketball, are you guys serious right now?
I mean, I
can agree there's nuance. I just think position has no nuance. You play whatever position, you play it however you want to play it. There's no rule to be a point guard.
Because that favors your guy. That favors your guy, but it really doesn't.
So, like, I'm not gonna say Jokic isn't a center.
Okay, so if Steph is a point guard, if Steph is a point guard and your role is to be a point guard and play make, who's a better point guard, LeBron or Curry?
You're the one who gave the position a role. I didn't. I never said point guard has a role. I don't think.
So that seems like a cop out to me. Like compared across the level, just like compared across the level, completely.
LeBron is better than Steph Curry at basketball. So if they were both point guards, LeBron would be a better point guard than Steph.
Okay, so I said you said is he the best shooting guard? And I said I'm gonna go with scoring instead of shooting guard because shooting guard is very lazy. It's extremely lazy.
It's just a position.
So LeBron is better at basketball than Steph Curry, but if LeBron was playing the shooting guard, would he be a better shooting guard than Steph?
Yes, he plays shooting guard. He's better at basketball than Steph Curry. He's a better shooting guard than Steph Curry. Like, to me, it's just whatever position you play, that's where you get ranked. It doesn't mean if Michael Jordan was suddenly ranked as a power forward, I'd say he's the best power forward ever. Like, he just plays power forward.
So the position is just a designation. It's not like
there's no set.
It's
criteria.
no need for it in basketball.
I agree.
There's no need for it in
position.
So then we don't even have to bring it up on the show anymore because we know that like Euro has said, the game has evolved into something totally different now. We can't use the same standards from 100 years ago and try to apply it to now. That's very nasty.
So
that's all that I'm saying.
So you tell me that my whole CP3 shit didn't mean anything. That's what you just telling
I mean, no. As far as playmaking, it means a lot. As far as playmaking. Now, if you want to put CP3 up there with like who play makes better, CP3 or LeBron, that's very tough. That's
I'm going
a very
with
tough
CP3
argument.
every time. I think CP3. I think when we look at LeBron,
And this is why I said what I said about CP. We hyped this man to the moon.
it's not even. It's
And
not
what
even.
has he done?
Oh my God,
Jack shit.
I don't understand, but this is where the casuals get separated from the supremes. We have casuals, then we have supremes. Because if you can't understand in the chat, if you can't understand the logic of where I'm coming from, that's really sad. That if we have to get up here and try to say, oh, point guard, shooting guard, small forward to get a point across. No, let's go by playmaking, scores, how you play down low, how you play on the perimeter, and let's batch up everybody. And those are the best guys to do that. If everybody is playmaking, no matter how big or small you are, then you're technically a point guard. But I don't even know how point guard got the name point guard. Passing guard would be a better name. What a point guard would seem to be a scorer, but I digress, though. I digress.
No, I see your point. I seen this. I think Lowe was on like a TikTok live last night, and I like stumbled upon like one of the clips. This guy was trying not to call Steph and Curry a point guard, right? So when Lowe asked him to be for Draymond Green to be a point guard, dude was saying no. Draymond Green's a point forward. People not even realizing the fact of what you're doing. You're basically combining two positions in one. You're calling Draymond Green a point guard just because he plays the power forward or small forward position. You could apply that same logic to Stephen Curry. He's a shooting guard, or whichever one to define his score. But at the end of the day, he's a point guard. And he plays the point guard.
No, at the end of the day, he's a scorer, and he
So
scores the ball. You have it backwards. That's what I'm trying to let you guys know. You have it backwards.
Hey, so basically, you should be a point guard or a shooting guard, and a shooting forward or a point guard.
Just stop
And a
saying
shooting
all of those
center
things.
or-
Just
and a
stop
shooting
saying it.
center or a point
Shaq's
center.
just saying don't use positions and use
Just
your
do
role
away
on
with
the team.
all of the positions, because you say, oh, you're a point guard. That means that you're supposed to play make, but that's not true in today's game. It's so evolved for you to sit here and try to put any one of these players into a box, because they all can shoot. They all can shoot. To Euro's point, they all can shoot. So is everybody so is everybody a shooter? Is everybody a scorer because they can shoot? You got no, you can't have it both ways.
What happens
Because
when you get a guy like Trey
Do
Young?
we even
though?
have any point
who's
guards
the
in the league?
outlier? Who's top 5 in scoring and top 5 in assists? Then what are you?
I think Steph can also do that as well. But if you stack up Trey Young's playmaking to other great playmakers, is he a top 5 playmaker of all time?
What?
He's
Trey
better than
Young?
John Stockton, but I digress.
Did you just say Trey Young?
No, I'm asking. I'm saying like he is a crazy outlier. I will give you that. The ball's in his hands. Luka as well.
Yeah,
LeBron
so
as well. Magic as
What do
well.
you classify them as? Shooting guards, point guards? What would you do? You like what are they?
You see,
about
2K
Jokic?
got away with it. They're
Playmaking
playmaking scores.
Playmakers,
They're playmaking score. They're two-way offensive playmaking scores. I don't know, but point guards okay. So what do you classify them? Because that's not it either. Because you won't classify LeBron James as a point guard, but you classify Luka and Trey as a point guard. Why?
LeBron was a
What is
point
your
guard in
reasoning?
2020.
What is the reasoning behind this?
He was listed as a point guard.
Exactly. He was listed as something, and that's what you go off of instead of actually just watching the game and saying, okay, it's deeper than that.
I can understand it's
SFPG,
deeper than that, but when we're
SG.
ranking point guards, I'm just going to go based on who's listed as a point guard.
Okay, but Mars, you understand that it's deeper than that.
100%.
That's why that's lazy to do, to just say just because it's a point guard. Because in my opinion, LeBron's one of the best playmakers in the history of the game, but I would never say he's one of the best point guards because you guys flip shit. So I just say he's one of the best playmakers of all time.
Why do we have to incorporate play style to the position that somebody plays?
That's why I don't.
Why
agree
can't
with.
we just remove positions entirely?
Because I think it just kind of makes it difficult. Because I would like to have point guard debates. I would love to have shooting guard debates, and I would love to have.
You can
small
have a
forward
point guard
debates.
debate, but don't just have it at a surface level like a casual. Get deep into it. Go playmaking instead of point guard.
But
That's the
the way
difference.
now we're
Because
talking about.
then I
Now
start
we're talking about.
throwing Jokic into the debate. And I
No,
don't want to
because
debate
then
Jokic versus Trey Young.
Mars has a whole different definition when it comes to
Yo,
playmaking.
I
and
literally
my
said-
definition, so it'll be two completely different things.
I literally sat up here, and I don't know who it was, and you guys argued me down to my toenails that Kyrie Irving has a better post game than LeBron James. So basically, he's a
He
post
does,
player.
but you can be a point
But you
guard
guys-
with a post game though.
Hey, I'm not.
You
Like,
can
you
be
could be a
anything
center
with
with a
anything.
playmaking bag.
You can be anything with anything. So why be lazy and say, oh,
I don't think that's.
I
I'm
get
just trying to
honestly,
elevate
I
you
get
guys'
your
mind.
point.
No,
I
that's
get your
being
point,
far
and I
from
like
lazy.
your
It's
point.
being
I'm not even
technical.
lying.
It's being
It's not-
technical. If you're
it's
conducting,
being technical.
if you're bringing the ball up the floor and conducting the offense, calling the offense like, oh, we're
Does
running this
Steph
play,
do
we're
that?
doing this.
Does Steph do
Yes.
that?
Yes.
He
Now,
definitely brings the ball up the floor.
granted, he has somebody else on the team that will bring the ball up the floor too, Draymond Green.
More
But
than him?
Steph is calling the sets. He doesn't bring the ball up more than him.
No.
He doesn't.
Yo, if I
we just notice it more because it's
If
like,
I
oh,
bring
Draymond's
up the
bringing the
ball,
ball up the floor.
Ron, I can bring on my team. I can bring up the ball every single
can.
day, pass it into the big man, and run to the corner and wait for whatever play or
Yeah,
whatever's
but
about
that's
to
not your
happen.
primary
I don't.
job. That's not your primary job, Shaq. I've
But it
watched you
could- but
play.
it could be-
You
it
get the
could be
rebound,
anybody.
You get the rebound. Sometimes you'll bring it up, but more than not, you will outlet it to the point guard.
That's also not true. If I get the rebound, I'm not out. The first thing
I watch every game you play. What are
Run.
you talking about?
run. When I get
All right,
the
oh
so
my
how
God.
so how
Oh, I can't wait to the first game of the season. If you outlet the ball to Slucas,
So then
I
how?
swear to
So then
God.
how am I? Of
Texting
course,
your
if there's not, so then why would I be considered one of the biggest threats in transition in EuroLeague?
You are, because you can still get a rebound and go coast to coast. Dwayne Wade.
No,
did
why
that
would
all
I
the
be
time.
considered one of the
He did
biggest
that all
threats
the
out of
time.
everybody? Why would I be considered one of the biggest threats?
Because, like I said, you get the rebound and you go coast to coast, or your point guard gets the ball outletted and kicks it ahead to you. Like, I don't.
Which one happens, Ron? Which one happens over the course of our career? Over the course of you watching my career and us playing together.
I've seen you get the rebound plenty of times and dart out and go coast to coast. You're always the fastest player on the court. But just because you're the fastest player on the court, does that make you the point guard?
I don't think so. But
let's not negate the fact that when the point guard gets the ball in transition or gets it outletted to them at half court and takes two dribbles and either throws you an alley-oop or a bounce pass for you to get a dunk.
So Steph Curry is a point guard in your mind of everything that point guard stands for.
Point guard 100%.
Why?
Because he play makes like a point guard. He does point guard like things. Yes, he scores the ball, but Steph will bring the ball up the court, enter it into the offense. The offense will be ran, and just because he entered the ball into the offense and initiated the offense has nothing to do with the fact that.
So is LeBron James a point guard?
Play as well.
So is LeBron James a point guard? Who brings the ball up the court more throughout their careers? LeBron James or Steph Curry, and is it by a wide margin?
It's definitely not by a wide margin.
Okay, so is LeBron James a point guard?
LeBron James is an anomaly, bro, and I classify him as a small forward, but LeBron James has played with plenty of point guards throughout his career.
So because you bring up the basketball, that's what makes you a point guard. That's fair. If that's what we're going. Very lazy, but that's fair. I'll give you that one. If you bring up the ball and you wait for everybody to get in position and you pass it to the four-man so he can go do something, if that's what this is, I'll give you that.
But then how many times do you have to do that as opposed to doing something else? Because Jokic does that.
It's not just about
Jokic play makes. What else is it about? You're about to describe LeBron James.
It's more so a height thing as well. And it's just like, I would say it's just bringing the ball up the floor and height. And I mean, that's just
so the height. So then Magic Johnson shouldn't be classified as a point guard.
More so kind of who you're guarding too as well.
God damn.
Magic Johnson wasn't guarding point guard.
God damn. All right, man. I'm going to stop asking questions because we just keep opening up Pandora's box.
Bro, I'm telling you what it is, bro. I don't classify what a point guard is technically, but I'm saying,
Is
bro,
Ben Simmons a point guard?
I don't think
Ben
that you
Simmons
guys are
guards
wrong.
point guards. I've seen Ben Simmons pick up Trey Young full court.
But Mark
And
just
I've seen
said
Ben
Magic
Simmons-
doesn't guard point guards. Michael Cooper
I've
did.
seen Magic Johnson guard Isaiah Thomas.
And get fucking torched on
I've
a broken
I've seen
Achilles.
LeBron James guard Jamal Murray
I've
in the
seen Chris
bubble.
Paul get his ass torched on a broken whatever he had. Like,
Who?
stop. Don't do that.
Who?
Chris Paul.
Because he was on Steph's ass like crazy in the 2018 finals, fucking shimmying all over him. What are you talking
he got
about?
put on his ass.
No, he wasn't.
Hey, that boy got
He
embarrassed.
stepped on his foot, you fucking liar.
That boy got embarrassed.
He stepped on his foot. Go
Hey,
watch the tape. Pull
hey,
it right now.
hey,
He stepped
hey,
on his foot.
Hey, the first time you seen Chris Paul's nuts, what color drawers was he wearing?
Hey, yo.
Yo, chill. Yo,
Are we clipping this up and putting it on TikTok?
No, we can't do that because if Dub couldn't get his joint off on Fluid, I don't want to get my joint off on Dub.
That was crazy. That was a little bit crazier though. A little bit.
No, but here's my next question though. Well, it's a super chat, so we kind of got to get into it. And I know you guys have dropped a lot of super chats. I'm gonna go back and get into all of those right now. This is actually what I was gonna get into. We got into the CP or the GP bag, but I was gonna get into my Russ bag. My man Kevon Jones, he said, "Does CP3 clear Russ?" And that's a valid question.
I think
As
Russ
a
is better
PG?
than CP3.
Yeah. Well, no, just as a player. I mean, I guess we could say PG because that's what we're talking about.
Oh man.
here's my thing. Here's my thing with Russ. Like Russ, I love you. I love your style of play when it's permittable. I don't love it all the time. And that's when I look at with Russ and CP3, you can always do stats and numbers and MVPs and weird stuff like that. But when I'm a GM or a coach, I look at who is more interchangeable with other players, who can play better with any type of player. And Russ is very one-dimensional in that area. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not. But CP3's IQ clears Russ's so heavily that Russ just goes into the paint and whoever he sees, that's who's getting the ball, which leads to a lot of turnovers versus CP3's a lot more crafty than Russ. I feel like in the scoring department, Russ forces it a lot more versus CP3's more smooth with the scoring. I'm sure he has better efficiency than Russ. Assist to turnover ratio, it's going to get nutty. I don't know it, but it's going to be bad. So when I look at
my man, don't even bring that up.
I'm just saying, when I look at when you're comparing CP3 to Russ, it's not even close. That's one of those accolade things where that's super nasty. Because you would never put Russ as a top 5 point guard of all time. And if you did, he's going to be passed by Luka by the time Luka's done. Based off of perception and based off of when we look at Russ, it's the Allen Iverson effect. When you actually break it down, in Mars, that's why this is nasty from you. Because you'll look at Allen Iverson's career and you'll chop it up because of efficiency, because of this, and that, but then you'll sit here and say Russ is better than CP3.
I think Russ
And
is
I'll
better
let you
than
have
AI
this
as
stage.
well. But I mean, I agree with everything you said about IQ, poise, everything. I think to me, because the way I view playmaking and everything, turnovers don't really bother me. I don't care about turnovers that much. Like Magic Johnson averaged like 4 turnovers a game. He's still the best playmaker of all time. LeBron averages like 4. To me, he's at top 5 playmaker of all time. So I'm
average
like 3.5. I think I want to say 3.5.
Okay, got you.
Chris Paul's at 2.4, by the way. But I'm looking at playmaking. I think Russell Westbrook creates more for his teammates than Chris Paul. I could find some numbers, but I can't be bothered.
Mars, I have a weird question for you.
Wait.
If we judged bigs off of turnovers for every time they were battling for a rebound and didn't get it, it counted as a turnover. Would you care about turnovers then?
If fighting for a rebound and not getting it was a turnover.
Yeah.
Not really.
Wait, you don't care about? Wait, I'm so
if
lost. Wait,
I don't
they don't care about
turnovers that
That's
much.
nasty.
Is what I said.
is so
that's the
nasty.
nastiest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Okay.
Turnovers matter, bro.
I just don't think the
Okay.
two are comparable for real because Russ and CP3 are so different. I think Russ, obviously, you know what I mean, he can make it happen on his own, as opposed to, or more so than CP3, as opposed to, CP3, like he needs guys, high quality guys around him in order to, make himself look better as well. Like, I think he's when you look at point guards as like a tool or whatever, like he's the ultimate tool, but he has to have the right pieces around him for you to even take advantage as a coach of that tool, in the best way possible. So I don't even think, and it's the same way with like comparing Steph and Magic Johnson. I think the two are just completely different players, regardless of if we say both of them are point guards or not.
But they both have strengths and weaknesses that are glaring, that aren't the same. Like, they're both very interchangeable in different ways is what I'm saying. With Steph and Magic, they're not the same player, though, I agree. But they're both interchangeable in different ways with Magic and Steph.
I still think Russ is better than Chris Paul.
Here's the question I want to ask you guys, and I think this will kind of be one-sided both ways. On a worst team, who are you taking with these two guys? And on a great team, who are you taking with these two guys?
I would take CP3 in both of them. As far as chances to win, like for excitement, I would take Russ on a worse team though.
Wait, so on that OKC team that went up 3-1 and ended up losing to the Warriors, you think they win that series with Chris Paul? And how many times do you think Steph makes him touch the floor?
Man, Russ was the perfect player for that situation. That's why I'm like, I don't know. And that's to my point of
because you just said every scenario though.
No, that was his play style. That was his play style as far as like being on the edge, being unpredictable. But I mean, we're not going to sit here and act like CP3. They also wouldn't probably went up 3-1 as well. But I can only take Russ because I've seen Russ, so I'm not going to do the hypothetical there. But every other situation, I'm taking CP3.
Got you. Hello, Delroy.
Rough day. I'm on my phone, actually. I don't know how it looks or sound. Might be a gross day.
It's fine.
All right. Hello, Shaq. Me and
What's
Shaq
up,
had
Dale?
a lot of back and forth banter the last 24 hours. Exciting times.
Too exciting.
Where are we in my doc?
We haven't even started it yet. I had to wait for you to get here before we could dive
What?
into the doc. Dub jumped off both of his cliffs with Basketball Evolution and Chris Paul being a top 3.
Oh,
point
so
guard of
Chris
all
Paul,
time.
that was on the doc.
Yeah.
Dub, can you tell me why you think Chris Paul is the greatest?
He doesn't think that.
Oh, okay. He just said it.
He just feels like we should put some more respect on his name.
Compared to who?
He should be top 3, top 4 without a doubt. Better than Jason Kidd and better than everybody else besides Steph and Magic and possibly Isaiah.
You said better than Jason Kidd?
I think he's better than Isaiah, and he's better than Jason Kidd.
I don't want to argue Isaiah. Why is he better than Kidd? Did anybody defend Kidd, or was it just
This is
Dub
the first
saying
time
what
he
he
said
wanted?
Jason Kidd's name.
Oh,
he
okay,
sh-
perfect.
No, he should be better than. He should be undoubtedly better than everybody else besides Magic and Stephen Curry.
But why Jason Kidd? Yeah, just
Well, Jason Kidd is a great defender and great playmaker, but CP3 is a hands down better scorer. Like the impact that CP3 has had on his teams is probably similar to what Jason Kidd has, if not better. So, yeah.
I'm going CP over J Kidd career. As a player, like
As a
technical,
player still. Even in the half court, Jason Kidd wasn't really strong in the half court, and that's something that CP3 really excels in.
I'm
Wait,
gonna take CP3 as well.
Where was Jason Kidd prowess in the transition?
He was amazing in transition. He was amazing
No,
at finding.
He was just a great passer, but he
Can I
played in a
finish?
time where
Can I
the
finish?
end? No, it makes no sense. Because
I
he
mean,
played in a
you
time
asked
where
me
the
something,
NBA
and I
is
didn't even
half court.
finish. How you gonna ask me
Yeah.
something and I don't finish?
Because it makes no sense.
What you
The
talking
whole
about?
NBA was half court back then.
Yes, and as I was saying, I said he did a tremendous job at getting the ball to the spots where they can excel in. But when it came to, well, I say like creating plays for other guys, it's not really something he did a lot compared to
Jason
CP3.
Kidd?
When we compare him to CP3, I'm sorry, when we compare him to CP3.
Wait, you agreed because you just said yes. You agreed that the NBA back then was more half court, but then you said when it comes to setting people up, he wasn't good compared to CP.
That's not what I said.
What did you
I
say?
said when it came to creating plays for other people, he was not as good as the CP3. When we're talking about getting the ball to the
That's
spots
what I
where
just
everybody
said.
can excel in, no. When you're talking about getting the ball to spots where guys can excel in and he just move out the way so that they can work, that's something that he was amazing at. But when it comes to him creating the offense and impacting defenses with his scoring, that is something that he did not do it as well as a CP3.
So when Jason could get the ball to other players so they could excel in spots, who are these other players Jason Kidd was giving the ball to play one-on-one?
No, bro.
Compared
I mean,
to CP giving
if
to
somebody-
James Harden and his roster, Devin Booker. Who is that for Jason Kidd?
Well, listen, Dale. I'm not sitting here saying that CP3 is a better playmaker than Jason Kidd.
Honestly,
it's
Dub,
pretty
I
much
don't know
it's
where
pretty
you're going.
it's pretty much a wash, though. All I'm saying is when the main differentiator between Jason Kidd and
CP3 is a better
CP3
playmaker,
is a
though.
score.
CP3 is a better playmaker.
And Dale has left the build. Yeah, y'all almost
No,
made
I'm
Dale
back.
leave the building with y'all nasty takes.
No, CP3 is. Dub, you might be right.
How
Now I
is
see what
CP3
you're getting at. It's no way
What-
J Kidd
what-
is top 5 point
Do
guard
you
over
think?
CP3.
Wait. Do you think that Jason Kidd is hands down a better playmaker than Chris Paul?
I think he's hands down better basketball player in every aspect. Than
No,
Chris
he's
Paul.
not.
Why?
No, he's not.
Why?
No, he's
Why?
not.
Why?
No, he's not.
No,
he's
why?
not.
Why?
He's not.
Because I think he's better than Chris Paul.
No,
Why?
That's
no,
why.
Why?
No.
That you
No.
know. Don't listen. I'm not.
J
I'm
Kidd
not
You
would
gonna
be
ask me
considered
why,
very
but then when I
mediocre
ask you why,
in
you're
the
not even
last
trying
10
to
years.
answer. You just saying because I think he's better.
Dub, you have not answered my question yet. So don't try to switch it up on me changing. You said
I've
honestly.
I've answered all your questions. What are you talking?
No. First you said not half court, but transition. Then you said, oh no, but the NBA back then was all half court. Then you said Jason Kidd he gets the ball to players so they could do the isolation, not as good as CP. What players?
No. J Kidd wouldn't be a top 10 player in the last 10 years ever in the NBA. Stop.
In his
Stop,
prime?
Dale. No, in anything.
Chris
in his
Paul hasn't
prime.
been-
Yes, in his prime. Dale, you
Paul
said he
hasn't
would not be over Dame. He would not be over Dame. Chris
would
Paul
be
was an
over Chris
MVP
Paul.
contention. What are we talking about, right? So he would be an MVP contention over CP3?
Yes,
When?
you know
What
why?
year?
Because
What year?
because in 2000,
Yeah,
hold on, time
man.
out. Listen to me. Because in 2000, in 2001, he was an MVP contention with Tim Duncan, Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant. He was an MVP contention.
You wanna
with
talk
It was a
about the
different
MVP
game.
contention
That's
with
why I brought him
CP3. Are
into
we
this
serious?
era. It was a
Are
different
we
game.
serious, bro?
That's why.
okay.
Look at Chris
so-
Paul's MVP contentions, bro. What are you talking
Dale,
about? He
it's
has like
close,
5 of them.
but CP3 clears.
Wait, Shaq. So if you put Chris Paul back in the 2000, the same era as Jason Kidd, he would be an MVP contention, right?
No, I'm
But
talking
Jason
about
Kidd-
Jason Kidd coming here. I'm talking about Jason Kidd doing what CP3 is doing right now. I'm telling you that CP3 is a better basketball player than Jason Kidd. I'm telling
Only
you
thing
that.
I give CP over Jason Kidd is he's a better shooter. So that
What
enables
has
him to be a better scorer.
Jason
That's
Kidd
it.
did? Because we have seen Chris Paul fail, but he has failed tremendous. Gloriously, triumphantly, over and over again.
Jason Kidd failed back-to-back NBA Finals. That's where he failed. That's where he
guess-
failed.
Oh, so
guess-
and
guess
guess
what
what
he
he
failed?
They got a gentleman's sweep, didn't they?
Huh? They got they didn't. The Lakers swept them, and I think they lost. They might have won one game versus the Spurs. Might have. I don't know. I honestly
Yeah, a
don't know.
gentleman's sweep.
I don't
Hey,
remember.
those are two all-time teams.
So
Yo, please. Okay, so what was Jason Kidd's prime year? Would you say?
I don't know his prime years. If you're gonna go to stats and numbers,
I just know I'm not going to stats and numbers. I just want to see.
I know. Since he came in the NBA, I think he was co-rookie of the year. Europe could probably help me on this with him.
So
and
like
Grant
what?
Hill.
2001, 2002.
No. Hold on. I'm going back from when he was drafted. I think he was drafted in '95 or '94. Him and Grant Hill might have been co-rookie NBA of the year. Since Jason Kidd, '94.
Mars, can I please just get his prime
Since-
year? I'm like
since
all the
Jason
dipsy
Kidd-
do that we're doing right now. I'm just trying to get down
I'd
to
assume
something.
his best year was 2002. That's why.
And what would you say Chris Paul's best year was? His prime
It has
year?
to be 08. It has to be 08. It has to be 08. 08. Definitely.
What was 08? He was with New Orleans?
That was the
Yes.
year he was second in
Wait,
MVP.
Him
my
and David
bad.
West.
Yeah.
Wait, you talking about Chris Paul's prime years?
No, his
For
prime
me,
year. Like his best year for
Chris
me is
Paul.
08.
For me, Chris Paul at his best was like
What are we even
20,
What are we even talking about now? Like seriously?
2014. Those years.
Because Dell's saying that I just heard something. Dell, oh yeah, he's a better shooter, but that doesn't equate to better score. We look at
No, I
Jason
didn't.
Kidd and his scoring. Come on, bro. Are we serious?
If you rewind that, I never said that. I said he's a better shooter, and so you could say he's a better scorer. That's
Okay,
what I
that's
said.
what you said. Okay.
That's what I said.
So then, what else made Jason Kidd better?
So CP3
I
on those
think- I
Nets
think
teams,
Jason-
they don't go to the finals.
But they probably can go to the finals, though.
Okay,
They-
so
I'm not-
exactly.
but
That's why I said it's close, but I think
No.
CP3 clears.
but
to
okay,
just say
the same for you. It gets close, but I think Jason Kidd
inaccurate.
plays.
But you just know
and we
you
need
because
to
you
hear.
were like emphatic, so it made me jump back emphatically, and I didn't because
I
love J Kidd.
Because I was emphatic because nothing Dub said made sense with his own argument. He can't agree that the NBA was half court back then, but say Jason Kidd in the half court wasn't good, and it's Jason Kidd era when he's an MVP candidate in the half court. That's what you said.
All I said, I was comparing it to a CP3, and I said when it compares to a CP3, I think that CP3 hands down is just better than him in a half-court setting.
But why? Like,
because he's.
I mean, I walked through it, but you just failed to fucking listen.
I didn't walk through it.
Yes, I did. I said when it comes to creating plays for the other guys, I think CP3.
Okay, right. What other guys?
Wait. Wait. Let me finish. When we sit here and talk about Chris Paul and getting the ball to the guys the same way that Jason Kidd could do it, I think he could do that just as well. But when we talk about creating, we're talking about Richard Jefferson and the guys that Jason Kidd was with.
Richard Jefferson, Kane, Marquise Van Horn compared to James Harden. And those type of players. Continue. Please.
Well, Blake Griffin and then DeAndre Jordan and JJ Redick and everything. And what about David West? So what are you trying to say? Wait, what are you trying to say? Wait, what are you trying to say?
The East was just like.
Yeah, thank you. No.
Stop being
Shaq, I was gonna get to that point. Wait, Shaq, what are you even trying to say about that? You're trying to negate Chris Paul and his playmaking just because
the competition CP3 was going up against was way more vast than what J Kidd was going up against to get to those finals.
Let me ask you a question, both of y'all. Y'all can answer it. Who had better talent around him, Jason Kidd or Chris Paul?
No, who had to go up against better talent is the question. It's the same. We're saying the same thing.
How are we saying the same thing?
Because you're saying who had better talent around him, and I'm telling you that even though he had better talent, he had to go up against way better talent around every corner was somebody that's about to smack them.
But with Chris Paul talent, he was viewed. Those teams was viewed as.
Dub said he got injured. He got injured.
Oh, I'm okay. Those teams was viewed as top. Other than Rockets, running the Rockets here, he got injured. Those teams, when he just miserably just flamed out, were viewed as contenders with the roster around them. Jason Kidd teams with the Nets became contenders because of Jason Kidd. That's the same thing.
The same thing can be said about the Clippers. They became contenders because of a Chris Paul. They wasn't shit without Chris Paul.
Never stop. You're not wrong. CP3 was just in the finals. You are very correct. In J Kidd in this era,
the Phoenix Suns went to
listen to me.
The Phoenix Suns went to the finals as soon as Chris Paul went there, Dale.
J Kidd in this era with his play style.
Suns, the 2 episodes ago, you were like, let's not forget all the great things that had to happen for those Phoenix Suns to make the finals. Those was your exact words, Dub. So don't harp on.
All I'm saying, no. All I'm saying is you're equating this. You're just doing this weird thing. Oh, they were a title contender with Jason Kidd. You're being just a nasty ass context bender. So I'm gonna be a nasty ass context bender as well.
That's not.
Like you just.
No.
Yes, you are.
It's different.
Yes, you are.
Jason Kidd made.
You guys hate on CP3. I see it now.
CP3 made the Clippers. CP3 made the Clippers, bro.
No, the elevation of Blake Griffin game alongside a first team All NBA center with DeAndre Jordan.
No, don't act like any point guard could throw him those oops. Don't act like any point guard could have did what CP3 did in Lob City.
So, meaning any point guard.
I agree.
Throwing the lob.
That's not all he did. He was. Dale, whoa.
I also back to.
So CP3 did nothing else but throw lobs with the Clippers, and that's why they got to where they were at.
He scored. I think
because they couldn't stop a lob is why the Clippers were effective.
I think Jason Kidd is a better defender. I think Jason Kidd impact is better than Chris Paul's. I think Jason Kidd's a better passer. What else? Let's see. I think he's a better leader. Let's see what else you guys need because I have to not prove points to why instead of just saying I think he's better. Those reasons I think he's better.
Which one? What was it?
It's too close for that. It's too close to just say that. It's too close.
No.
Playmaking in the defense is a wash. They playmaking.
Dale, you know I'm a J Kidd
stan.
You're being nasty right now.
He was bigger and more athletic too, as well.
Okay, so what?
I'll say
Magic Johnson bigger than Steph
for you to
Curry.
Throw that in there, right?
Like Magic Johnson bigger. Magic Johnson bigger than Steph Curry. What does that mean? Like, what does that mean?
It's harder. It's obviously
What's
harder
more
to
athletic
guard.
than CP3?
It's harder to guard a point guard in transition or even in a half court when you're 6'4", and more
It's
athletic.
also harder to guard a fucking point guard that can literally get buckets on you everywhere on the court, unlike a Jason Kidd. So like, what are we doing?
Yeah, like CP3 offensively runs laps around J Kidd.
And
He's
he's
a
not
better
even,
offensive
Everything
player.
in totality.
Okay,
Now,
he's a better offensive player. So is that because of what?
it's vast.
Is
Yes,
it night and
scoring
day?
wise.
Yeah, Euro.
Yeah, I
I
think
want to
it's
hear your
night
take
and
on
day.
this, Euro. And Mars, I
I
need
think
you to
it's
chime
night
in
and day.
too.
And in CP3, as nasty it is, I'm pretty sure he averaged more assists over his career than J Kidd. As nasty as that is, I know you're saying the type of passes that he makes, but if I average more assists than you, and we're both point guards playing similar, I think I get that edge. Or no? What made J Kidd a better passer than CP3 when CP3 averaged more assists?
Shaq, you may know this as I noticed. So when you're growing up in the '90s, assists were they were
Dumping
graded
down
very
to the
differently.
big man.
They were very
The same dump down to the big man and throwing
Shaq,
the
that's not
lob,
true.
they cancel
Shaq,
each other.
Shaq, that's not true, and we know that. Now, you
So
can pass the
what
ball.
was so
Hold on,
different?
I'm explaining. I'm trying to explain. Now you can pass to a ball. Someone could jab step, take 2 dribble, and that person that still passed the ball
That's a
that's
fact.
being counted as assist.
That's a fact.
And back in the '90s, early 2000, no, it's one pass. You maybe get a dribble, and it's assist. So the fact.
So
of
if you take that away, are you saying
That's
that Jason? If you say that's fair, that's a fair argument. Evolution of the game, to Euro's point, that's a fair
evolution
argument. But
of
are you?
the rules, that's not the game. That's just the rules.
But still, though, there was still much easier dump downs to the big man, and you get those assists every time too, versus the transition. They were passing it. They was a half court game. They were passing it down to the big every time.
Exactly.
Come on, Dale.
How many? Name the bigs back then that we tried to do the other day, right? How many bigs are just catching it and turning and hook? Most of the bigs down there were fundamental that they could create their own shots on the post. You throw it down to Patrick Ewing, he ain't just going to hoop. He's going to make a move. You throw down to Shaq, to Hakeem Olajuwon, to
And you're saying that,
Alonzo Mourning.
Those weren't counted as assists.
No.
So then, how were the point guards getting assists? How was John Stockton getting all of his assists?
By being point guards.
What were they doing?
They were finding the open man where they just have to catch the ball and shoot it.
No.
What do you mean? No.
No. If you do a pick and roll with the point guard and he hits you on the roll and you take 2 steps and go get the bucket, that's an assist. If you come down half court and you pass it into the big man and he makes any type of move and doesn't take more than 2 steps, turn around hook, pump fake, dribble, and get the bucket, that's an assist.
No, it's not. Not back then. Not at all.
Show me where. I would love to see the rule breakdown of that. I would love to see the rule break. I want to see all of Jason Kidd's assists.
Let me explain something.
I'm about to go on Synergy right now, go back 20 years and look at all of J Kidd's assists.
Why do you think from the 90s to the early 2000s that getting a triple-double was so glorified?
It was respected.
Compared to it now.
I agree with
you. It
you.
was 2011 maybe. Lance was leading the league in triple-doubles with Lance Stevenson with 9 or 10.
I agree with you, but that doesn't negate the fact that guys couldn't get them. To Euro's point, as you said earlier, it's not because, once somebody's seen that it was accomplishable, like Russ has done, now everybody can do it. Everybody's like, this isn't as hard as we think. We're going out there and we're getting it. But J Kidd had the ball in his who's to say that the triple-double was just the barometer of how good of a point guard you were back then? So then don't bring it up.
I'm bringing the triple-doubles for how hard it was for people to get dimes. That's how.
If you get a 10-point triple-double, but then CP3 has 30 points, 12 assists, and 4 rebounds, who actually contributed more to the offense, Mars, on you?
I don't know what that question has to do with this.
No. If I get a 10-point triple-double, 10, 10, and 11, and CP3 has 30 points, 12 assists, or even 16 assists, and 4 rebounds, who contributed more to the offense? But now that's rocket sciences. All right.
That's not rocket science.
If that's rocket science.
So if Chris Paul had 42 points and 2 assists, but Jason Kidd had 12 points, 19 assists, who contributed more? It's just
CP3 would never have 42 points and 2 assists. That's the point that I'm making. He would it would always be high scoring along with high assists. What do you mean?
It will not always be high points and high assists. It will not.
Okay, you have 80% of the time it would be if he's having a crazy. I want to see CP3's career high right now, and I want to see the assist of that same game. Mars, can you please tell me? Can you
and it
please
might be,
tell me?
Shaq, listen, and it might be high point, high scoring. That goes to my point, how easy it is to get assists in this era. That's why it's literally so easy.
I don't think it's as easy as you're making it out. I don't think that you make it as easy as you're making it out to be. I don't. I just feel like that's one of those things that we run with.
Shaq, you
I
literally
do.
have about 5 to 6 to 7 players that not because they
I agree, it's much easier, but like you're going crazy. That
Shaq, it's
nah,
much,
bro.
much,
Nah. It's not a 3-point assist lead that much easier. No, because you're not factoring in as much. You're not factoring that it's also much easier to.
Shaq, it might be a 6-point assist lead. Why do you think when we talk on the show or universally when we say if a person have, we said this, we said the other day, if a person have 6 assists or 7 assists in Europe, how much do we equate that to in the NBA?
You asking
Are
me?
you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to Euro. Like if you have 6 or 7 assists in the Euro League, how much would you equate that to the NBA game?
That's tough to say, but you definitely have more, significantly more.
Shaq, you know that if you have 7 dimes in the EuroLeague game, you're looking at that at 11, 12 in NBA.
Yes.
I watch my point guard on my current team right now almost average 7 assists, and there's nights where he has 11, 12, 13. So, like, I'm not buying that. I'm sorry, I'm not.
On those nights when he have 11, 12, 13 in the NBA, he'll have 18. That's what I'm saying.
Why does this even matter, honestly?
I don't.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
How does this even matter? Like, y'all arguing a point that really doesn't matter.
No, it matters because the times of Europe and how they count assists is the same as the NBA back in the days. That's why it matters. It's much easier for Chris Paul to get dimes now.
How does that make Jason Kidd a better passer or playmaker? How does that make him a better passer playmaker? How?
If you ask why it matters, that means you didn't hear Shaq's question to why we got into the.
No, I'm just asking you. I'm just asking you. How does that make him a better passer playmaker?
I'm Dub again. I'm not answering that question. Listen, to say that's why Jason Kidd is a better passer, because I don't think assist means he's a better playmaker, or I never said that.
Okay,
so you're asking the wrong. You should ask Shaq that question. No, he said, "How does Jason Kidd play
I asked
better?"
you first.
We don't have to talk about that.
I think J Kidd is an amazing.
Passer.
I think it's very close.
No,
that was my point. I was trying.
No, not at all. It's something that we don't have to talk about. You're talking about something that really doesn't help us in identifying who's the better player. So why would
maybe you should have said that to Shaq when he asked the question.
No, I mean Della's highlighting just the different eras, you know what I mean, and how like if you give CP3 the credit for whatever, and you are automatically discrediting Jason Kidd for it, then Della's just making the argument. It's like, look, man, if you swap the 2 eras or whatever.
So why don't you but you're not doing it clearly across the board, because you sit here and act like passing it down to the big men like it wasn't mad assists off of that.
I don't think
nobody's.
Time out though, Jack. Let's not act like Chris Paul hasn't had that same luxury too. Hey,
that's why I said cancel both of them out.
No. I think the point is this: you can in today's era, you can pass it down in the post and still get those assists. You know what I mean? The same way you could in the '90s. But the point that Della's making is, if you are, in the '90s, and you pass it like you skip it or whatever, and then the wing does whatever, 1-2 dribble, pull up, that wasn't considered an assist as it is now. So you just have more opportunity to rack up assists these days than you did back in the day. And so that's all Dell is saying.
I agree, but it was still even close when CP3 came into the league. CP3 was still almost averaging 8 assists as a rookie, even when the rules wasn't even like how they are now. So but that doesn't even matter. The assists, let's just say it's a wash. It gets dangerous for J Kidd everywhere else. That's all that I'm saying.
All right. Before we move further along into this conversation, I need you guys to like the videos. I haven't got on y'all about that in a while. We got to get these likes up. It's no way that we're at the number that we're at, and it's this many people watching the video.
Ron, what's the number that we're at?
Like it. Right now, we're at 271, and that's absolutely nasty at the 2-hour mark right now. Let's get the likes up. Also, I have a poll.
Shout out Spotify and Apple.
I have a poll in the chat. Who's better at it, Chris Paul and J Kidd? Right now, Chris Paul is leading 60-40. I'll leave that up.
Like J Kidd, you had some shining moments. Like you were a hell of a basketball player. But no, everything that CP3 has done for the game, and you guys write it off. And now I see what Dub is talking about. Like you can't just say every player can do what CP3 has done with his career, injuries or not. Because you bring up J Kid going to back-to-back finals and while they were pussyfooting in the East, that's cool. But then if you look at CP3's resume, he also has some crazy series where he could have potentially won. And he just didn't get it done. But as a totality, come on now.
Well, like, but what's your defining criteria though that pushes CP3 over?
Bro, he did more. For regardless of what you say, he averaged more points, rebounds, and assists.
He averaged more rebounds than J Kid?
Regardless of what you, if not, it was close. I actually don't know the numbers, but points and assists, he was just a better basketball player. And that's no takeaway from J Kid because you make it seem like I'm saying J Kid is not a good basketball player. They both are super elite at what they do. But you can't tell me that J Kid.
Who are you guys taking? You
can't tell me that J Kid shooting 40 from 3, better handles, in the same size is taking that Phoenix Sun team to the finals. But I can say emphatically that CP3 is going back and he's taking all of those Nets teams to the finals. And they may win based off of him being a better scorer. How do you win basketball games?
So those Nets teams,
that's just my opinion.
Don't even get into this nonsense. Shaq, you better cut it out. They may win.
I'm sorry. Okay. That's just my opinion.
Right. I know you try to slide that in there to make your argument a little more compelling, but come on, bro. They're not beating those Lakers, and they're definitely not beating those Spurs that next year.
But J Kid did.
He didn't beat him.
He lost the final.
He didn't beat him. Chris Paul doesn't do that either.
But I said he might.
It's not a prayer.
What teams did J Kid beat in the East to go to the finals the 2 years? Because Shaq said pussyfoot. I felt like he beat one of them Pistons teams that was really good.
The Pacers, for sure.
He beat in 03. He beat the Pistons, Boston, and Milwaukee.
CP3 might sneak one of those.
Were the Knicks? The Knicks were decent, weren't they?
He never played the Knicks in the playoffs. The first year he played Indiana, Charlotte, and Boston, and yeah. So
Shaq, I'm looking at records.
Elder told me stop capping, so I'm gonna stop capping.
Yeah, like come on.
But you never know.
Is that Paul Pierce, Antoine Walker?
It should.
Dale, you're done. You're done. It was They were pussyfooting. I'm telling you.
Okay.
Mars and Euro. I need you guys to tell me who you're taking.
Going against the Warriors. Who's the tough?
I'm taking Chris Paul. It's not crazy far off for me. But I'm taking
it's not crazy far. It's like
definitely
55,
not crazy
45.
far for me. I'm taking Kid though because I feel like my preference and style of play, I can do more with J Kid than I could with Chris Paul.
I do prefer Kid's game to Chris Paul.
All right, we've got everybody's take.
I think
transition.
I prefer his transition. I prefer his game in transition, and I think he's
so CP3 cannot. So CP.
I didn't say
that.
I didn't say that.
Shaq, you just said not because you picked Paul.
I'm sorry. Okay. And I think that CP3 could have snuck a championship on those Nets teams. Since we're just saying whatever up here about transition.
I think they go as far as Eastern Conference Finals.
Wait, so CP3 is not good in transition?
He is.
Who said that?
Who said that?
No, that was you guys' go-to for why
I said prefer his style of play better, and then you asked me what specifically, and I said transition number one. Because I'm looking at Jason Kidd with Vince and RJ running on the sides, so I just like that. I like what that looks like.
So you didn't like what it looked like with DeAndre Jordan and Blake Griffin on the side?
You asking me? I told you my preference. I'm not a big. I'm a wing. So of course I'm lean more towards that. And all the things that you can do with the abilities of those types of wings. You know what I mean? Fast, tall, strong, can jump high and shit like that. I just like everything that comes with it, offensively, defensively, whatever. I don't want to necessarily run a whole bunch of half-court sets, screen, back screen, Iverson cut, all that other dumb shit just to get an alley-oop or whatever. I don't like playing.
Wait, Shaq, you said something I still need to answer. Why is CP career just automatically better? The numbers are just way better? I don't even know.
Because it's like when you take a team to the finals and you didn't win, CP3 took a team to the final, he didn't win. When you both have playoff runs.
It's really 3-1. We'll talk about them as number one.
It's still a wash. It's still a wash because it's still a wash. I can't be injured and still clear you in every statistical category. I mean, I can. I mean, I don't want to get on the progression of their careers.
No, can you tell me their career stats? You could tell me their career stats. I want to.
12,
I'd like
6
to know.
and 9, 18, 4 and 9.5.
Oh, so wait, hold on. CP career average in dimes is 9.5,
and Kid is 8.7.
Yes, Dale. That's the same to me as well, considering the errors.
So considering the fucking errors,
I don't believe that you. I want to see the YouTube video that properly breaks that down. Anybody who can send that link.
Hold on. Wait.
Wait, Dale. I want to know the exact thing that counted towards an assist, and I want to know why it was so different. I just want to see that because I think we're just taking that and blowing it crazy out of proportion.
Okay, so thank you for giving me my first ever Player's Choice homework. And after
I want to see it.
Get off the show,
I want to see it explained.
Not explain. I will just send you, and then you could. I don't want to explain it because maybe.
Or we can just look at a J Kid highlight tape, and we can see how he was getting his
highlights
versus CP3.
I would love.
No, I'm just saying. You guys are doubling down.
No. Both highlights are
Tripling down.
CP and Jason Kidd highlights are going to have quick assists. So the you have to find the benefit of just jabbing or just watching the game, which you do know. So this is why this back and forth is kind of crazy because the dimes is watered down. You know. I feel like
both ways. This should not be getting argued the way that it's being argued right now for both sides.
CP average what board? 6?
4.5. Jason Kidd was 6.5.
Jason Kidd was 6. So we don't really talk about rebounds.
Yeah, we're not talking.
Right. We're not doing that. We could watch that.
But I mean, that was a plus though for J Kidd.
18
and 12.
CP,
okay, so of CP the better.
That's
score.
where it gets spooky, really spooky.
No, but the fact that you were I really thought, no BS, based on you guys on the playmaking dimes and CP, I really thought CP was averaging 11 assists for his career, or 11.2-ish, based on everything you're saying. But 9.5 in this era. Well, CP was drafted in No, not bad, because he also was drafted in 05, so he got a little bit of that slow.
And he averaged nearly 8 in 05.
Right.
And then
so
you'll sit there and say that kid averaged 10, and then I'll give you that same look like, so he wasn't that far off.
No,
as a rookie, he averaged.
That's much.
The game was already shifted.
That's much different if they play in 03 and Kid averaged 10 in CP, but it's different because CP's a rookie. Rookie CP wasn't better than Jason Kidd.
So when did they change the rule officially? What year?
I don't know, but it's seen the rule has changed that assist is very, 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 very easy to get. We know this.
All right, y'all, we got to move on. I'm going to get into these super chats, and then we're going to get into Dale's doc.
Up until 2014, 2015, it was 8, 9, 11 and a half, 11, 10, almost 11, 10, 9, 10, 10, 10, 10. And towards the back end of CP3's career, which he had 10.8, but the year before it was 9, then it was 6.7, then it was 8.2, then it was 8, then it was 9. So you can say the second half of his career, he's averaged the least assist. So that's why I'm like, when exactly was the rule change?
You could definitely say that. But I don't know, Jason.
Yeah, we have to know when the rule change was. That's all I want to know, and I wanted a clear definition.
Oh, you know what? This is how you probably could find out. Go look at the totality of triple doubles in the NBA. Of course, Russ did it because he averaged one, and that's going to boost it up a little bit. But also, go from when Lance was leading the league in triple-double to 9 to the next person. Everybody averaged 8, or Braun is more versatile player, so that it could attest to that as well. But it's a very different league when we can name 5 players, maybe 6 point guards or so, and say they could average a triple-double.
Isn't that more from rebounds than assists? Isn't that the change? I don't know. I'm just asking because.
Wait.
I don't know where Elder's going. CP3 was the better 3-point shooter.
Oh, where is he going? We already said CP3 is a better scorer.
I don't know. Elder's getting kind of.
3-point shooting scoring. We said he's a.
With CP3, that is scoring for CP3.
Yeah, but people say because Kid has more career threes that he's a better.
No,
shooting.
Okay.
His latter years he was just a catch and shoot with Mavs, but I don't know why he brought up that stats. No one's arguing there, scoring, whatever. But to you saying rebounds, I feel you miss shot. That's the. I think Chris Paul's a good rebound for a guard. You know what I'm saying, Mars? That's like.
No, I'm just saying maybe that's where the increase in triple doubles came from, more so than people getting more assists. Because more guards are getting more rebounds, like Luka, Russ, like those guys.
But those are good rebounding guards, though. That's the thing. Like Jason Kidd was a good rebounding guard. In this era, I feel Kidd would be on the premises of those type of players that they could average a triple double.
I agree with that.
I just find it weird.
No, because it's more shots, it's more misses, it's more rebounds.
I just find it
weird
for the
guard that wants to rebound.
I just find it weird that Kidd can be in MVP contention off of averaging in 01 17 and 9.8, but Chris Paul in 07 averages 17 and 9. But then it's just this drastic
he was an MVP
difference.
Contention though. In 07 08, he was MVP contention. They both were. With the New Orleans, he lost to Kobe, he was second. I thought he should have won. I thought he was the MVP in 08. I always say it.
I'm seeing all this J Kidd MVP talk.
No,
I'm not mad at who you take, but if we're gonna talk about two elite,
Kobe. They jerked him because
Jason Kidd every single time.
If we're arguing about elite players, there's always going to be nitpicking. It seemed like one of us hate the other. When I'm super high on J Kidd and would pick him against the field, but we're talking about.
It's not a knock on Jason Kidd. At the end of the day, what separates CP3 from Jason Kidd is the fact that CP3 is a better scorer than Jason Kidd. Everything else they do almost at the same exact level. They both have a tremendous impact on the team, but CP3 is the better scorer, which is why you have to pick him over Jason Kidd. I don't know why this needs to be a crazy debate and why Dell's over panties in a bunch. But
we're gonna cut this right
now.
Why
what?
Why your panties are in a bunch.
This is done. You've
been saying a lot of these like innuendo jokes today. these little that if I was in front of you, I probably would have beat you up.
No.
Okay.
I love you, Dell.
I'm not even laughing though. I'm dead serious.
Chris Paul and J Kidd. Who would have knew that this would be the end of you guys' brotherhood?
No, Ron, hell no.
Hey.
What's up, Dell? Dell, you having a bad one? Why you about to beat up your little brother?
Sometimes you have to do that.
Dub said, no. I love you, Dell.
All right, y'all. We got a super chat from Straightway, Georgia, Elder Rufus. He says, sorry, Shaq, in super cat mode on this Kidd and CP3 debate. Wow, shaking my head.
I told Elder I wanted him up here this show, but he's moving. Maybe next episode we can get back into it.
I hate this phone, bro.
Mad Max with the super chat. He said J Kidd would take the Suns team to the finals. CP3 was trash versus the Lakers, was good versus Denver. Book had the Suns up 2-0 versus the Clips without CP3. Kidd would have gotten them there. My partner Bobby E with the super chat. He said, no way y'all really got CP3 over J Kidd. Bob, I agree with you. I don't get it either. Getting back into super chats from earlier in the show, my man Janai Beckford, he said Magic won in 88 with washed Kareem. Well, how do you say it? Johnny? Johnny? How would you pronounce it? Magic in 88 with washed Kareem and went to the finals with no Kareem in 91. Jimmy Two Shoes with the super chat. He said Trey Young is a better shooter than Steph Curry.
Is he?
No.
Trey Young is a better shooter than Steph Curry. Is that what he said?
Mm-hmm.
He was. If you was watching the comments, he was arguing for a majority of the time that Steph Curry would beat CP or that Trey Young would beat Steph Curry's record all time.
Oh.
And so I think he just kind of put that in there to, make his point. But maybe he does believe that Trey's a better shooter than Steph.
Yo,
Mad Max.
My bad.
with the super chat. He said it's more about conditioning today than athletics. He was talking about, evolution. This is when we were in that argument.
I used
Mad
to have a
Max-
fro like Mad Max.
He also says Shaq and Dub right. Dr. J was a better athlete than most of the guys today. Humans are humans. Dr. J took off from the free throw line. Only Levine and Peak Surge doing that. Peak Surge?
No.
Serge Ibaka is crazy.
No way.
Okay. All right. Okay. Hey, y'all see, I had to stop.
You
while
guys
I
are
was reading it,
casuals.
like-
There's a video on YouTube of Serge Ibaka jumping from the free throw
Yeah,
line.
that's
Yeah,
fine.
he tried.
But
Yeah, that's
only
fine.
them,
Like he tried to
like-
do it in the dunk contest and shit. But that, like, listen, man, those are the only two examples that you can give
Yeah,
me,
like,
bro. Like,
I
dog, there's
watched
high schoolers.
Zion do it.
What's that fucking quarterback for Virginia or some shit like that or whatever that just did that? Like,
In the
you
elder's
know-
point, he said Doc did that in Chuck Taylor's too.
Okay. We was talking, and here we are.
It
Back again,
doesn't-
talking about,
come on, Shaq,
we're
Shaq.
talking about
No,
outliers.
it
and we're
doesn't
talking
matter
about
like
the
that. It really
field, though.
don't
If he had
matter
on
like
them,
that.
if he had on them PGs, he trying to say he would have jumped over the shot clock. that's what he's trying to let y'all know.
Y'all crazy, man. Next super chat.
Next super chat, football breakdown said Embiid is more of a freak than KD. Stanley Warren with a super chat. He said, most of you don't count rings. So why would you talk about playoff performances if winning doesn't matter? Why not only count the regular season?
Who don't count rings?
I think we should count regular season success and playoff success, but you don't necessarily have to win a championship. But how were you playing with guys locked in and keyed in on you in the playoffs? Because we know that the playoffs and the regular season are much different from each other.
I agree. That's why I appreciated that CP3 Jason
Chris
Kidd
Paul.
conversation.
Chris
because obviously Jason Kidd
Bro,
won
the
the ring,
dude showed
and
out
CP3
almost damn
hasn't,
near every
and that never
postseason,
was
bro.
brought
So
up.
what are
So
you
I
talking
appreciate
about?
Win.
Every
I mean-
postseason, he showed out.
I mean, if you want to hear the playoff stats, I got them right here.
At
Go
the
ahead.
end of the playoffs, when everything ended, where we just like, woo.
It's
This team won a
20.4.
championship.
Hold on. It's
But goddamn, Chris
20.4.
Paul was killing.
Ron, it's 20.4 for Chris Paul,
The
12.9
Spurs.
for J Kidd. It's 6.7 for J Kidd, Chris Paul 4.9 for rebounds. So it's
Right
a
now,
1.8
right now, I don't
differentiator.
want to compare Chris Paul
Assists,
and J Kidd.
they
I
both
don't
were
want to
around
compare Chris
8.
Paul and J Kidd. I want to just talk about Chris Paul in the playoffs. It's like
Okay.
two players, and it's ironically they play.
No. Let's do it.
It's
Let's
Chris
do it.
Paul and it's James Harden. I look at these guys like
Perfect. Let's do it.
when it comes to postseason, you guys are just your careers are null and void.
Cool.
You're regular season magicians.
Chris Paul.
Postseason, what's his name? David Blaines. That's what you
Okay,
guys are.
Allen
They
Iverson
both
too
played
then, yeah?
D, man. They both played
Man,
D.
look.
Your
Check
man,
this
Allen
out.
Iverson too then,
Check
yeah?
this out. Allen Iverson led a team by himself
Jesus
to the
Christ.
finals
All right.
and got a game by himself. By himself, you put
This
and you put James,
infatuation with
you
one
put James
player
Harden,
is
you put
crazy.
James Harden or Chris Paul on
CP3
those
would have
teams,
won that
and then-
series.
Oh my! All right, come on, let's just.
Ron,
here.
do you want the playoff numbers? You want the playoff
No,
numbers?
I don't want playoff numbers. I want.
Why?
Know what,
You just
I wanna know
asking-
what they
you-
did. No, I
do
don't
you mean
want
what
his
they
numbers.
did?
I don't want his numbers. I want to know what.
No,
he did.
Ron. I
That was so
got one for
significant.
you because I feel like
That
this
was
is
so
for
significant.
this is a
And yes, Euro, we can say that.
Ron.
Same thing for Allen Iverson.
Ron, this is a much more fair assessment that you can do. We can do best playoffs in each of their years. So points per game
I
is
wanna know what did they
25.3.
win?
Hold on, wait. Jibber jabber mouth. It's
When did they
25.3.
win?
Jibber jabber. Shut it. It's 25.3 for Chris Paul, 20.1 for J Kidd. Rebounds, 10.9 for J Kidd, Chris Paul 7.4.
Whiskey.
Assists,
India,
both
November.
assists per game, 13.3 for J Kidd,
Whiskey,
11.5.
India, November. When did they win?
Fire.
WIN, Whiskey, India, November.
So if you didn't win, what you did in postseason doesn't mean anything. That's what you're
Jack
saying.
shit.
So Allen Iverson, fuck Allen Iverson.
I don't want to say
Fuck Russell
fuck
West-
AI. I don't want to say
Screw
fuck Westbrook either.
screw Allen Iverson, screw Russell Westbrook and what they did in postseason. Because at the end, screw Luka Doncic and what he's done in the past postseason. Because at the end of the day, he didn't get anything done. So screw it. It means nothing. Doesn't
No.
matter on how much they elevated their games. It doesn't matter how well they played in the postseason. It doesn't matter about any of that. They didn't win. It just doesn't matter.
I got a
They're
partner
losers.
named Null and I got a partner named Void. When they
Cool.
team up together, That's what you get with Chris Paul.
No void.
Russell Westbrook too.
Russell Westbrook too.
Cool.
Next.
Shane the Artist with an empty super chat, but shout out
Fire.
Shane the Artist. All right, y'all. I have something that we're gonna get
Are we
into.
gonna talk about how Dub packed up Dale and ultimately won that battle?
I got him mad. I didn't mean to. I think today's just been a bad day. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm having a bad day too.
Yo,
Already,
listen,
man?
panties in
It's
a
early.
bunch is crazy.
Oh yeah, I got a phone call that I had to curse somebody out. So not in the greatest of moods right now, but it is what it is.
JD.
I wish it was. I'd rather it been him.
What do you want to say to JD?
I love JD. It's all fun and games. I'll just say stop. If he's here right now, just stop riding on everybody else, but me. It's kind of weird.
Do we send out the StreamYard link so people can come up here? Is it that part of the show?
Let's do it.
Talk about the internship program.
We have an internship program to where you guys can come and sign up and help Players Choice excel, because I promise you, we are about to take off like a rocket you've never seen before, and these are facts, in the next couple of weeks. So if you do anything or you want to be of help, you can fill it out. Ron, do you have the link?
Yeah, it's pinned in the chat.
Yeah, so the link is pinned in the chat, and you can just go look and you can sign up and we'll reach out to you. We're looking for video editors, Photoshop editors, social media guys that are good at social media stuff. Everything, all the above. So you just go fill that out, and Ron will be contacting you for a one-on-one Zoom call.
Brace yourself, because I'm gonna line you up the same way I be lining these guys up. Also, too, does it make sense how we only have 311 likes? I'm just mind boggled right now. I don't get it. My mind is blown away. But hey,
Can we get a host poll on who's better, Ron or JD?
nope.
JD.
Yeah, Ron, because you know you're gonna lose, and none of these stats would have mattered.
And that's the biggest empty stats I ever seen. Yo, check it out. Our next topic from none other than Delroy James himself. He wanted to talk about the top 10 players that Undisputed chose. You can see on the screen right now who's all in there. Top 10 players under 25 to build around. It starts with Luka, then it goes to Jason Tatum, Ja Morant, Evan Mobley, Anthony Edwards, Zion Williamson, Scotty Barnes, LaMelo Ball. Trey Young and Darius Garland are tied for 9th, which is basically 9th and 10th for both of them. I want to know from everybody, where did they get this list wrong?
Trey Young.
That list is pretty solid.
It's terrible.
Trey Young being
I
all
like
the
this
way.
list too. I don't know about Zion. I think I would swap him with Scotty just based off of the injury, even though that's nasty as hell.
I'm not. You can leave Zion off, and I still like the list. Anthony Edwards should probably be over Evan Mobley, though.
I disagree.
What?
Even though I really, really like Ant Edwards.
You disagree?
I like where Darius is at. I'm like, we're not overhyping him.
To me, it's like
That's
this,
good
man.
for
Like,
him.
you know what I mean? Like, I can go with this. Like, this is pretty accurate to me. But like, if I was to make any changes, it'll just be, one guy moving up one position. But it's not like egregious to where it's like, oh, LaMelo Ball needs to be at 3 and Ja Morant needs to be at 1 or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's not guys skipping more than one
The-
slot.
the
So
Trey
Trey
Young
belongs at 9?
Trey Young is moving up to number 3. For me.
The Trey Young is wild. He has to be top 4 for sure. That's wild. I didn't
Euro,
see
you're
that
not
till
moving.
just
Wait,
now.
Euro,
It's
Euro,
crazy.
Euro.
I didn't see
You're
that
not
till now.
moving.
My bad.
Euro, you're not moving Trey Young at all. What?
Yeah, because Bradley Beal's better. Remember?
I'll move him. I'll move him above LaMelo. Like I said, like I think this list is pretty solid.
What? Why does Trey Young belong to be at the 9th spot under Evan Mobley, Edwards, Zion?
Why does it? Where do
and
you
LaMelo?
think he belongs?
In front of Ja Morant.
So Trey Young is 3.
Yes,
Why?
because he's better than everybody else besides JT and Luka Doncic.
Okay, just because he's better doesn't mean he's better to build around.
What makes him worse to build around than
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards?
I'm asking Dub why, you know what I mean? Like, I'm asking Dub. The list is what the list is. I agree with the list. And so, like, he has to make the point why he should be at number 3.
Well, the way I judge everything is who I'm building around. Of I think it's easier to build around a guy who is a great scorer in the league, a great playmaker in the league as well. I think it's easier to find pieces to complement that, other than guys who's not even, for most of these guys, not even the first option of their team. I mean, Scotty Barnes, Evan Mobley, LaMelo could be a first option, but there's a lot of guys on that team. So
Trey is nice. His jump shot just janksy. Like,
it's got to be Trey Young,
yeah.
bro. I mean, I don't know how he's not. I don't know even why. Why is that he doesn't belong at the 3? Why is he so hard to build around? Euro.
I feel homeless.
To me, Trey Young, I mean, I just don't like. I mean, I said this before, man. Like, I think he's overhyped. I don't think he's overrated. You know what I'm saying? And so when I look at this rating right now, like, you know what I mean? To me, that's accurate in terms of, like, building around. I think, you know, I look at his size, you know what I mean? That bothers me. His defense bothers me. And so, like, there's a lot of things that, you know, play into the success of a basketball team. And when you build around a guy or whatever and, you know, he's lacking in those departments, I think you'll have a lot harder time, number one, finding success, and number 2, finding guys to supplement, you know, those shortcomings. And then in order to get success, I think it'll be a lot harder to cough up the money for Trey Young and the, you know, supplementary pieces in order to have a successful team. I just don't think you will have that much difficulty with other players as you do with Trey.
So one of your main things is money.
Building around a team. Build, like, what do you think building a team means?
I mean, the money is there.
Get his ass beat.
No.
Huh? What building a team? First, before we start talking about the players, like, I guess we have to define what building a team means, Dub.
But no, you're building under 25. So of course I'm going with the assumption in the next 5 to 10 years. So if money's their main issue, I mean, I don't understand how that's the main issue, because
it is typically the main issue.
You're gonna have to pay those guys eventually in the next 5 to 10 years. So I don't really see why that's a point. They're not gonna be on rookie contracts for the next 5 to 10 years.
Right. And so if you give up everything just to have Trey or whatever, like, the money that he commands is more than everybody else's on there, right?
Right now, but that doesn't mean it's going to change. That doesn't mean that's not going to change. That doesn't mean that those guys.
But we are talking about right now.
When I'm talking about building a team starting from 25, I'm talking for the next 5 to 10 years. So when
I'm not picking Trey Young
because of money.
Can we agree?
Money is the only thing that you heard. What else did I say?
What is the main thing
What else did I say, Dub?
What is the main thing that I heard, bro? I'm so serious, son. I am so serious.
What? That's the only thing you heard?
Yeah, that's the only thing I heard.
Okay, well, fuck it then. We moving on, bro.
Yo, son.
This is crazy,
man. Sassy today.
Bro, I mean, honestly, because I heard all your points, and honestly, none of
No, you didn't.
Didn't move me. I'm not gonna keep it in my brain if it's not moving me.
That's fine. That's you then.
None of it moved me though. I don't think any of your points was valid in this argument at all.
How often do we see, and even like we could talk about just this season, right? How many teams are actually gridlocked because of the money situation? They can't build based off of the, you know, talent that they have or don't have because of some money issues.
It's not a lot. It's not a lot of teams. You got the Utah Jazz, the Lakers. Who else?
Can we talk about how Luka Doncic is head and shoulders over the rest of this list, and it's not even close?
Who else besides the Utah Jazz and the Lakers?
Victor Wembanyama should be number 2.
The Warriors paying everybody. Everyone's getting paid.
He's affordable.
There's no other team. Can you name me who else? Who else?
I would like to know the other team.
We're off that.
What's the other teams? Wait, what's the other teams? What's the other teams?
Doug, there's no other teams that have like money issues, and I'm talking about, like, for example, like the Lakers and that Russ contract that they got and all that shit.
I got two.
Like, you don't think
the Lakers and the Jazz? Who
okay,
else?
but what I'm saying, like, how many more examples do you need? That, like, this happens like from season to season, every year. There's a money issue.
There's two teams in the league right now. That's 2 exceptions out of everybody in the league.
Warriors
That's not an exception. That's the norm. That's the market. That's just what happens all the time.
With who?
It just happened. What are you talking about, Dub? What are you talking about, man?
It doesn't happen a lot. You're over exaggerating it. Is my point. You're over exaggerating how much a team could be gridlocked.
No,
by the
I'm
money.
basing it up. No, I'm basing it off of the fact that you agreed to this. I asked you if Trey Young commands the most money out of all of those guys out there.
Right now, yes.
Jason Tatum is in that list too, right? Whatever. You know what I'm saying?
He's top 3, top 4 for sure. That's for right now.
And so I'm saying what he gives in return for that money, right, poses more difficulty in building a team than anybody else.
No, because what he brings to the table is worth that money.
What does he bring to the table? And that's why I asked you.
He's
You're skirting around the fucking answer.
He's one of the best scorers and playmakers in the league. What more do you want? And the Hawks ain't nothing without him.
And that's the only thing. And that's the only thing that wins a championship is scoring.
No, of course. But look, why does Stephen Curry get the money he gets? Why does he get the money that he gets? Why does Luka Doncic get the money that he gets? Why does Jokic get the money?
They have the pieces. But what I'm saying, okay, let's just stop with Steph Curry, man. You listen to a whole bunch of players, man. We talking about Steph Curry. Look at all the pieces around him, right? They perfectly fit his style of play, or let's just say the system is perfect for everybody else that's on that team. Is it not? You know I'm a chemistry guy. You know I'm the person that's like, you know what? We have to have perfect puzzle pieces in order to have the like a decent, clear, big picture, and you know what I mean? That translates to success. I don't see that happening with Trey Young. And one of the reasons is his defense, his size was another reason. And then I said money, and you keep getting stuck on the fucking money.
I think that for the money that he's getting paid 37 and 40 mil next year is definitely worth that money, especially if Rudy Gobert's getting paid $41 million. And then the talent that he brings to the team, I understand that you have question marks on his defense.
And so Rudy Gobert is an exception, and you just got on my head talking about, you listen to exceptions or whatever. And Rudy Gobert's the exception. Why are you bringing him up?
A lot of guys.
Why does the shit that you try to force me to adhere to doesn't apply to you?
He's getting paid. He's getting paid along the likes of a James Harden, a Kyrie Irving, and right now we can sit here and say he's in that tier, if not better than those guys. So the money is deservingly so.
Ron, can you put the list back up? We can go through this one by one.
The money is deservingly so due to the talent he is as a player right now, correct?
That's fine. What I'm saying is, like, do you think a team, like which team will he have to go to in order for the money to be the way that it is, and for the team to be able to, you know what I mean, bench press whatever else they need to, like, you know, salary they need to dish out for other players to be on a team in order for Trey Young and those players to be successful?
I think honestly, bro, I think he could be on just about any team, honestly, bro.
Any team.
I mean, when I look
Orlando
at this,
Magic.
When I look at this, yeah. When I look at
Orlando Magic, Trey Young, get him over there, and we get a couple of guys or whatever, and they winning.
If we put all these guys on the Orlando Magic right now, who do you think is going to have the most impact? Exclude Jason Tatum, Luka Doncic, and John Morant. Who's going to have the most impact?
Why? Why exclude them?
All right, then. Well, Trey Young's 3 for me. So if you want to say Luka and JT, pick Luka and JT. That's cool. Trey Young's 3. Who else is going to impact? Who else is going to impact the Orlando Magic?
Okay. You ready? You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if Luka's 1 and Jason Tatum's 2, then I'll have Ja at 3. Then I have Evan Mobley at 4. Then I have Anthony Edwards at 5. Let me think. I have Zion Williamson at 6.
That's where we disagree.
I have Scotty Barnes at 7.
This is nasty. I wasn't even going to jump in this conversation, but this is nasty as shit, bro. You got a guy that's averaging 29 and 9. I'm tired of you guys disrespecting Trey. I just can't let this go on no more longer. Do you understand the last person to average 29 and 9 other than, I think, James Harden, LeBron James?
Ron, talk about his game on the court. Don't talk about his stats. Talk about his game on the court, bro.
I don't even care, bro. What has he won?
Guys up here other than Luka and
why has anybody else won?
Other than Luka and Jason Tatum, and Jason Tatum's older than him, has led their team to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Say again.
Other than Luka and JT, who else has went to the Eastern Conference Finals?
So if everybody's on the same playing field, why you getting so bent out of shape when I say I'm not rocking with Trey? You are rocking with Trey. I can be just as upset about that.
No, you can. It can still be nasty, but you can. I'm just saying,
nasty for it too.
I'm not, bro. Trey is him.
Then why is he 9th on that list then?
Wait,
Or he
this
could
is
actually
nasty.
be 10th.
Because he had a
This is
bad
nasty.
playoff series. It's because he had a bad playoff series.
It's made by fantasy basketball players and dudes that have another screen open on their
It's on
computer doing
Skip
something else.
Bayless's
And I ain't even gonna
show.
get into that. A bunch of dudes that ain't never dribbled a basketball before. Come on, we not finna do this.
Ron,
Trey
it don't
is
matter
dead.
if they dribble the. It
Trey
don't matter
is
if they
dead.
dribble the basketball or not. They can look at the game and assess it just like you do.
And they can look at the game and assess it whether they dribbled and still be a bozo. Come on, bro. Trey is clearly
It goes
clearly.
both ways.
And I never said anything about Trey not being him. We talking about players to build around.
In the next 5
As
to
a
10
matter of
years.
fact, one of my points was that Trey is him because the money that he commands, that can be an issue.
But
If you have a
everybody up
guy,
here is gonna
if you
command
have,
that
if
same
you have
type
a
of
guy
money.
that takes all of this coin from a franchise, that's going to limit their ability to get pieces around them that he
Luka
needs,
Doncic
particularly
spent a lot of money.
particularly the
spent a lot of
pieces
money.
that
Jake,
The only
revolve
guys who
around
aren't getting
defense.
paid like that are the ones still on their rookie contracts.
Huh?
You said what?
The only ones who aren't getting paid are like Mobley, Scotty Barnes.
And that's the point I'm trying to make. Everybody
Right,
up
they're
here is
on
going
their
to
rookie
command that
deals.
same money.
But we're talking about it right now, and so if they are on their rookie contracts, you don't have to pay them like that. That's an advantage. I don't
that's only
understand
for-
what's so
that's
hard to
only
That's
for
understand
only
about
if you
this.
think. That's only if you
That's
think
only
you're
for a
gonna win
few
in the next
years.
2 seasons.
Yes.
Is Trey going to win in the next 2 seasons?
I don't
It's-
think so, but that's
I
why
don't
the
think
money
so
thing
either.
does-
And
That's why the
so
money
we're
thing doesn't
we're
bother
back
me.
at square one.
But that's why the money, because it said to build around. I'm looking long term. I'm looking beyond their rookie contracts. Like, Scotty Barnes being on like 9 million now is cool, but in 3 years I'm gonna have to pay him a max. He's gonna be on the similar money to Trey Young. Everyone's gonna be in the same boat. I'm taking.
And then we
Trae Young
reassess.
long term.
And then we reassess.
Why
But
can't
I
we
think,
what's
just
the issue?
include
I
it?
think
Why
we
can't
can
we
all
just
understand
include it?
now that those guys are going to be on max contracts. If you say Scotty Barnes is going to be on 9 million for the rest of his career, then okay, I build around Scotty Barnes.
But nobody's even talking about that. We talk. The graphic just says, bro, these are the players who you're building around.
Yeah,
And I just introduced the money issue because, like you pointed out, there is a difference. Trey, you know what I mean? It's different money than everybody
it's
else.
Not, so they're all of these guys are getting max contracts. If we're talking about if we strip the teams away and all put them on 10 different teams, they're all going to command the same amount of money because it's the reason they're all on this list. So now, who is it easier to build around with them all on max contracts?
Luka.
Thank you,
I'll go
KG said.
Luka. I'll give you.
He said,
Luka.
y'all doing if, and I'm doing now.
No,
Luka
we're
is so
doing what's
much
gonna
better.
happen, bro.
That's the if. What's going to happen? You don't know that?
You're
okay.
completely.
Well, if you're
completely
if
forgetting
you're
the fact
foreshadowing that
eventually we're
Scotty
gonna have
Barnes
to
and
pay
Evan
these
Mobley
guys.
aren't going to command max contracts, then that's
Building
fine,
around
but, like,
25 and unders for the next 5 to 10 years, bro. You're completely negating the fact that we have to take into consideration that eventually we have to pay all of these guys. So what are we doing? Like Shaq said one episode. What?
I'm sure he said what in more than one episode.
Luka is so much better than all of these guys. It's ridiculous.
I agree with that.
I agree.
It's not even close. It's
Shaq,
tier
where would you have-
1.
Where
and
would you
then
have
tier 3.
Trey?
I mean, Trey's
I
for
wanna know-
sure
I wanna
getting
know everybody's
violated
top
right here. Trey has to be number 4. He's done more than all the rest of these guys, and he will do more throughout his career, and it's not even going to be close. None of them are going to be in a position to win as a 1 before Trey is, in my opinion.
Nobody's even talking about who's going to be the number 1. Like, I don't understand. Like, you can build around a team and, around a player who's not
I didn't
necessarily
speak to
your
that
one.
point. Yeah, I didn't speak to that point. Like, it's a few of these guys that they'll probably be decent 2s. Trey might even have to end up being a decent 2. But he should for sure be top 4 as it stands right now.
I agree.
Can I get you guys' top 5? Everybody's top 5 under 25 that you will want to start a franchise with. Mars, let's start with you.
Luka, Trey Young, Jason Tatum, Evan Mobley, John Morant.
Can I ask you guys something? This is real shit. You guys been overseas in Europe and everything. Have you guys ever Google translated a date?
A date?
Yeah. Like you had a date with somebody that didn't speak your language and you Google translated everything?
Jesus Christ, how are we here?
That was kind of normal.
I
guys
know
did that a
exactly
lot?
why we're here. Hey, Doug, how's it going? Thumbs up, thumbs down?
Siete, baby! Yo!
I Google translated for a year.
Was it with your wife?
No, my wife speaks perfect English, even though it's her second language.
How was it? Was it
Yeah.
weird?
You got past it after, but I mean, you see, it didn't work out. It was a lot. It was just too much. I'm a complex man.
You okay?
Word. See, I'll keep you posted.
All right, Dub. Can I get your top 5 under 25?
Top 5 under 25 to build around: Luka, JT, Trey, Ja, and that last spot, Ant Edwards.
Euro.
You saw the list.
That list. You're not changing anything.
I told you, man. Like I like this list. It's solid. Shaq said it's solid too.
Can I throw
It's
Victor
solid.
Wembanyama on the
Trae
list and
Young's
say that I have him
crazy.
above everyone except Luka?
I mean, we're talking NBA talent though, no?
He's about to be NBA talent. Going forward, I'm taking Victor Wembanyama over everyone except Luka.
Okay. Shaq. Who are you taking 5?
Victor Wembanyama.
I'm gonna
That's
do
an amazing
Luka,
name.
and then I'm gonna hold the enter key, and then I'm gonna put Ja, JT, Trey, Mobley.
You know what's crazy to me? Is just how, and I did this last episode, how people just forget because of an injury how dominant a guy is. I'm gonna put it like this: only because Luka has done what he's done, I'm going to put him over Zion. Other than that, and y'all gonna see this year, we're gonna see just how dominant and how good of a player Zion is. I think Zion is probably the easiest guy to plug and play and just put players around him. Because Zion doesn't have to have the ball for all game. He doesn't have to be put into a certain role. You can literally just put Zion out there and he can play with anybody. He's going to rebound. He's going to play defense. He's going to dunk the ball. He's going to find a way to get putbacks. But, I mean, what do I know? Well, we'll see.
Wait, can Dale talk with?
You can hear me?
I was trying to. Yeah.
Yo, hold
I was
on.
trying to get.
I'm trying to get my mic. Hold on.
Who's this? This Dale?
I would love to hear his take on this top on list.
Jalen Green and Cade Cunningham should be on the list as well, by the way.
Yeah, Cade. Over LaMelo?
I'm taking
And
both of
Darius
them over
Garland?
LaMelo. I'm taking both of them over LaMelo. I don't know about Darius Garland.
Man, LaMelo right now don't got it, but in 2-3 years he's gonna be top 3 on this list.
I don't know. We'll see.
I highly doubt that.
Man, I'm reading Zion can't space the floor. Zion can't play no D. So how the hell did he average 27 and 7 then? Y'all just talking, bro. Like,
What's 27 and 7 got to do with him playing defense?
Hold on, in 2 blocks though. But at the same time, I'm gonna put this list up here. And y'all talking about he doesn't play no D. Who up here plays D? Do not get these playoffs misconstrued and all of a sudden say Jason Tatum's a defensive stopper because he had that one good series.
Evan
Let me hear that.
Ron,
Wait,
listen,
let me go down the list. Evan Mobley and Scotty Barnes, and the list stops there. The list literally stops after Evan Mobley and
Don't do
Scotty
that
Barnes.
to Jason Tatum. Don't do
I'm
that.
not-
Jason Tatum
not
is
bad.
play
Look,
defense.
Jason Tatum got to prove it to me.
He's not a
just the same
defensive
way,
stopper,
just the
but he's a
same way
good
y'all.
defender. He's a
Okay,
good
I
defender.
think Zion's a good defender too. He gets steals and he gets blocks.
He's average below 1 in both of them.
All right, bro. All right.
By the way, I'm
All
not
right.
going off steals and blocks. I'm just
All
saying
right.
that's what he
I'm
averages.
saying I watched Zion and somehow miraculously he always has
No,
spectacular
Ryan, I forgot
blocks
about Zion.
and steals and stuff.
No,
I'm
no,
like,
no,
bro,
no.
Zion
I wanna-
is
You can have
insane.
highlight plays and it still doesn't.
No, Zion's for
All right.
sure over Mobley,
Yeah,
and
you're
it's
the
not
same
even
one
close.
that brought up that Manu block, and that was nasty.
All
Y'all can hear me?
come on.
Zion's for sure over Mobley, and it's not even close. I'm sorry, Zion.
I don't mind Zion over Mobley.
Oh, I actually look better on my daughter's laptop. Should start
Victor
using it more.
Wembanyama's better than both.
I
of them.
love the Zion love though, but don't disrespect JT on your way to
Man,
it,
look,
Ron.
I'm not saying Zion's better than JT today, but it's so easy to plug and play around Zion that bro. He's younger too. I don't know, bro. I mean, obviously, you gotta take the injuries into consideration, but I mean, bro, I think he'll be all right.
Hey, Euro,
hear
can
me?
you explain it? Can you or Dub? Do you want to explain Euro's take to Dale so you can kind of win some points back with him?
Yes, Dub. Explain my take.
Wait, why does Dub has to win points back with me?
No, we're fine. We're fine.
Yeah, you guys texted it out already.
I didn't text Dub at
He
all.
texted you.
No, he didn't.
You
So
favorited the
you're-
messages.
Let me see.
Shaq, hush. Euro
If you
was
telling me
saying
to
that.
hush, I'm done. I'm going on mute. My bad.
Wait, what happened? What am I missing?
So there was did you see Skip Bayless and the Shannon Sharp?
It's
They
Dale's
just dropped.
doc. This
Oh
is
yeah.
Dale's doc.
Oh yeah, this is. So Trey Young was at 9, right? Euro goes, "Oh yeah, I have seen no problem with this list." And I asked him, "Yo, why is Trey Young at 9?" He goes like, "Well, Euro, you should explain it. You're gonna get mad at me. I'm not doing this.
I
I'm
want
not
to get mad
doing
at you.
this.
I want to get mad at you
I'm not doing this.
because you have selective hearing.
I do.
Because you are arguing. See, and he fucking admits it too. That shit
I'll
crazy.
admit it. I
You
do.
are arguing what you thought you heard and not what I said. So go ahead, because we're at the argument. We're basing this now off of what
the main
you.
thing I heard you separated was the defense that Trey Young poses. You don't like. You don't like how they can build around him. A lot of the reason was because of the money issue. You think that since he pays them the most, it'll be harder to build around him. And those were the two glaring ones that caught my attention. So if you want to elaborate more, you said more, but honestly, I zoned it out.
Fine.
I'm sorry. I was stuck on defense, and then I was stuck on the money, and I'm just like.
So what's your question to Dell?
Does Zion belong at 9 or no?
Trey Young, right now.
Does Trey Young belong at 9 or no?
Who's in front of him?
LaMelo Ball,
Let me see.
Scotty Barnes. So.
Zion Williamson, Evan Mobley, Anthony Edwards.
Based on this list, I think Trey Young could be at worst 5 or 4. I would take Trey Young over Evan Mobley. But Luka, Jason, and Ja is fine. You could throw him there at 4. He could be at 4. I think he's better than everybody else on the list.
And mind you, I didn't say anything about better or worse.
Yeah.
You're always thinking of basically building a team, being a general manager, and money, and finding the right pieces.
Oh, well, that was – okay, so that is the thing to build around. Now I have to look at that list again. Right. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, this is not a greatest player under 25 list.
Right. Top 10 players to build around. So wait, you're saying Trey should be 9? Like you good with him there at 9?
No, I said I like the list, right? And I think the only changes that I could see is like nobody is like ridiculously out of order. I think the most that you could do is like swap one player for another player in terms of like the position, like 4 and 5, 5 and 6, 8 and 9 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like I think you can do that. But as far as this list goes, I find it to be pretty solid.
Euro, so what are you looking at?
I would
Like,
say
from a
Trey's
player, what are
easier
you
to
looking
build
at?
around, easier than him and
You're-
LaMelo is a wash to me. Scotty Barnes,
Right.
even
So there you go,
Zion.
right?
Right.
You can swap him.
Zion,
Right.
Zion, he's
I see
easier
no
to
issue
me.
with that.
Barnes, he's easier to me. He's easier to build around than Anthony Edwards to me.
Who?
Trey.
Oh. He might be easier to build around than Luka too.
Trey Young, easier to build around than Luka.
Yeah,
And that's not ridiculous to say because
It might be.
Luka style
because
of play.
Luka's style of play, he needs certain. It's the type of player to make Luka success. Like I think Trey and Porzingis would be better than Luka and Porzingis because Trey more so like Porzingis try to do some BS what you want to do. Luka like he has to have the ball like at a LeBron James type rate, and which works for them. So that's why I say that.
I think Trey Young needs the ball a lot in his hands too, though.
But his is Luka is like dribbling around and like his holding the ball and like Trey is like quick to attack. He's not. If he's dribbling, he's going downhill to get an alley-oop or shooting. Luka like would hold it for 21 seconds.
Scan the floor and just watch everything.
Just watch everything and then dribble, penetrate, kick to the corner, shoot a 3. Like Braun.
What do you think is better? Do you think that because I feel as if sometimes Trey Young, he doesn't know when to attack and when to just chill out. I think Trey Young a lot of times is always in attack and go mode, and he just doesn't know how to differentiate between the two. Which one do you think is better, Luka and his like passive aggressiveness, or Trey Young?
I'll have to go with Luka, only because Luka is better than Trey Young in terms of elevating his team based on what he does.
Ron, don't put me there.
You've earned it. You've earned it.
I don't want to be here. I don't want to be
Yeah.
here. Put Euro up there.
Nah. You earned it this episode.
Oh,
Yo,
man.
I got 2 super chats. I got one from Brennan Irvin. He said, if not Zion, who would you put on that list?
I think there's a lot of guys that I don't know if why wouldn't we put Zion on there, number one?
Well, remember,
But-
remember.
Well,
I
it
think
is
there's
still
a lot
under
of guys-
25, but you
Yeah,
gotta
I think
go
there's a
down
lot
to
of
right.
guys that you can look at that haven't been mentioned. Like for example, Paulo, he's the number 1 pick. We don't know what he can do just yet. There's a lot of promise there. I think Cade Cunningham is another one that's not on this list.
Cade. Yep. Cade. Fact.
I think there's a lot of guys. Yeah. What about? I see in the chat right now. SGA is he under 25?
Should
Yeah,
be.
for sure. He was in the same draft as Trey and Luca, actually.
Not saying that I would place him on that list, but I'm just saying like that's a name that hasn't been mentioned. Like there's a discussion about that for sure.
Jalen Green.
I agree, Morris. Another super chat from Slim09. He said JT over Luca, easier to build around. Thoughts on that?
There's a reason why a lot of people say that. You get Dallas 1 co-star, bro, they could make title run. So JT, even though he has all those pieces, it took him this long to get to the finals. I mean,
He's been to the conference finals like 4 times.
I
don't know if
get
it's
it. It's a
easier.
nasty context, man. But hey, I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, that time he went to the conference finals, Kemba Walker was there, taking off some of the pressure. This was the first time where JT was like the definitive guy. You feel me? Like 2020, he had Kemba Walker there. Kemba Walker was doing his thing. Went to the conference
Jason Tatum
finals.
was still
when
the
everyone
best
was-
player on that team.
But still, I mean, Kemba Walker alleviated a lot of that. I mean, they both had like 20 points per game. And he was the playmaker of the team.
He was alright.
I don't know if it's easier to build around him.
Kemba averaged 19.5 in the playoffs. Jason Tatum averaged 26.
Cool.
I'm pretty comfortable to say that was Jason Tatum's team.
I'm just, hey. The season would disagree. The regular season. Oh, man.
All right, y'all. Moving along on Dale's doc, we're gonna get into a topic that it should be quite interesting. The question is, who had the easier path to success? Kobe Bryant or LeBron James? I want y'all to think about this and then chime in. Whoever's ready first, you can go ahead and take the floor.
What do you mean success? The first championship.
That was my question.
It's Dale's topic and Dale's doc. I need him to describe it.
Yeah, because I'm confused. Is it to a championship or like success in the league?
Yeah, I don't know if it was just making it to the league as the success or.
I mean, off rip, I would say Kobe just because he had Shaq.
I mean,
Like
but
a
then
prime Shaq.
I could count-
from when he first popped up.
I could counter that with as soon as LeBron came to the league. I mean, he was getting the chosen one tags. The love from the league, him being
But
the
that's
next
not
Mike.
success. Just because you admire it doesn't mean that you're successful.
Well, no, I think it does because you're succeeding in the sport and you're playing in high school. You go to the pros and you're exceeding in that, and everybody's so easy to give you praise and give you love for that. In my opinion,
I mean, if it's just
Well,
off of praise, then yes.
well, I meant instead
LeBron
of the
number
word-
one all time.
Instead of the word success, I meant greatness.
Easier road to greatness.
Yeah, like who path was easier to greatness, Braun or Kobe?
What do you mean by
that's
that?
tough.
About greatness, like the
Like,
allure
who-
of the fan, like where they stand in their career,
I
their
would,
legacy.
I would say Kobe because the amount of pressure, to Dub's point, the amount of pressure that LeBron was facing since a child as the chosen one and not fold under that and actually make that be a reality, because you can call it what it is. You can like LeBron or not like LeBron. You can overrate him, underrate him, whatever. But when we talk about the grand scheme of things, LeBron actually is the chosen one. He came through and did exactly what everybody hailed him to be. And I think to be able to do that from a child all the way up to, he's what, like 37 now, 38,
36 maybe.
whatever. And he has
No,
not
might be
slipped up.
37. You're right.
He has not slipped up. You know what I'm saying? There's no like scandals about him or none of that shit. Like, it's him. No question.
I mean, just to look at it from the other angle, I could say possibly like LeBron, because Kobe Bryant, let's remember, like after Shaq left, a lot of people was writing Kobe off as if he wasn't one of those guys in the league. You know, a lot of people didn't believe in Kobe, and he got a lot of hate for that, and that he couldn't do it without Shaq. Even when Phil Jackson, after Phil Jackson left, people were saying that, you know, Kobe Bryant wasn't anything without Phil Jackson. I think Kobe had more of a, I had to take it from everybody. I had to make myself to become this caliber, make myself view me in this type of light, make myself view me as one of the greatest basketball players of all time. Where LeBron James, I wouldn't say it was handed because he had to perform, but a lot of people were easier to give him that.
I mean, he was called the chosen one.
He was. So, I mean, that's why I say I don't know which one to go with, but that's the other point of view and when I think about this question.
So you don't think that being called the chosen one is like actually having to live up to that expectation is harder and more pressure than not?
I don't know. I mean, when you're that skilled, I mean, it's kind of hard for you not to live up to it. Like, the dude is just, I understand there's a lot of guys that don't live up to it, but like LeBron, he was insane, bro. Like, he was just insane.
I don't know. I think it's easier to fail, or like not fail, but like to come up short than it is to actually.
It is easier to fail, but
when the expectation is the greatest ever.
Mm-hmm.
That, you know how insane that is?
No, I get you. It is easier to fail, but how hard is it to sit here and tell everybody and show everybody through my game that I'm really
hard.
One of these guys?
It is hard.
And I, you guys counted me out for majority of my career, and I still came out on top. I grinded for that. That speaks volumes as well, in my opinion.
I got Bron. Whatever.
So who path is easier? I would say to greatness. I would say Kobe.
I agree.
I meant no, easier to greatness. I meant Bron. I'm sorry. Just based off of the points you said, Euro. Like you said, only thing they have in common, to be honest, like the high school thing. Bron knew he was going to be number one. You know what I'm saying? And people already pegging Bron as great. Of course, Bron just have to go play basketball and be LeBron James. You see what I'm saying? Like, the only reason I think it was harder for Kobe is because the air balls as a rookie.
Yeah.
Not playing as a rookie. Like, after that year, it's just the confidence in himself, and Jerry West were really, Del Harris wasn't really messing with Kobe like that.
But Kobe didn't have the same pressures as LeBron.
But that's the same pressures, of course. But let's take it this way: if Kobe was drafted to, let's say, like a losing team, like Bron did with Cleveland,
like the Hornets,
like the Hornets, Kobe is playing his rookie year. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. He's
building numbers. He's whatever the case may be. Now we take it to the LeBron James thing. Would Bron be considered to some people the greatest of all time? No matter who it is, some people consider that.
Yeah.
Let's say he was, like you guys was arguing. That's what made me think of this question. If he was drafted to the Spurs, would you still consider Bron the greatest of all time? I don't think many people would. And he will have the same attributes of his game, but I don't think many people would. So I would say Bron, like you said, it's enormous pressure to perform. Enormous. We've seen it happen to him in 2011 and how his mind, everybody talking about, it's enormous pressures to perform. But ever since Bron was a freshman in high school, wherever he went, all he really had to do was perform. Just go play. And he's on a team where everything he could do is no restraints. Bron never had no restraint from no coach ever in his life. We both hoop. We know what that does to a player. You see what I'm saying?
I agree. But to me, I think what you're leaving out is the human aspect. And so even though like a lot of people can like they crumble under that though because it's like,
No,
oh
so
shit,
it does.
you give me
I
the
give him
keys to the
power.
car, now I'm
Right.
responsible
Now I
for the
gotta
car.
drive
Like
it.
you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
of course.
people
I
are
get that.
afraid to drive. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So
right.
like, so I think especially as like a 15-year-old. And then continuously being given the keys, you know what I mean? It's not like he's been given the key once and he got used to it, but it's like now you stepping into a different like you know environment like the NBA, which is all grown men, right? And this is the best of the best, and they're coming at you any which way. Everybody wanting you to fail because they want you to prove them wrong and shit like, or right, you know what I mean? If they are hating, like I don't know, man. I just think if you're a player and you're under the radar and you're under the tutelage of a coach who knows what the fuck he's doing, like a Phil Jackson, right? I think
you got to Phil at what 99, 2000 maybe.
Okay, well, Del Harris, I mean, that's not a slouch coach either, even though he didn't do shit with the Lakers. What I'm saying, though, is, like, I think they recognize Kobe's talent, and there was a lot of, like, shielding his talent from outside influences going on there because even though Kobe, you know, he was criticized heavily for putting up those air balls like you mentioned and shit like that. But at the end of the day, we was all talking about, you know, he's a young buck. His teammates was talking about, you know,
But not everyone was on that boat. Half of the side was like,
not everybody. That's right. But what I'm saying is like nobody was on LeBron's side when it came to that. Everybody was like, oh, he's the chosen one. He got the fucking tattoo on his back since he was a fucking knee high.
But he got the pave, he got the wave. They gave him the keys. It's like you said, now you're giving me the keys to drive. Instead of somebody working to get his license, to get his permit, then taking the keys and driving, which path is harder? If LeBron walked to the door, everywhere he went, they gave him the keys. Wherever he walked, every door he went to, the keys was handed to him. Kobe, every step with Lakers he drafted, he had to work to get the keys. He had to work for Phil Jackson
because the Lakers is the Lakers though. Like you can't just roll up in there like the Cavs and just be like, you know what, this shit is mine now. Just because I'm.
That's a good point. That's a great point.
That's to my point though. You see what I'm saying? That's why
Kobe getting the respect of the Lakers organization is a harder path than LeBron, you know, getting the respect of the Cavs, organization because the Cavs are whoever they are.
But that's a part of their greatness. Even Sacramento, let's say he got drafted to Sacramento, it still would have been easy because Sacramento was handing Braun the keys, the house, the mansion, everything. Also, all I'm saying is, if you have to work for every contract basically or every situation. Literally, Braun. Biggest thing was he knows everywhere he ended up, even till to this day, he's getting the keys. Kobe had to work for the keys, lost them when Shaq left and Phil left, had to prove again, no, I'm still one of these ones, get the key again from 08 to winning. Like he had to, I think his grind, meaning that's just why I think it was harder. And the rings, I feel as if
I feel you.
I think it's both his great points though. I was just thinking about that with the Braun going to the Spurs, how people would view them differently. That's all.
I guess, yeah. I mean, I can't argue against it. You know what I mean? But I don't agree. I look at it from the other side of the spectrum for real.
Mars,
I look at everything that happens off the court.
Can you chime in, Mars? I want to know who you got out of both of these guys. Whose path to being considered a great player was easier?
I mean, I think it just comes down to preference because I agree with what Del said about having to work your way up through the ranks of an organization. But then you also had look at LeBron. He had an organization on his back. He was expected to save a franchise. The Lakers, no one would claim they needed saving. And also Shaq came in that same offseason. Kobe wasn't expected to turn the Lakers around. If he turned into someone who could, like Shaq was the guy. If he turned into someone who could complement Shaq, that was good enough for the Lakers organization. Whereas LeBron, he came in, he was expected to be the savior of a whole city. It was him, it was LeBron or bust. That's what Cleveland were hanging their hopes on. That's what the league was hanging their hopes on. Whereas with Kobe, I think it's easier to come in and work your way from a bench player to a supporting player, which is what he did early on. And then he became a superstar, which was more of a bonus. Whereas with LeBron, it was, if you're not a superstar, you failed. And I think it's harder to meet superstar expectations than it is to exceed expectations that Kobe had, in my opinion.
Are we considering modern media too? Because Kobe grew up in a non-social media era.
We could do that. But to just attack what Mars said. So LeBron James, like everywhere I've went, I've played professionally. If I go there, right, and the easiest time for me to ever play basketball is someone telling me it's on you to win or lose. That's why in college, my junior and senior years was my best years because I knew I was one of the main guys, and I knew if I did this and played the way I could play, we'll be better. So I get the pressure is there for Braun more so, but
you get the freedom.
The freedom
but here's the thing, Dale. What you're not considering is the first 2 years where you wasn't the man, and now they gave you the keys, and it's like, okay, you know what? I'm familiar with this environment.
Right. But the first 2 years of me grinding, the fact of the matter is I could have lose the third and fourth years if I didn't work the first and 2 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But now you're assuming that LeBron didn't work because he was given the keys.
He was given but if I was given the keys from my freshman year, I would still work. But the freedom to mess up, to know that I would have. That's what I'm saying. Like Braun, freedom has been, and that's his talent. People looking at him. Oh, that guy, he deserves that freedom. He deserves this. He deserves that.
Yo, let me ask you this. This is somewhat unrelated, I guess. But when you sign with a new team, right, and you sign on as the guy,
okay,
right? Like, okay, you know what? We had this guy that was there the previous year. He was our best player. And Dell, we're signing you because we want you to replace him. Mm-hmm. Like, do you feel the pressure? Like, do you have more freedom on the court that way, or when you are basically, let's say, the second or the third fiddle, but you just emerge as the top guy?
Well, if the emerging, it's different. So when I was in the Philippines, they told me, "Yo, you come here. We be trying to push. We trying to make it to the playoffs. We trying to do this. We need you to."
They put that on you, yeah.
They put it on me, and I loved it because it's like, all right, now I know that you riding with me, win, lose, or draw, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Like it's on my skills or me. It's not nothing I could say the city's doing, you're doing, the organization.
That's your mentality, because I don't think they are riding with you win, lose, or draw. They're riding with you win, not lose or draw. Okay, because if it's lose or draw, you're up out of there.
No, but it's different. You know the Europe scale and all that stuff. But I'm saying for me, for my comfort level, that was better for me. And that was the best times I've had playing basketball.
Right, and that's my point. And so now translate that to, like, put that onto a 16-year-old. Do you think a 16-year-old is able to handle that?
Who's 16 in the
LeBron, because he's been facing that pressure since he was young.
But listen, okay, so peep it. It's 16 facing that pressure in high school. He could face that. It's just like Lance Stevenson in high school, Sebastian Telfair. I'm not going to say Sebastian Telfair felt his pressure in high schout. You see what I'm saying?
And that's my point. They are not regular high school players, and so the pressures that they're facing is not, yo, you need to outcompete everybody in high school.
But they have the freedom,
bro. You have to play to a level where motherfuckers is going to be like, you know what? Yes, he can go to the league straight from this level.
Exactly.
That's the pressure, not because you're beating up on your peers. But
that pressure is based on them only. If you do what we think you could do, you're going to the NBA. You see what I'm saying? It's like if Braun, like, he's waking up, damn, I got the pressure on my back. But if I do what I could do, or what I just been consistently doing all this time in high school, I know I could go here. You see what I'm saying? It's not that's your own. Yeah, that's a pressure from yourself. You always want to play your best. So all they're telling you to do is not be Superman, just be you. That's all. Like, be you. Like that. So it's that's why these kids, when they go to, like, I think it's good for them. I hate G League Ignite. I hate that aspect of it. I love when the kids would go to Europe or go to Australia. Like, because that's a different type of grind. You've been to Europe. Like, when Brandon Jennings went to the Rome and people saw 7 points or 8 points and 4 assists, I'm like,
they killed him.
He's getting better. Like, and you know what I'm saying? So that little grind right there.
I remember that, and this is back when I was young. You know, B. Jennings was a class above me, and I remember, like, damn, this dude is clearly the best point guard, if not the best player in his class, and he just went over to Europe, and he's only averaging 7 points. And you know, at that age, before you even know about overseas, you just hear about overseas, but you really don't. High school players, they really don't, especially back in the 2000s. You don't think too high of Europe, or you're not thinking too high of Europe. You're not realizing the level of competition over there. You're like, yo, we got the NBA right here. It's like the NBA, and then nothing else exists. So then when you see Brandon Jennings go over there, it's like, damn, bro, you only average 7.
No
Are
cap.
you even that good? Are you even
And
nice
Exactly.
like
here's the
that?
That's
thing,
what it
because
was.
he
And that's what
he
it
went
was.
over because he went over in 0809. That's the year I graduated college, right?
Was it
And
08,
so
09?
yes, because I remember this because when I got out of college, I worked out
Might be.
with the Nets when they were in Jersey still, and he was there. And I don't know if I
Chad,
told
we are
this
not the
story.
same.
Yeah. I don't know if I told the story. I may have. Anyway, like he was like my workout partner, like when we were shooting drills and shit like that. And like he was coming off of like, you know what I mean, McDonald's All American game and shit like that, or whatever.
Right.
And so I was like, oh yeah, he nice or whatever. But when I saw him, like I was like, oh, this dude is crazy. And then he went overseas and I saw them 7 to 8 points. I would have been like a little bit disappointed have I not seen what he did against NBA players, you know what I mean? Or against like seasoned college players like myself at that point, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, for sure, man. B. Jennings was like that in high school.
And to put it into perspective too, Dale, remember earlier when you said averaging 7 assists overseas or here in the NBA is like averaging damn near 11, 12 assists.
The points
in the NBA?
the points thing is the same, right?
I would even say the points thing is even more elevated. It's
Yeah.
like a lot of people don't understand, like overseas, it's really a team game. Like when you're playing for a good program, especially too, with other players that are imports, bro, nobody's gonna really come and average anything over 17. And if you do, you're really an anomaly.
I think Luca was averaging like 16, I want to say, something like that.
But Luca,
that's really tough to do though. Luca, you know.
Yeah, he was the MVP. I'm pretty.
Yeah,
bro.
That's why we knew. I told people they used to watch his clip. They're like, damn, he's not gonna be that in the league. I'm like, that means y'all don't know what he's doing in your league. like no matter how slow and all this stuff, that like he's a monster.
And a lot of people,
and you're giving him more freedom.
when you look at overseas like highlights and stuff like that, you know, when ESPN shows it or whatever, you know,
they when he got
often
drafted,
only show like EuroLeague highlights. A lot of times they don't show what's happening in the ACB, which is also, I mean, the domestic
I played
league.
there. It's OD tough.
ACB is tough, man.
Like OD tough. OD.
But yeah.
Yeah, Luka is absolutely a different breed. I don't think nobody can really argue that.
Now they can't. Right.
All right, Dub, you got your point off against LeBron and Kobe?
Yeah, I said mine a long time ago. Dale and Nero went on a beautiful tangent. Not really. Nobody's panties was in a bunch. So.
But who do you have though? LeBron or Kobe for a harder path to success or to greatness?
Listen, I think, as I said, bro, it's really due to preference. I think both you guys have great points. You know, it really what you prefer. Do you prefer a guy getting it out of the mud, or do you guy having those expectations and exceeding and meeting and exceeding them? So, I mean, it's a good debate to think about, honestly.
Yeah.
When I chime in with this, I just think of who was quicker to be the number one option, and it was Bron. He didn't have to compete with nobody for the ball, kind of like how Dale was saying, and like literally, you know, he was able to do whatever he wanted to. On top of that, I mean, when you go to the finals in your third year, everybody's already, you know, proclaiming you as that next guy. Like, yeah, he lost, but you clearly seen right there, like Bron's the chosen one. So it was dirt. Like even before that year, he was getting his love. But the minute that third year ended, people were already putting Bron damn near top 5. I don't even think it was a question. I think Bron was top 5 after that year. So like, I mean, just because of that, he was able to come in the league and be given a chance to flourish before Kobe. So I give it to Bron. And even on top of that too, remember Kobe had to battle with Shaq. So when you have Shaq on your team, it's not that people aren't going to think that you're great, but it's like you got somebody that's a opposing figure that's on your team. So it's like you're not able to shine quite as much because you have, you know, one of the best players of all time. And my bad, I said third year, I meant fourth year. But the minute he went to that championship, it was the writing was on the wall. People were like, okay, LeBron's going to be one of the best ever. Just like how they're doing with Luka right now. Even I know he didn't go to the championship, but he went to the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm seeing it everywhere. People are saying Luka's going to be one of the best players ever. And that's not ridiculous to say just because of the numbers he's put up, the playoff run he just had. And you got to factor in, dude's only 22, just like how Bron was when he got in the league after his fourth year. So it's like, you know, you're projecting and you're thinking like, okay, if he did this at 22, what's he gonna do at 27? What's he gonna do at 31?
For sure.
It was an
How you
interesting debate.
said what?
But I said it was an interesting debate because I don't think there's a wrong answer. Like most debates, to me, there's a clear-cut wrong answer. Whereas with this, it's just which path do you find to be more difficult based on. But for me, it's more just based on your personality.
I agree.
Like, if you're someone who is more outgoing or open, you relish in the challenge of taking on more responsibility. But some people find it more difficult having to work your way up from the ground level to the top. So it's just based on really
And
preference.
to counter that, I'm gonna say LeBron had the easier path to stardom. Kobe had the easier path to winning and accolades and whatnot, just because he was able to kind of piggyback off Shaq and Phil Jackson and the greatness of the team. But in terms of just, being able to be seen as clearly that guy in the league, it was Braun, because he didn't have nobody else on his team that was really gonna, take anything away from him. He was able to do whatever he wanted to do.
Well, saying the piggyback to Shaq, I don't think anybody you put with Shaq at that time is winning the championship. I don't wholeheartedly believe that. Like, I don't think so. I
I
don't.
don't think a young LeBron wins with Shaq. I would stand on that.
What?
I don't. I think Kobe and Shaq complemented each other very well, and a young LeBron with his shooting deficiencies, it'll be easier for the teams to game plan against them than it was for Kobe and Shaq, and that's the main reason. On top
You
of that,
do,
Kobe was a better defender than LeBron James at that time in their
but you
careers.
do know that younger LeBron with those deficiencies in his fourth year still went to the championship without a Shaq.
In a
In the
weak
East.
East. Yeah, in a weak East.
In the East.
So
Yes.
you don't think in a strong West that LeBron and Shaq both
They'll
don't
be
make it
great.
out?
I'm not gonna say they'll be great, but I mean Kobe. If I think that Kobe and Shaq duo is the best duo in all time, in my opinion, I think it's better than a Kobe and Shaq. I think it'll be very difficult for them to beat San Antonio Spurs consistently. Sacramento Kings almost beat them as well. A team that was strong, could really shrink the floor on those guys and make them a jump shooting team. LeBron James wasn't a good free throw shooter too, and the Lakers' weakness was that. So now the Lakers is going to become a way more worse free throw shooting team. And I mean, I just don't think that they make it out. I think they maybe will one, maybe two, but three-peat, I don't see it. Now, this is your young LeBron, not prime LeBron.
Didn't Dell say the second that LeBron was in the league, that was his prime?
I disagree. I think the best version of LeBron was from Miami, and therefore, no, maybe '08 or '09. Maybe '09.
That
Yeah.
young Cavs LeBron, and the reason why I can't write
You
LeBron
said you
off.
said the word there though, the young Cavs LeBron, and that's why I never try to change if people mind of saying about a player. Like, he got drafted to the Cavs, like you said, with and Mars, the pressure to save a team. So with that pressure that they had on him to save the teams, you know how many stuff he got away with as a young guy, though. You know what I'm saying? Like that's and as tough as it is for that age to face that, it's still it's still like, all right, do what you want, find your rhythm, find what's gonna work, and then boom. But it's just kind of just like high school with grown men for him, based on everything. Nowhere he ever played did they, other than Larry Brown in, what is it, 05, 04, 05? Other than LeBron playing with Larry Brown on that Olympics team, was the only time basketball was like adversity in terms of the coach not trusting you to be there to finish the games or stuff like that. And that was the first time ever in his career, and the last time.
So nobody thinks if Bron's drafted to the Lakers instead of Kobe that they wouldn't have the same success.
I think that.
I don't think they three-peat.
I think they can for sure.
Mars?
I don't know, because I think they could win 2004, but I don't know if they win every chip before 2004. So it's weird.
But we're talking about core guys, though, right? We're not just saying we're taking Kobe off the lineup, and then we just inserting LeBron. We're
That's
talking
what he's
about
doing.
like, yeah. But I mean, I guess if you want to say it like that, then sure. But that's like saying Kobe's not going to win those same championships if you put it on somebody else, like with whoever, just because it's an ill fit. You know what I'm saying? Like Dub said, if LeBron is not a decent shooter like that, why would you not have somebody else on the team that's like a role player, not one of the core guys, to balance that out? Why would the
Talking about
Lakers
like
make
getting
that
more
move?
shooting, like getting more shooting. Is what you're
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta understand the state of the league at the time too. I mean, you're forward in the space the floor like that, so they're really gonna get. Rick Fox was a good 3-point shooter, right?
Reliable,
Like
I
what-
think.
He was solid.
Reliable.
He was solid.
Yeah. If that's who you're relying on, it's kind of tough.
I mean, they would have to get an outworldly 3-point shooter, and even then, I mean, that's only for one position. They're not gonna get a shooting big. That wasn't relevant at the time. Not gonna get shooting.
But they had
forward.
a shooting big though, right? Didn't Robert Ory? What was he on that team?
Yeah,
He
yeah,
was,
he
but he
was.
was
He
off
came
the
off the bench,
bench.
though. They had Horace Grant,
Yeah, Horace Grant.
which
Karl Malone.
he could space it in the mid range.
Chris Grant won a chip with them.
Horace-
Wasn't he gone before then, or was he there in 01?
Horace was on. I don't know if he was on all three teams, but
I think he might have been there for one of them, yeah, but I don't know about all three.
Yeah, but Horry was off the bench though. Like,
Yeah, he was there in 01. Old man Horace.
I'm just not willing to flat out bet against Shaq and LeBron to not be a dynasty. Like, this sounds ridiculous.
I get
way.
it. Like, don't get me
No
wrong.
way.
I understand the asinine take from it, and I get it. But I mean, that's just how I feel, bro. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
That's why you top left.
Y'all heard what I said about LeBron and the Spurs, and I believe that same thing if you put LeBron with Shaq. Like, bro, I don't. I can't wrap my mind around them just not dominating the league.
The team becomes less
I can't
spaced out
argue, I
and a
can't
worse
argue
free throw
that
shooting team.
because I can't argue with the fact because the times like you just seeing Braun and you seeing what Braun became, and that's why.
But also too though, remember we would say with the Spurs, we was saying first year, will he come out as a rookie and do what he did, and as a second player? With LeBron, keep in mind Shaq didn't come until Shaq came there, but remember they didn't go to the finals until 4 years in. So now I'm thinking fourth year LeBron with Shaq, and I'm just like.
It's a word there. It's called growth, and it's a learning process and all that stuff. So when you insert a player, a rookie LeBron with a Shaq, it's like I'm saying, Kobe and Shaq didn't win right away.
Yeah,
in 96, 97, I mean 98, 99, Mike's
And
last
LeBron
year. 97, 98, 97, 98, before Mike retired. Kobe Bryant was an all-star that year.
Yeah.
And LeBron wouldn't be
lost in
having
the second
when he
round
comes out.
of the bench, and they lost in the second round. So I'm not that. Kobe Bryant is better than rookie LeBron James, and him and Shaq lost in the second round because it's growth. It's growth.
But hold on,
so
that Kobe Bryant wouldn't be better than LeBron in his third year, though.
We're not talking about the third year, because and this is me talking to the point of you saying LeBron being drafted just alongside the Spurs. You it's minutes. It's like people gotta play. Some players there gotta have their minutes and all that allotted for. So it changed the dynamic, but Papa found a way, I guess. But I don't think it's as easy as Braun, you gonna go there. They definitely winning the chip. Oh hell no, not. But if you say Braun from year 2 or 3 with the understanding of basketball the way he do now, it's a cakewalk. Then it's different.
Well, I'm saying him getting drafted instead of Kobe at 13 to the Lakers, and he gets to play that same amount of time.
Wait, so he goes through the same thing?
Yes.
But that's a different, because I don't know how. That's a different. Wow, I don't know. Honestly, but I don't know if he ends up like Kobe did with 5 rings and the way Kobe ended up. And to the other point, I don't know if Kobe gets drafted into Cleveland and if he propels Cleveland or his career becomes the same. Like, I don't know how it is. I think Kobe worked for it, and they're like, all right, here, now you're this. LeBron, give it to him. It was easy for him from the get. So it's a different. I don't know what it is, but they're both great. So why am I bleeding?
Facts. How we feeling, fellas? Y'all done? Y'all want to keep going? What y'all want to do?
I'm down to keep going. I'm not even gonna hold you.
Yeah,
I'm
I
here.
agree
It's
too.
whatever.
What's on the agenda?
What's on the agenda? I love that word.
What's on the agenda for real, bro? That is amazing, Mars.
Did you ask the question that I can't talk on? I think it was like topic 4.
What, the Doc Rivers Twitter likes?
No, at first. Oh, I wanted to ask you about that. No, the KD question you were supposed to ask, Ron.
I'm about to pull that up right now.
Oh, okay.
Not unless Euro wants
Yeah,
to talk
Euro.
about a
Yeah,
separate
what
topic.
is it, Doc?
Nah.
All right, tell me later.
All right, hold on. I got a few super chats. I gotta get to these. Eric Dupree, he said, anyone had Melo above KG, Braun, and Kobe in the 04-05 season? I know Ticket does, and it's still his funniest take. Scrambling for notes. How we feel about that? Does anybody have Melo
Yeah,
above
that
KG,
was one of
Braun, and
Tickets.
Kobe?
That was one of his dives. Also with the 07, Kobe was like the 11th best player in the NBA. He said, or something like that. I don't know what year he used. That was also one of his funny ones.
I would never say Kobe was better than. I mean, Melo was better than those guys at that
I
time.
think it was.
Yeah, I
I
don't
think it's
agree
kind of
with it.
clear that Kobe was the best player in the league at that moment in time. Mars, what was you about to say?
I don't agree with his way of ranking them, but he wasn't saying they were he wasn't saying Melo was better than Kobe. He was saying he ranked him higher, but he ranks weirdly. So I disagree with him, but he wasn't like he knew Kobe was better at basketball than Melo. It's just
Doesn't
so
he
weird.
rank like a All NBA team? That's how he ranks it, like year by year.
Yeah, he ranks
Like JT
like
was first All
he
NBA.
ranks how good you are at basketball as a separate list to his rankings in the league. Like he has Jimmy Butler top 5 based on what he did this past season, but he doesn't think he's one of the 5 best players in the league. It's
We
I
have
get it.
we have too many people on here with their own like little ranking system. It gets super confusing, man.
Mars is my all-time favorite. He showed me the list, and I was gonna send it to
I
you
mean,
guys, but he was
Mars-
like, "Please don't."
Mars came first, but he got so many. It's hard to keep up with him too. You know what I'm saying? But now if Ticket has his own little joint, I'm just like, dang, like, what are we talking about? You know,
I think-
at any given point.
I think Tickets is easier to understand because it's just all,
I
he
fuck
played
with that ranking
this
system.
better season this year. It's an All NBA. That's all it is. It's
Yeah,
just
I
an
fuck
All
with that.
NBA thing. Yeah.
I mean,
Mars
it makes
is-
sense, like in for the moment, you know what I mean? And he goes season by season. It's like each individual, like, you know what I mean? And then he just like adds it all together. But it's not like one thing that he does, right?
hmm
Yeah, I mean, I can get behind that. I mean, I can understand that. Is what I'm saying.
I understand it, but bro, you can't. It's people that clearly have better teams than other people. So it's like, how can you hold it against them?
That's why I don't agree with it, but I do understand it. Like it's not as crazy as it seems at face value.
Wow.
Yeah,
I just realized something. I think I got in a fight with everyone up here besides Mars and Shaq, and that's not a usual thing that's happened. Hoo-hoo! My bad.
What?
Cause I got in an argument with you, Euro and Del, with you, Ron and Del, and I usually get arguments with Mars and Shaq.
Oh,
You got
mean
into you got into
this
argument with
episode.
Shaq.
When?
The
I don't
reason-
think
the-
I argued with him.
Yes, that's the reason I said to you what I said to you earlier, because of the argument with Shaq. You're being hypocritical to your own beliefs. When
It's what? Which one?
Shaq said you on his, the East Coast stuff, and the when Shaq said I don't want to, what he said, Ron.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, my bad. Yeah,
and that's why I said you're like it's the same thing. It's along the same lines.
My bad. I didn't realize it. Yeah, I didn't realize it. That's my bad.
That's what I'm like. If Ron, Mars, Euro, whoever would have said it would have been different, because they don't. Me and you believe that the exact same way.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
why
yeah,
I
yeah,
never
yeah.
talk like that to you.
No, that's my bad. Because that's my bad.
I'm like, he doesn't understand. But
No,
I
I
was gonna
got it
explain
now.
to you after, but I wasn't gonna do it.
Nope, I got it. That's my bad. Yep.
All right, another super chat from Eric Dupree. He said AI from his rookie year winning rookie of the year to his MVP in 2001 was considered the best guard in the league. Shouldn't be a debate. Kobe lapped him in 02.
Yeah, we talked about that last episode. Or the
Michael
one
Jordan was
before
in the
that.
league in Allen Iverson's rookie year,
Yeah.
so he's wrong.
Wait, what
Okay,
was
yeah.
the super chat? I didn't see it.
Bars.
It said
He's
AI
wrong.
from
He
his
just
rookie.
lied.
It said AI from his rookie year, winning rookie of the year to his MVP in 2001 was considered the best guard in the league. Shouldn't be a debate.
Never.
Kobe lacked
Yeah,
him
yeah.
in
That
02.
great point, Mars.
Yeah, he just lied. Like he just spent money to lie. I don't know.
That
why he
was
did
like 96, 97, 97, 98 Jordan.
Exactly. Guard. But he did say one of the best guards, though.
No, he said the best. He said the best. He
Nah.
explicitly said the best was
Wait,
considered
did?
the best guard.
He
Yes,
said
he
the
just
best.
he just
He
wanted to spend
definitely
money
did.
to lie. I don't
But
know.
Ron, me and you went back and forth with this, but you see, I feel like this super chat just shows the fact that how enamored people were with Allen Iverson, like the cultural impact that he brought, the popularity was through the roof.
You're
I
right.
don't think you saw popularity
You're
like
right.
that, and so for you, and I
What do
think
you-
that what.
Euro. Michael Jordan was popular.
Yeah,
But
no,
hold on, no,
I'm
I don't.
I'm not
I
I'm
think
not
he
talking
forgot
about
about
Jordan.
Michael when he put.
I'm
this
not talking
in
about Michael
here.
Jordan. You
Let's
and
not
I was
even
talking
bring Michael
about
into
Kobe.
this. Yeah.
And so you
But-
were saying that people were talking about how, and this is heavily debated. If you look on our channel right now, that little reel or whatever on YouTube, the short,
Uh-huh.
has like over 60,000 views. I think that's like one of our most viewed reels. You know what I'm saying?
I only looked at it on TikTok, but I seen the comments too. I don't know what the YouTube comments said, but I'm assuming it was similar.
I didn't really see too many. I didn't really see the comments or whatever. But what they saying, like majority, are they in favor of Kobe or in favor of Allen
Nah, bro,
Iverson?
they was saying, bro, because for a second you kind of had me shook. Like, man, was I tripping? Was I just being biased? But no, bro, Allen Iverson was that dude from his rookie year to 01. AI produced more than Kobe.
Right.
Now it was due in large part to situation and circumstances, kind of like how we was just saying about Bron and Kobe. AI was given the keys right away. And on top of that, keep in mind, AI went to college too. Kobe was straight out of high school. He was drafted at 17, so he was still a young buck. On top of that, that Lakers team was better. They had Eddie Jones. Who else did they have? They had Nick Van Exel, and they had somebody else too. So Kobe wasn't just gonna come in and play over Eddie. No, contrary to popular belief, Eddie.
Right,
Eddie,
but
Eddie
none
Jones
of that was my argument.
still-
We was talking about who was the better player, not who had the better, team or who was in a better position because of the team not being as good and just him being able
Bro,
to just cook.
I'm gonna have to go with AI. Reason being,
Because
like
he
I
wasn't
don't know.
there.
Might have played if they play 1-on-1. Kobe might
Wait,
have.
what is it, Euro? Because we for sure were there.
Was Allen Iverson ever considered to be a better player? Were
Kobe?
people saying that was Allen Iverson ever considered to be a better player than Kobe Bryant?
I think there was
Definitely.
a short time.
Definitely.
Yeah, before Kobe Bryant became elite. Yeah.
Honestly, I would say that's why you said it, because I was reading something on my phone. From 96 to 2001, I would say around that time it was all AI. No one would say Kobe was better than AI around then.
2001 when he won the MVP, and then that championship, and then that next year Kobe just kind of came back like different.
But AI was still good though.
Well,
But
I mean, I guess I stand corrected then. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I just don't, man.
you don't think people were saying AI was ever better than Kobe?
What? No, I'm saying is like they definitely could have said that. But what I'm saying is they thought that because of what, you know what I mean? The allure, that everything that Allen Iverson brought. Like, he had
so
the
you're
attention.
saying it was
he
more
had, you know what I'm
popularity
saying?
than his basketball game.
Popularity played a huge
wasn't,
part into
bro.
this, but he was
Kobe
not a
wasn't
better
playing like
basketball
that.
player than
Yeah, young
Kobe Bryant.
young Kobe, like wasn't even.
No,
starting
I'm
yet,
not
so, like,
saying
based
I
on
would
that.
say he's better, but the league for sure thought AI was a better player than Kobe at one point in time, for sure. Yeah, the
Not
league
one
did.
point.
That
Once
was-
I mean, I
once
guess
Kobe became Kobe, it was always him. Like I think Kobe was better than AI in 2001, but 2000 and before.
but that was the year they faced off.
Yeah, I think.
And so that was
Kobe
the
that
year.
year. Kobe
That
that year
was
was
the year
wild,
where everybody was like,
lie.
okay, now we see it because we have a direct head-to-head.
But even in that head-to-head, AI went bananas. Remember, he scored he had the 50 ball, and then
Right.
I mean, he had the rest of the series, and they
I'm not
lost.
taking none of
4-1.
that away.
But
what I'm saying,
AI was wilding.
what I'm saying is this though: like up until that point, everybody had AI over him, and it was that finals series where people were like, "Oh yeah, it's actually Kobe." Kobe didn't improve in the finals. Like Kobe was Kobe, and so it's like for me, it makes no sense for people to say like, "Yo, Allen Iverson was better up until that point," because Kobe was that already. And so it was just everybody was just leaning towards Allen Iverson. That's all I was saying.
I get you, Euro. And the crazy thing is, you can go back to that clip, or I don't think it was in the clip, but during that argument, I remember saying, I don't think Kobe was better than him, or I don't think AI was better than Kobe. It took me to really have to go back, read the comments, and go do the research myself and really remember that, AI was wilding. He averaged, I think, 23 his rookie year, 22 his second year. Next year, he went up to 30, or it was like 29, 30, something like that. And it stayed along that trend for the rest of the time until like 2007. So it's like, bro, you can't possibly say in their third year where AI was averaging 30 and Kobe was averaging, I don't know exactly what he was averaging. Y'all can pull it up, but I don't think it was. 19. It definitely wasn't. It was 19. Damn. All right. Well, Kobe.
I mean,
really
I don't mind being wrong in this argument at all. You know what I'm saying? Because it's Iverson. You know what I mean? Like I ain't tripping at all.
Mars, was Iverson top 5 in 2001?
Top 5 player?
Maybe.
Top 5 player.
When did he win MVP?
2001.
2001.
No, I'm just asking. I'm just wondering.
But that doesn't mean that you're the best player. Like,
no, not best. He said top 5. No, not best. He said top 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, Shaq, Tim Duncan, Kobe,
KG,
Tracy McGrady,
Kevin Garnett. T-Mac is the one I'm thinking about, which is why I said maybe. I don't know who I think was better.
T-Mac 01 was crazy.
Different.
I think T-Mac is just better than AI. So
wasn't that his first year alone though?
I think so.
I think it might have been
I don't think his first year in Orlando. He's I think he's talented. Yeah, he's more talented than
that was the year he won most improved, I think.
Yeah, he got most improved. Yeah.
So the reason why I bring that up is because there's a lot of people that say that AI is not possible to be in top 5.
Did you mention Shaq?
Top 5? Huh?
You said Shaq first.
Yeah, I said Shaq.
All right.
Yeah. So the reason why I asked that is because a lot of people say that Allen Iverson can't be top 5 in today's league just because of the guys that's in the league now. But back then in 2001, you had a prime KG, a prime Shaq, a prime Kobe, or near his prime. And prime Tim Duncan as well, and he was debatably in that top 5 spot. I just don't understand how he can't be possibly top 5 in today's era if in that era he was. It just doesn't make sense to me. Fuckers.
Do you think he's better than Kawhi Leonard?
Like I said, Mars, if we're going with Kawhi Leonard now, bro, I would. If he played a whole season healthy, I might have to lean more towards him. It depends on what he did in that season. I mean, I'm not Kawhi Leonard because he's
21 Kawhi. Do you think he's better than 20? Let's say, if put Allen Iverson in 2021, is he better than Kawhi Leonard?
Honestly, I think they'll be fighting with each other, bro. I really do. I really do think they'll be fighting with each other for a spot.
That's fair. I mean, obviously, I disagree with every ounce of my being, but it's fair.
Down to my last atom.
Right.
Precisely.
So, it's on you, Ron.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and bring this into the screen.
And we for sure out after this. If it's what I think it is. All
right. My man KD's Burner K at KD's Burner K on Twitter.
That's fire.
Right.
He tweeted to the Players' Choice account. He said, next podcast, you need this question asked. If you may, why is it when it comes to KD, we have to take things away? Like if you take his things that he did with the Warriors, he is the only superstar that you guys on that panel constantly do that for.
This is a question for Shaq, which is, it's a shame he's not here because I don't think any of us take away what he did on Golden State.
The host does all the time.
Oh, yeah. I always say I'm not taking those rings away from him. My thing with KD is I just need to see him do something outside of the Warriors.
Oh my God! And we have to see Stephen Curry do something outside the Warriors.
That is taken away though, because by that statement,
Euro, I was just about
him.
exactly. Euro, I was just about to say that.
I'm not, because he went crazy during those rings. I'm just saying, without KD and without the Golden State Warriors, does he do that? And on top of that, because here's also the thing too. It's not like he was drafted to that position. He went and placed himself directly in the best possible position you can.
Okay, so
So-
did
He
LeBron
He
James.
didn't
Sound like a
go.
smart move
he
to
did-
me.
He did.
Yeah,
it
right,
is.
I was about to
It
say,
is. No, it
sound
is.
like a
It
great
is.
business decision.
Bro, no.
Why
bro,
wouldn't you do that, bro?
No, as a businessman, as a person, bro, that I can't be mad at him for making the best move that he can make for himself, his career, his family, and even just in terms of off the court, where we're talking about Silicon Valley, Northern California, where the sun is shining year round. Bro, he put himself in a great position all around the board. But I'm just saying, bro, as a player and as a winner, I just want to see what he can do outside of that. I can't rank him better than people such as, I don't know, let's just say Kawhi Leonard and Bron, because they did it without super teams. Well, I can't say Bron didn't do it without super teams.
But
you get what I'm
Kawhi,
saying.
the thing about Kawhi though, like for example with that Raptors ring, right? I think didn't they go like without him like the year before? Didn't they go to the Eastern Conference Finals?
Yeah, they lost to Braun.
Like that's
No,
a
that was the
set.
semifinals.
But
I mean,
think
whatever.
about
But
it, though.
that's a solid roster. That's a solid team.
No, undoubtedly. But DeMar DeRozan was their best player that year.
You replaced him with
they-
Kawhi.
Yeah,
No,
that's
no,
an
no,
upgrade.
This is what
So
I'm about
it's
to
like,
say.
why-
This is what I'm about
why-
to say. You traded your best player for your best player. With the Warriors, they just stockpiled Kevin Durant on top of their best player.
No, you
It's not like they
upgraded
traded
your best
Steph
player
Curry.
with a better player.
Okay, so what if DeMar DeRozan would have been on that team and Kawhi would have went over there? They would have been a
They
super
would have
team.
won. They probably would have won the championship. Everything happened the exact same way.
Oh, okay though. Okay then. But I'm saying like
But that's the thing. If Kawhi got traded to the Raptors and DeMar DeRozan wasn't there and Kawhi still wins, it's not viewed upon as how people view KD's rings. It's not.
Well, along two lines, because first off, the Raptors weren't the Warriors and they hadn't won a championship. Kyle Lowry's not Steph Curry, and on top of that, at that point, we're not considering Kawhi Leonard, Kevin Durant. At that point, when Kevin Durant went there, we knew Kevin. It was like KD, you're easily
Everybody knew
top three
Kawhi
player in
Leonard.
the league.
Whoa.
No, but Kawhi in
whoa,
2009, before Kawhi did that, nobody was saying
2009.
Kawhi was
2019?
2019, my bad. In 2019, when Kawhi did that, none of you guys were saying Kawhi was a top 3 player.
Kawhi Leonard was that guy.
I don't say that now.
I
so-
still wasn't
Yeah, I don't
saying
say that
that.
either.
You see what I'm saying? But that's the point I'm trying to make. Kawhi wasn't on the same pedestal as KD. When KD went to the Warriors, it was like KD quite possibly could be the best player in the league. Like,
But
yes,
you just
Bron,
said you have
but
Kawhi over KD.
I do. But I'm saying that's what I'm talking about, the moves. Kawhi's move was
No,
nowhere
Kawhi
near-
move. He got traded. I'm not
Yeah.
comparing that move at all. No one's doing that.
Okay,
You know, I'm if like whatever you say about KD, sure, that's your opinion. I agree. I just want to ask you about the so the Duncan when Kawhi was MVP, was that a super team?
It was a very good team. Super team. The reason why I wouldn't say it was a super team is because the Spurs players, like the original cast.
Well, okay,
original
before don't
Hall of
answer. What is the definition of a super team to you then?
Famers, my definition of a super team is really 3 All-Stars.
Who'd they
Three
have?
current-
They had
three current
Kawhi.
All-Stars.
They had Timmy. Who else?
Kawhi, Timmy, Manu
Tony?
Ginobili, and Tony Parker, and then they had
That's a super
they
team,
had
bro.
they had Danny Granger. Nah, because them dudes
That's a
was
bunch of Hall of
old.
Famers.
You
Them
said
dudes
what?
was- No, they were Hall of Famers, but they was old.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Stop there. So why is the 2011 OKC a super team then?
Wow, why were they a super team?
Yeah,
Wasn't Russ an All-Star that year?
James Harden wasn't.
just Russ and KD.
You said
Weren't they
OKC
All-Stars?
was a super team?
You
Yeah,
crazy,
that's
bro.
That's two.
Were they All-Stars? They was
It was 2 All-Stars. You crazy, bro. And
Yo.
I always say they're young, and you said, nah, they still was a superstar. James Harden, 6-man. That's what you used to say. James Harden, 6-man. So Manu, 6-man Hall of Famer. I'm just your point, because if you say they old or whatever, I would agree with that. That because when you said that team were in the super team, I agree with you. I don't look at the 04-14 Spurs as a super team. I do not. I don't. But you should, based on how you think, and you think those type of teams are super teams.
I
That's why
said
I
3
asked you.
All-Stars though, so I guess OKC's not a super team then.
Oh, okay.
I still believe they were a very good team, just like I believe the Spurs were a very good team too. I don't think they
Amazing
were a
team.
super team.
Right, I agree. Amazing team. For sure.
Wait. Are we saying the Spurs in 2014 was a super team?
I don't think they were a super team.
But I'm not gonna go there.
I don't think they were a super team. I think they were
Me
a
neither.
super. I think I look at them as super organization, and those old players buying into whatever Pop doing and they're doing, and there was just a with former All Stars and
It was a
future Hall of
crazy team
Famers.
dynamic. It was like one of the best team. It was one of the best team-oriented basketball teams in NBA history, where everybody was just a well-oiled machine.
Playing their roles. There was the older version of the Warriors. It's like the
say that.
Warriors winning this year
minus the
was
shooting.
that. It's right. It's the Warriors winning this year with Steph still playing Steph game and Clay not being himself, Draymond, but still that same team dynamic of looking at them as a super team. That's how the 14 Spurs was like.
I would
I
say
hated them
even
Spurs,
older,
man.
bro, because they were, bro.
No, they
them
were for
dudes
sure
was
older.
old.
Well, Duncan retired when? The same year as Kobe, 16?
Yeah, 2 years later.
Okay.
And Manu was like 36, I think.
At the
And he
time,
retired. Yeah, I think so. I'll check. 'Cause I don't
Duncan
wanna-
retired first, then Manu, then Tony.
I think Tony. Yeah,
Tony left the
might-
Spurs, I feel like. He didn't retire.
Yeah,
at
he
Spurs.
went to Charlotte.
Charlotte, right?
Yeah, he retired 2019, Tony, and Manu was 2018.
So next year is Tony's Hall of Fame.
Should be.
Should be. Fire.
He was only 31 in 2014. Tony Parker.
Oh, Tony was still fairly young.
Manu was 36.
Okay. Tim Duncan was what, 38?
I want to say he was 36 as well, but I don't.
Tony wanted to
37.
go home.
Okay.
You see what he's doing. He's taking over French basketball.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Him and his brother.
They won the chip last year, right? In the French League.
I don't know.
Yeah, yep. Asvel won.
I think they beat Monaco.
Yeah,
Isn't
they
Victor
did, for sure.
Wembanyama on his team?
Yes.
Yeah, but I think he just changed. Didn't he just change teams?
Who, the number
Yeah,
one
I
pick?
think, I think he
he
was
left.
on Tony
He left
Parker's team,
Asheville.
but then he went to
Yeah.
like a lower level team.
Yo, a bunch of players left Asvel actually. A bunch of them went to Monaco too.
Yeah, they got squad.
Yeah, y'all, but it was a great show all in all. We're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. I got 2 more super chats I'm gonna get into, and then we're gonna close this thing out. My man MC Robinson, shout out MC Robinson. He always coming through with super chats, whether it's gridiron or whether it's Players Choice Basketball. He said, who would you trust to hit a game winner in the finals? Robert Horry or Steve Kerr?
Iguodala.
That's a good question. Wow. I'm gonna go with Robert.
Iguodala has like the same amount of game winners. I mean, buzzer beaters as Paul Pierce. But I'm going with Robert Horry.
I'm comfortable with either one.
Yeah. I take Robert Orr. Pause.
Rob was just a little different. Oh no, I don't know
you
if
got,
this
Mars?
game winners.
Probably Steve Kerr. Just so I can be against you guys.
Contrarian. Welcome.
Indeed.
Welcome. Fist bump right here, bro.
Got you.
Yes.
Yeah, that's so cute.
Hey, Dub got to make new friends after his fall out
Right.
this episode with Churro and Dale.
Wait, everybody, you too,
He
Ron.
was glad he didn't have to fight Mars today, so he tried to make peace.
Oh man, one more super chat from my man iOS Inc. He said, "Do you think the NBA should consider having a comeback player of the year award for players who missed the
Yes.
full/majority of the previous season? And if they did, who would you have as the favorite for this season?"
Kawhi is gonna run away with that award.
Damian Lillard.
Zion.
Kawhi.
Who you got, Euro?
I don't know who's hurt for real. I'll tell
Either
you.
Dame or Anthony Davis for me.
Casual.
Say count. He played like half the year. I don't.
Did he
know what
really?
the
I thought he
I
played.
mean,
Yeah,
what,
he played-
yeah,
he
like
played
what's
for-
the
Dame
what's the
played a little
actual
bit.
what's
Dame
the
played
actual
a little bit.
benchmark
Dame-
for
Dame played,
to
like-
be considered?
I don't
You
know.
know,
I
a
He
comeback
said
player.
full
don't know
or
if it's you
majority
never
of the
played at all.
Like let's
So
say the
let's
qualifying
just say
factor is you
50
missed
games.
half the season, right?
Yeah,
like
half the
literally,
season.
like
Oh, then
Kyrie.
AD would
41
qualify.
games.
Yeah, AD would qualify. Does Kyrie count? He wasn't even hurt. He was just he was Kyrie.
I would love to include Kyrie,
Klay Thompson
The-
would have won it this year.
the
right?
anti-hero.
Yeah,
Didn't he win it at the ESPYs?
He won something. Yeah, it might have been comeback something. But yeah, well, I'd go with Kawhi. Actually, I don't know if Kawhi would play enough games.
I would go
I'll
with
maybe
Dame.
Zion.
Yeah, I stand with Dale and Euro. I'm gonna go with Dame. I
Zion.
think Dame gonna come back and go crazy.
I'll go with Dub and say Zion.
Oh, look
Let's see
at
what's
that,
going on
man.
here. That's cute.
Aw.
Shush, you.
All right, I'm off, y'all.
All right. We'll catch you guys same time next week, Wednesday. Y'all tap in with us, 9 a.m. Wednesday. On Tuesday, pull up to see Ticket chill, fluent, low, and none other than myself. We will be there for the panel. Until then, y'all continue to subscribe, like the video if you haven't, and we out.
And hold up. One last thing. Make sure y'all hit the community tab on the YouTube channel and, sign up for that internship program. Submit your resumes, your portfolios, whatever you guys feel like you can do to, help us grow, be part of the movement. Players' Choice to the Moon and all that.
Players'
Yes,
Choice
sir.
University.
Yeah. Fire.
Yes. Start it up.
All right, y'all. We'll catch you on Tuesday. If not, we'll catch you Wednesday morning. We out.
I don't like being on the